What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 5WT131. Senju Hashirama's recovery, the shock of the bag open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. In this way, the whole afternoon, Mingy's office is full of gunfire. Finally, Tsunade helped the limping duo out of the field by wooden golem. When leaving, Tsunade gave Mingye a resentful look. Seeing the backs of the two leaving, Mingye opened the window with some satisfaction. Let the fresh air outside replace the stale air inside. Thinking of Tsunade's previous actions, a strange look appeared on Mingye's face. I originally wanted Tsunade to be the vice president. Turns out Tsunade misunderstood himself. Mingye didn't know whether to cry or laugh. However, since things have already happened, Mingye didn't bother anymore. It's just one more woman. With his current strength and status, it is really nothing. And, it seems nice to live like this once in a while. The corners of the mouth slowly raised a pleasant arc. Looking at the clear sky outside, Mingye felt very refreshed. On the other side, when Mingye is enjoying life, Do is doing everything possible to dig up the corpse. With all of Orochimaru's research results, the current Do is no longer satisfied with the original world structure. He wants to rule the entire ninja world. He wants power, he wants everyone's approval. And directly using strength to conquer everything is the most convenient way. Looking at the ever-increasing chess pieces in his hands, a crazy smile appeared on Do's face. Advertisement. This is the last one. Looking at the Hashirama cells in his hands, a frantic gleam appeared in Kabu's eyes. This former ninja god is now going to be his chess piece. Wonderful formation, weird coffin, eerie atmosphere. Coupled with the fact that people are not people, ghosts are not ghosts. The whole scene was very weird. It looked as if some kind of evil ritual was being performed to summon the undead. Throw the Hashirama cells in your hand into the formation. Yin Si Shu Chen. One after another, seal knots continued to emerge from the pocket's hand. Finally, put your hands together and give it a big clap. Impure world reincarnation. A mysterious breath immediately burst forth. It was as if some strange creature had begun to descend. In the formation, the scraps of paper and corpses that had been prepared in advance began to slowly change. Paper scraps wrapped the corpse and began to squirm slowly. Hashirama's cells also began to emit a burst of strange power. Into the dead body directly, suddenly, confetti began to fall from the head of the corpse. Suddenly a completely different face appeared inside. A face that belonged to that ninja god of the past, Senju Hashirama. As the confetti continued to fall, Senju Hashirama's body gradually became complete. Face, chest, waist, thighs. In the end, a lifelike Senju Hashirama reappeared in the ninja world. Advertisement above Senju Hashirama's head, a translucent soul light cluster immediately appeared. It is the soul of Hashirama summoned from the pure land of the underworld. It's the most critical time. Do whispered something. Although he has strengthened the control of Impure world reincarnation according to the handbook left by Orochimaru. But in the end, can he control this former ninja god? Pocket actually has no confidence. The soul began to slip through Hashirama's mouth. Hashirama's cold voice came over. He looked at Hashirama who was waking up in front of him in shock. It is exactly the same as the real person. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really a key country. Latecomer, why did you wake me up? After a while, Hashirama's pale skin began to slowly turn red. After feeling the terrifying momentum, Do couldn't help but took 2 steps back. Now, he found that the title of the ninja god does not seem to be exaggerated. I saw Hashirama's originally closed eyes began to slowly open. However, fortunately, sufficient preparations have been made before. The blood color is getting thicker and thicker. I believe there will be no accidents. Qian Nuo Jiao will happen. Until the end, Hashirama's skin was indistinguishable from that of ordinary people. An invisible coercion immediately appeared in the cave. Except for a series of cracks on the body, there are no more flaws to be seen. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. 2 swallowed a mouthful of saliva. 132. The terrifying power of Senju Hashirama. The fear of the pocket open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. A look of shock flashed across Do's face. This kind of momentum is worthy of being the god of ninjas. Ha 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 ha. Afterwards, Do laughed wildly. With such a Hashirama as his puppet, why not take down the entire ninja world? What Konoha village, what Sharingan, in front of such a force? They're nothing more than chickens and dogs. Do's face is full of fanaticism. He can already imagine the scene of himself ruling the ninja world. Master Orochimaru, no, Orochimaru, I will avenge you. Konoha, I will destroy it with my own hands. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and Do's voice was full of killing intent. For Orochimaru, Do still respects him very much, and avenging Orochimaru is just a piece of cake. Boom. What are you talking about? Destroying Konoha? Just as he was dreaming, a terrifying aura rose directly into the sky. The invisible coercion of chakra exploded directly. Even the cave began to shake, as if a terrifying monster was waking up. The terrifying coercion is still increasing, and waves of air are sweeping around. It directly shook the surrounding stone walls into cracks. Gravels continued to fall from the roof of the cave, hitting Do's head. All of a sudden, he pulled his pocket back to reality. Looking at the black-haired Senju Hashirama dancing wildly in front of him, a look of horror flashed across Do's face. Why can the undead of Impure World reincarnation resist his orders? This warlock has been improved by him. Even if Senju Hashirama knew the previous Impure World reincarnation solution, it should be useless. How could such a momentum erupt? Advertisement, Sage Mode on. Do didn't hesitate at all, facing the terrifying enemy in front of him. No amount of caution can be overstated. Strengthen Impure World reincarnation's control over the undead with the magic chakra, something he has learned these days. In order to achieve my goal, I have made enough BFDC preparations. Senju Hashirama's originally rising momentum immediately stopped, and then quickly fell down. The terrifying coercion in the cave disappeared immediately. As if nothing had happened, Hashirama's eyes also began to close slowly, and the black hair that had been dancing wildly also began to calm down, falling down weakly. After seeing this scene, Sui breathed a sigh of relief. Wiped the sweat from his forehead, feeling the already soaked back. He can be sure that if he were to face Senju Hashirama in his prime, he would not even have the strength to fight back. It will even be killed in seconds. However, this is also a good testament to the strength of Senju Hashirama. Little ghost, you'd better explain what you just said. However, just when Do was about to take a rest, a more terrifying momentum exploded. Hashirama's eyes saw black lines appear. A black circle appears on the forehead with a black dot in the center of the circle. It is Sage Mode. With the eruption of Senju Chakra, the ground under Senju Hashirama's feet began to crack. The extremely violent breath seemed to be waking up to a Buddha's fury King Kong. A trace of panic appeared on everyone's face immediately. In his perception, the control power belonging to Senju Hashirama is gradually being weakened. Although this speed is not fast, but it was enough to make him panic. Advertisement: once Senju Hashirama really gets rid of the shackles of Impure World reincarnation directly with his own strength. I'm afraid his fate will not be much better, seeing that Do didn't give the answer he wanted. Hashirama frowned, and a gleam flashed in his eyes. The chakra in the body surged out like a hurricane, and the whole body shrank slightly. Ready. Prepare to take down the pocket with one blow. Sage Art Impure World Reincarnation Solution. Taking advantage of the power to control Senju Hashirama, he dare not have the slightest delay. Reanimation Jutsu is directly lifted. After doing this, Do looked at Hashirama nervously. If there is no way to solve this pervert, I'm afraid he should turn around and run away next. I saw a beam of light immediately appeared on the gradual body. The beam of light pierced through the sky as if it had no end. Gradually, the body immediately began to feather, and debris continued to fall off the body. Looking at his own body that keeps disappearing, Hashirama's eyes flashed a hint of unwillingness. Konoha village is what he has dedicated his life to. He absolutely cannot tolerate being defiled. Even Uchiha Madara, a good friend back then, in order to protect Konoha, Hashirama can also kill. Looking at the pocket in front of you, you can't kill it directly. This made Hashirama very unhappy. In the end, during Hashirama's struggle, the body of the original Impure World reincarnation immediately fell powerlessly to the ground. Gradually, the soul also flew away, but at the last moment, it took a deep look at the bag. 133. The times have changed. Prepare to attack tailed beasts. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Looking at the remaining corpses on the ground, Do wiped his sweat with his slightly trembling hands. This ninja god is really terrifying and a bit too much. Even reanimation jutsu enhanced with Sage Art can't control it. He even almost broke free directly. Such strength is simply shocking. It seems that we have to find a way to continue to strengthen control. Senju Hashirama, I will definitely get you. A trace of resignation flashed across Do's face. Such strength simply made him salivate. If you get Senju Hashirama, but you can't control it normally, then what's the difference between that and entering Baoshan empty-handed? This is something that Do absolutely cannot allow to happen. But how exactly can we gain more control? Do's brows could not help but wrinkle. The general method would not be effective at all. Some special measures must be taken. Tail beast. Do's eyes lit up, and he immediately remembered the nine-tailed beasts. If you use the massive chakra of the nine-tailed beasts as the basis for strengthening your control, then he is sure to be able to forcefully control Hashirama. After all, the foundation of all ninjutsu is chakra. Besides, can enhance the quality of chakra, like Sage Art chakra. You can also think of ways to increase the number. Advertisement: as long as the number of chakra is large enough, even an ordinary sea-level ninjutsu can be extremely terrifying. Looks like I have to go out and find out about the tailed beast first. Do squinted his eyes and was ready to act immediately. As long as Hashirama's problem is solved one day earlier, he can achieve his goal of ruling the ninja world one day earlier. After tidying up briefly, he put on his previous big robe and prepared to go out to inquire about news. In a tavern in a small country, a man wearing a large robe is sitting in a corner, quietly listening to the people around talking. Hey, you've heard, haven't you? That Uchiha Ming of Konoha's strength is simply terrifying, and the tailed beasts are like puppies in his hands. Ha ha ha, who doesn't know? Uchiha Ming of Konoha directly captured several tailed beasts, and it seems that he made some kind of device that can directly extract the chakra of tailed beasts. I know this. The barrier outside Konoha was formed by the tail beast chakra. I am afraid that no one in the current ninja world can break it. It really deserves to be the #1 ninja village. The god of ninjas back then, the first generation Hokage Senju Hashirama is nothing more than that. What a terrifying strength. Who says no? The Uchiha family first produced Uchiha Madara, and now there is Uchiha Ming. It's simply enviable. I think this Uchiha Ming is probably stronger than Senju Hashirama, and that Rinnegan's Akatsuki organization was killed directly. It's so relieved. My uncle was assassinated by the Akatsuki organization. Listen to the voices coming from around. It seems like I have been out of the ninja world for 20 years. The current ninja world has changed drastically, and Konoha has swept through several other ninja villages. Even most of the tailed beasts were captured. The most exaggerated is this Uchiha Ming. How can the strength be so terrifying? Just listening to what these people say, I am afraid that Uchiha Ming is not worse than Senju Hashirama. Asking for flowers. 0. If such a situation really occurs, I am afraid that my goal of ruling the ninja world will be greatly hindered. Advertisement, Uchiha Ming. Do kept chanting the name. It was this man who killed Orochimaru, leaving himself homeless again. Now this person ran out again and snatched away most of the tail beasts. And it directly hinders his plan to rule the ninja world. Willing is also very simple. 4 tails Jinchuriki lousy is alone. So this has become the best target for pocketing. At that time, we can use the strength of the other party to target the Uchiha clan and the Konoha shinobi village. There are still 3 tailed beasts left outside. They are 3 tails G-Pan, 4 tails Monkey King, and 6 tails Saiken. After careful analysis, Do is going to attack 4 tails Monkey King first. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. At the same time, Do also got an important news that the person who claimed to be Uchiha Madara jumped away. Although there is no way to directly snatch the tailed beast from Konoha shinobi village. Although it is not known who this self-proclaimed Uchiha Madara is. But the tailed beasts outside can still be caught directly. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Now that he got the information he wanted, Do stopped staying and left this place directly. At least it solves the problem of Senju Hashirama's control. Fortunately, there are still tailed beasts left outside. Brothers who like to watch, click auto subscription, bar towel. However, in any case, it may be an object that can be cooperated. Because of the feud with Tsuchikage all the year round, he always hangs out alone. 134. Obito and Do meet each other. A weird scene. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Half a month later, Obito still looks sad, not because of anything else. Or because I didn't think of any good way to deal with Uchiha Ming. How can it be repaired? Is there really no other way? Obito frantically smashed his fist against the wall in front of him. Uchiha Ming is almost becoming his nightmare. Lin, after all, can't I create a world with only you? Sorry Lin. Thinking of Lin's sweet smile, Obito knelt down weakly. Now he is like a piece of trash. For some reason, Naoshin thought of that man again at this moment. If 210 is still alive, maybe there will be a solution. Obito clings to his last hope, although Uchiha Ming is stronger than he imagined. If Uchiha Madara is still alive, there must be a way to solve the current troubles. By chance, the king took the king to walk towards the underground cave where Madara was buried. Although Madara is dead, but this is the last hope in Obito's heart. At the moment, the pockets that have conquered 4 tails are busy. Although the combat effectiveness of 4 tails is also very good, but in front of the current page. It's really not enough to see. What's more, there are many puppets of Impure world reincarnation around. Solving a 4 tails Jinchuriki is nothing more than trivial. And, as he predicted, after supplementing with 4 tails chakra, his control over Senju Hashirama is directly stronger. Has been able to barely control Hashirama. After having Hashirama, Prudent Pocket thought of Hashirama's old rival again. Uchiha Madara. After a little poking around, Uchiha Madara's body was found. Advertisement, come out. Uchiha Madara. Be the strongest puppet in my hand, help me rule this ninja world. Do looked frantically at the Impure world reincarnation spell on the ground. However, just as the surgery was at its most critical moment, the stone that originally blocked the entrance of the cave was directly removed. The light irradiated directly, exposing the electricity inside. Obito appears. The two suddenly stared wide-eyed. They all seemed a little surprised why the other party appeared here. After a few seconds of stagnation, Obito's face suddenly became furious. Someone dared to be a tomb robber in front of him. You wanna die? Obito shouted angrily, and shot out directly from his figure. The big cattail fan-like weapon was thrown towards the pocket immediately. Crash. The iron chain at the end of the big cattail fan keeps making crisp sounds. The speed was so fast that it seemed that afterimages appeared in the air. Faced with such a terrifying attack, Do's complexion did not change at all. Now he is no longer the weak medical ninja in the past, now he is extremely powerful. The Indian knot in the hand flipped quickly, and the chakra in the body poured into the hands continuously. With the change of the handprint, some strange fluctuations are constantly produced. Reanimation jutsu. With a loud shout in his heart, he slapped his hands hard on the ground. Cracks began to appear on the originally hard stone slab. It was as if something was about to burst out of the ground. A sneer appeared on Obito's face, if the person who was fighting him for the first time didn't know Kamui's information. It's easy to fall for Obito's trap, so what if the opponent's attack is powerful? It's never possible to hit yourself anyway, but his own attack will actually hit the opponent. Advertisement: there's no use in Obito for killing lives. Boom. The stone slab on the ground suddenly burst open. An incomparably frightening breath burst from it. Wrong. A flicker of horror flashed in Obito's eyes. This breath was so familiar to him that it even made him a little scared. This is the man's breath. A pitch-black coffin broke through the ground from the stone slab. Obito's attack hit the coffin board directly, but did not leave a trace. The whole person is perfectly covered behind the coffin. Missing a hit, Obito immediately dodged backwards a few times, directly opening the distance. Facing the familiar smell inside the coffin, Obito raised his vigilance to the highest level. How does it feel familiar? At this time, a red robe came out from behind the coffin. Are you Orochimaru's assistant? Obito said somewhat uncertainly. When he was in the Shao organization before, he seemed to have seen this person in front of him. It's just that the past is not eligible for Obito to take a second look, so I didn't keep it in mind. 5.1. A weird smile appeared on Do's face. This person used to call himself Uchiha Madara. What kind of expression would he have if he saw the person inside the coffin? Both hands slowly sealed, and the coffin board immediately moved down a little. The faces in the coffin were directly leaked out. How can it be? Obito's face immediately became shocked. As if seeing something incredible. 135. Consensus, common goal driven. Obito's face was 3 parts terrified, 3 parts puzzled, and the remaining 4 parts alert. It was a face he would never forget. The person in front of him is the chief culprit of the reason why he has fallen into this state. Uchiha Madara. This person is like a nightmare. Countless times when he was in a deep sleep, Obito would still dream of this kind of face, and then wake up straight away. Watching Obito's reaction, the corners of Do's mouth slowly turned up. How? Do you recognize the person in the coffin? A slightly weird sound echoed in the empty cavern. Obito fell silent. How could he forget this person? However, in the face of Do's question, Obito not only did not answer. Instead, he asked solemnly, what is your purpose? 15. While speaking, the hand holding the big cattail fan couldn't help using a little more strength. Now he, even in the face of that godlike person, Uchiha Madara, is not without resistance. If the other party's answer makes him dissatisfied, then Obito will shoot directly without hesitation. Facing Obito's question, Do remained unhurried. The corners of the mouth grinned, revealing 2 snake-like teeth. In the cold light, it seemed to be a little gray. You can tell at a glance that it is highly toxic. It doesn't matter who I am. Importantly, we might be able to join forces against Uchiha Ming. Originally, Do wanted to kill the person in front of him directly. But after seeing the eyes under the other's mask, pocket change attention. If you can use it directly, why kill the king? Advertisement. Moreover, since the other party has such rare pupils, it means that the other party is not easy to bully. Even if he wins, it is estimated that he will have to pay a lot of price. As for who is behind the mask, Do doesn't care. In other words, it doesn't matter who is behind the mask. Silence. Still dead silent. As soon as the name Uchiha Ming was mentioned, Obito seemed to lose his nerve. The name is so depressing. Even if the opponent gave Uchiha Madara to Impure World reincarnation, Obito still has no confidence. After all, it is impossible for the reincarnated puppet to be as powerful as the original body. Looking at Obito, who is still silent, Do also knows what the other party is thinking. He also inquired about a lot of information these days. This Uchiha Ming is really too scary, just relying on a summoned body of Uchiha Madara. Probably not enough to suppress Uchiha Ming. This point is also clear to himself. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought Obito into the team, and they were ready to join forces to deal with Uchiha Ming. Impure World reincarnation. He slapped the ground hard again. Next to Uchiha Madara's coffin, another coffin was erected immediately. Perhaps you will have a different idea after reading the contents here. A faint smile appeared on Do's face. The coffin lid slowly fell, and a face slowly appeared in the dark light. With long black hair and a resolute face, it is the appearance of Senju Hashirama. What? Obito exclaimed directly. If facing Uchiha Madara he can barely keep calm, but when facing Hashirama. Advertisement. Obito couldn't suppress the shock in his heart. Ha ha ha, why don't we talk about cooperation now? Do's face was full of pride. With Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, 2 of the strongest in ninja history. If he can't, the other party will give up cooperation. Obito looked at the scene in front of him, unable to talk to himself for a long time. After a long silence, Obito let out a long breath. Although I don't know what the bag wants to do, what is the purpose? But they have a common goal now, which is Uchiha Ming. Just get rid of this Uchiha Ming. At that time, take the opportunity to directly summon 10 tails, and then directly devour the power of the tailed beast. He can become 10 tails Jinchuriki. Become the god of the ninja world in one step, surpassing all powers. 897 will then be able to obtain the power he dreamed of. Directly create a world with only Lin. A smile appeared on Obito's face, and said, okay, as long as I can kill Uchiha Ming, I will cooperate with you. A smile slowly appeared on Do's face. So far, No one knows how many Impure world reincarnation powerhouses he has under his command. If it is really all exposed, I am afraid that the entire ninja world will be shocked by it. As for Obito in front of him, he is just a pawn that can be discarded at any time. In this way, an alliance with Ming as the target and both sides with their own ulterior motives was reached. The entire ninja world is about to face another bloodbath. It's just that they haven't shown their fangs for the time being, and they haven't attracted the attention of the world. Ming at the moment. 136. Conan's Entreaty, the idea of peace in the ninja world. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Ming didn't notice the existence of the bag at the moment. In my mind, I was thinking about how to improve my combat effectiveness to the greatest extent. I currently have Wood Style, Susanoo, and Ice Power. How can we combine the three to the greatest extent? Ming was thinking about this question in his mind. Maybe I can use Wood Style as the flesh, Susanoo as the skin, and finally put on a layer of crystal armor. Thinking of this, a trace of excitement flashed in Ming's eyes. Judging from the original book, the combination of Nine Tails and Susanoo alone is terrifying. If only I could combine Wood Style and Susanoo, coupled with his own unique ice crystal armor, I am afraid that this combat power will not be lost to characters at the Six Paths level. Thinking of this, Ming couldn't wait. If the conjecture comes true, I am afraid that no one in this ninja world can be his opponent anymore. Not even if Kaguya wakes up, but Ming quickly calmed down, because he found that he had no opponent at all. So what if a new move is developed? There is no one who can be his opponent. Even the full body of Nine Tails is just a little chicken in front of him. It is a bit disappointing. Ming shook his head with a look of helplessness on his face. He now somewhat understands why those who stood at the top were always in a state of being overwhelmed by the heights. Because the heights are really boring. Ming-kun, Konan wants to see you. At this time, a blonde beauty appeared from behind Ming. Ming raised his eyebrows and said, "Why does she suddenly want to see me again? Could it be that I figured it out myself? Are you going to keep talking hard?" Originally, Ming had no hope for this Konan. It is ready to be handed over directly to the Konoha law enforcement team, and it will be executed directly according to Konoha's laws. Advertisement after all, this Konan cannot be splashed with oil or inserted with a knife. It looks like a dead pig that is not afraid of boiling water. Moreover, he is an orphan of the ninja war, with no relatives or reasons. The only acquaintance, Nagato, was killed by himself directly before. Ming didn't think there was any good way to handle her. Konan says she has something to say. Tsunade looked hesitant, as if he knew something but didn't dare to say it. This made Ming more interested. Okay, then I'll see what she has to say. After speaking, Ming took the initiative to walk towards the place where Konan was held. In a small courtyard, Konan was wearing plain clothes, with a sad expression on his face. She was imprisoned in this courtyard, surrounded by various formations. As long as someone passes by, it will definitely be triggered. Plus she is now sealed by Ming in chakra. Without the help of others, it is absolutely impossible to jump out by yourself. Moreover, she also saw the barrier looming in the sky. Immediately gave up the idea of escaping, because that is so unrealistic. Squeak. Ah. The door was pushed open. Ming walked in. "It seems that you are doing well." Ming didn't get straight to the point, but made a joke instead. No matter how good the life of a prisoner is, he is still a prisoner, so how can he live a good life? Konan looked up at Ming, staring at the man who also took away the last thing from her. The Akatsuki organization was destroyed in the hands of this man, and Nagato also died in the hands of this man. Ming ruined the last thing she had, advertisement. Facing Ming's teasing, she couldn't laugh at all. "I have one condition. As long as you agree to my conditions, I am willing to surrender to you." Konan spoke up. The sound is very pleasing to the ear, and it is very refreshing to listen to. The corners of Ming's mouth curved slightly, and said, "Although I don't know why you are still qualified to make a condition with me. But I allow you to say it, although I may not agree to you." Facing Ming's contemptuous attitude, Konan has no emotional fluctuations. Prisoners are like this. Their Shao organization used to deal with the prisoners in their hands, and they have always been tortured and served. Now Ming is okay for her. Nagato is dead, Yahiko is dead. But their will is not dead, and I hope to continue to fulfill their last wishes. I want peace in the ninja world, and now only you have the ability to do it. Konan looked at himself with pleading eyes. Now she has only one last belief left in her heart. If she can't even fulfill this belief, I'm afraid it will be difficult for her to find a reason to live. Good Lee. Ming glanced at this woman in surprise. Originally he thought it was some kind of request to build a grave for Nagato. I didn't expect this woman to be ambitious. You're a little bit wrong. There will be peace in the ninja world, but it's not because of Nagato. It's because I, Uchiha Ming, am here. Ming was condescending, with a look of disdain on his face. Since he came to this world, he must leave something for this world. Not because of anything else, but because he is a 137. Open the door and wait for you. Ming's mission. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. As a descendant of a dragon with a normal IQ, Ming has read a lot of novels. But the protagonists in these novels can be said to have a common shortcoming, that is, after time travel. Basically, it has not brought much change to the world. That kind of fundamental institutional change. Now that Ming has this strength, he doesn't mind bringing some changes to the ninja world. At least, it is still possible to end this situation of melee between several major countries. Konan stared blankly at Ming in front of him. She found that Uchiha Ming seemed to be different from the Nagato and Yahiko he had met. There is an indescribable aura about him. Remember, there can be no absolute peace in the ninja world, and I have no interest in maintaining absolute peace. However, if that Omura dares to make trouble under my nose, then the only end is death. And, maybe in the future there will be no so-called ninja village difference. Ming said with a little deep meaning. The reason why the current 643 ninja world is full of disputes is not only driven by interests, but also more about race and power disputes. As long as the entire ninja world is forcibly fused together by external force. Even if the friction continues for a while, after a long time, they will definitely fuse together again. Konan seemed to understand the meaning of Ming's words, and immediately looked at Ming with surprise. The face is full of incredible colors. This man wants to dominate the entire ninja world. More critically, if the situation envisaged by Uchiha Ming is really followed, the probability of success does not seem to be low. After a long silence, Xiao Xiao spoke. If you can really do this, then I am willing to follow you willingly. Ming's eyes were indifferent, and he didn't feel any excitement because of Konan's transformation. At this point in time, the combat power that Konan can provide is almost negligible. Go find Tsunade yourself, she will arrange for you. Advertisement just when Ming was about to continue to say something. Bang bang bang. There was a knock on the door. Ming-san, something serious has happened. Kakashi walked in and said with a serious face. Ming waved his hand and said, say it, in a certain meeting room, important figures of Konoha such as Kakashi and Jiraiya are here. In the past few days, except for Konoha's tailed beast, all the tailed beasts and Jinchuriki have mysteriously disappeared. And there are traces of battle everywhere, Jiraiya said with a serious face. The disappearance of the tailed beast happened one after another, which only shows that it was done by the same person or the same force. But the power to capture tailed beasts like this is probably rare in the ninja world. Moreover, since the target of the opponent is the tailed beast. Then when the tailed beasts outside have been captured, the next target must be the tailed beasts inside Konoha village. Be prepared in advance, Kakashi said with a wary face. After the last lesson, they immediately told Ming everything. Dare not have the slightest delay. If Konoha suffers again because of their carelessness, BFCB, I'm afraid they will commit suicide and apologize. Ming waved his hand. Don't worry, just wait for them to come over. Now the one who can still collect tailed beasts is Obito, a 25-year-old boy. Apart from him, I really can't think of anyone else who has such thoughts. I am worried that I can't find this 25 boy. It would be even better if it delivered itself. The first time we met, Obito left his cow and ran away. Advertisement. The second meeting, Obito sold all his teammates and then ran away by himself. When they meet for the third time, Obito won't have any chance of escape. Because this time Ming will directly kill him, trying to let Obito die on the spot. In addition, you removed the barriers in the village, and then all the tailed beasts were exposed. Just say we are repairing the formation. A cruel smile appeared on Ming's face. Don't you want a tailed beast? I will give it to you. I just don't know if Obito has any life after taking the tailed beast. Jiraiya wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. He found that the god tier in his village was too strong. It's fine for people to avoid it, but Ming actually took the initiative to use bait to lure people up. They just don't treat each other as human beings. However, since Ming has already spoken, then Jiraiya will not say anything. He believes in Ming's strength. If Ming can't protect the village, can a barrier alone protect the village? Jiraiya still understands this question. Yes, I'm going to prepare now. Jiraiya nodded, turned and left. Ming looked at the sky, and the smile on his face became more and more cruel. Just now, he received another mission. The content of the task is also very simple, to catch Uchiha Obito, a rebellious boy. 138. Plan formulation, 2 responses from Wooden Golem. Open black lens bracket. Subscribe. Ask for customization. On the other side, the temporary team formed by Obito and Do also found movement in Konoha village. He is deliberately tempting us. He pushed the reflective glasses on his nose. So far, they have collected all the remaining tailed beasts outside. In other words, even if Ming didn't take the initiative to seduce them, they would still have to trouble Konoha. Looks like it's time to settle the score with Uchiha Ming. Obito stood up slowly, eyes full of resentment under the white mask on his face. Every time he fell asleep, he would dream of Lin's back. But soon Lin's figure disappeared, replaced by Uchiha Ming's face. Then Obito will wake up from the dream. It's just horrific. Uchiha Ming has become his nightmare. Do nodded. So far, the power in their hands may shock the entire ninja world. Then it's time to send Uchiha Ming on the road. Under the red cloak, there seems to be a lion majesty hiding a snake letter. It's chilling. Up to now, in the entire ninja world, only Uchiha Ming can be like their eyes. Just put Uchiha Ming out. The entire ninja world will completely fall into their hands. Obito's eyes were full of tyranny, and he seemed to have thought of the scene of Ming begging for mercy on his knees. The so-called pocket is just his pawn, as long as the opportunity is right. He would sell the bag without hesitation. It's not out of the question to stab Obito straight in the back if necessary. He and Do are just a temporary alliance of interests. Advertisement. No, if we directly attack directly, I'm afraid we will be hindered a lot. Obito suggested. First find a way to deal with a few tailed beasts, then it will be better to declare war. Thinking about it, I nodded, didn't notice anything wrong at all. After all, in his opinion, it is also a good idea to give priority to solving tail beasts. After all, as long as he has a tailed beast in his hand, he can also get a lot of benefits. At least the control over the spirit body of Impure World reincarnation will be much stronger. In this way, the two immediately began to formulate a detailed battle plan. At this moment, Ming was lying leisurely on the roof, enjoying the soft morning sun. Head resting on the slender legs of two wooden golems. As a fisherman, the most important thing is patience. What is certain is that Obito is absolutely irresistible to the temptation of the tailed beast. Obito will definitely be coming. The only question that remains is how exactly Obito will get here. Ming guessed that he would start with the tailed beast first, and then trouble him after catching the tailed beast. If Obito catches the tailed beasts, he finds that all the tailed beasts look like chakra has been drawn clean. I don't know what it will look like. A smile appeared on Ming's face. Ming, when can I go home and have a look? When Ming was thinking, the two were said timidly by Wooden Golem. Now he has long since lost the cold blood of that ninja. Kong Shi is always cautious. Even when talking to Ming he was careful, for fear of offending Ming. Ming opened his eyes and said softly, "Don't worry, you will be able to see Cloud Shinobi Village soon. Ask for flowers, advertisement, it won't be long." While speaking, Ming stretched directly, and turned his head with a comfortable face. Turned his head inward. After the two wooden golems noticed Ming's actions, their faces turned red all of a sudden. However, the subconscious resistance of the body was still suppressed. Sensing the subconscious trembling of the two led by Wooden Golem, Ming's mouth curved slightly. I have to say that this kind of life is really too comfortable. Ming sat up immediately, and looked at the two by Wooden Golem in surprise. If he stayed in such a gentle village for a few more years, Ming's body would probably be rusted. People who travel through open the harem at every turn and turn on the stallion mode. Brothers who like to watch, click automatic subscription and download it. Just when Ming was thinking about how to get these people. Although I don't have to be that crazy. Although there are not many beautiful ones, there are still many goals. Ming tried hard to recall the appearance of those female ninjas in Hokage in his mind. But the quantity is not enough. Ming, I didn't mean to. Suddenly, there was some moist breath from the nose and mouth. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Ming murmured. 139. Invasion of Konoha project, officially started. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. I have to say that this world is very pure. Even girls' thoughts are so pure. If it was the previous world, such women might have become extinct. Just when Ming wanted to add something, his eyes suddenly turned to the back of Konoha. In that direction, he sensed something different. A smile appeared on Ming's face. After waiting for so long, these people finally couldn't bear it anymore. You go back first, tell Tsunade to prepare. We may have guests coming. After speaking, Ming's figure gradually faded away. Seeing the figure of 290, Ming disappearing in place, the two, led by Wooden Golem, breathed a sigh of relief. It actually went under Master Ming's breath. I'm so ashamed. The faces of the two led by Wooden Golem were very hot. At this moment, Uchiha Obito sneaked into the Minister of the Trapped Leaf with him. Because Ming deliberately revoked the enchantment. So they didn't encounter the slightest obstacle along the way. How about we go and capture the tailed beast first? Pushing the glasses around, under the sunlight, the glasses reflected a dazzling light. With more tailed beasts in hand, we must find a way to summon more dead. Regarding Do's proposal, Obito nodded and said, all right. In fact, his main target is also the tailed beast. Even revenge against Konoha and Uchiha Ming is not as important as tailed beast. As long as he can absorb the power of the tailed beast, Obito has a chance to become Ten Tails Jinchuriki. In this way, the two people with ulterior motives reached a simple consensus. Advertisement. The two quietly walked towards Konoha's gate. Although there is news that the location of the tailed beast has been exposed. But the specific location, the two of them really don't know. The two disguised through the transformation technique wandered around Konoha village with impunity. In fact, in the whole Konoha village, except Uchiha Ming, there is no one to fear anymore. So the two are not worried at all. And their previous plan was to find a way to capture the tailed beast. If lurking secretly doesn't work, then go to war directly. With the power they have now, there is no need to be afraid of anything. Have you heard, the big monsters at the entrance of our village are the legendary tailed beasts. TCH, I knew it a long time ago, Master Ming subdued it himself. I heard that there is something wrong with the device, and it is being repaired now. Those tailed beasts are really terrifying. Just standing in front of them makes my legs go weak. But fortunately, there are Master Kakashi and Master Hokage at the scene. It's a pity that our Master Ming has retreated again, otherwise I can see Master Ming. My daughter admires Master Ming very much. Ordinary people in Konoha are discussing the situation of the hump-tailed beast unabashedly. In fact, this is also deliberately arranged by Ming so that ordinary people in Konoha can watch the tailed beast up close. At that time, someone will naturally spread the news. Obito and Do looked at each other, and there was a gleam of joy in their eyes. It doesn't matter if the tail beast is released. Unexpectedly, that troublesome Uchiha Ming was not there either. It is simply an opportunity God gave them for nothing. Watch out for scams, Do said cautiously. Although he was pleasantly surprised in his heart, his years of cautious character still made him instinctively feel that something was wrong. Everything is going well and a little too much. It's almost as if someone is behind the arrangement. Advertisement. As if a pair of murderous eyes were staring at them in the dark. This feeling made Do a little restless, and the hairs all over his body stood on end. This may be the effect attached to the Raichi cave magic. Early perception of danger. Obito smiled undeniably, and said, what can stop us now? Unless the Sage of Six Paths revives. His confidence comes from Rinnegan. His current strength has simply taken a qualitative leap, surpassing Uchiha Ming. He no longer cared about anyone. Even Hitaki Kakashi is nothing but cannon fodder in front of him now. Obito took the first step and headed towards Konoha's gate. The fanaticism in his eyes became more and more obvious. Do hesitated for a while, gritted his teeth and followed. At this point, the arrow is already on the string, and it has to be launched. If he shrinks back now, I'm afraid he will look down on himself for the rest of his life. Forcibly suppress the throbbing feeling in his heart. Thinking about 4.2 and thinking about the whole cards in my hand, my mood seems to have improved a lot. Unless it really is the resurrection of Sage of Six Paths. After murmuring a few words in a low voice, Do also felt a little ridiculous. There was a self-deprecating look on his face. Is it still necessary to live as cautiously as in the past? Now he has long been able to traverse the entire ninja world. With a confident smile on his face, he ran to catch up 140. The target is selected, the vigilant Nine-Tails Demon Fox open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. At this moment, Kakashi is directing people to renovate the building at the gate of Konoha. Hey, I don't know if the person Ming-kun mentioned will come. Kakashi looked at the clouds in the sky with a puzzled look on his face. Ming simply said that an old acquaintance of his would come. But who exactly, Ming did not say. On the contrary, when Ming looked at Kakashi, the smile on his face was very weird. As if waiting to see his jokes. This made Kakashi very helpless, and at the same time, his heart was scratching like a cat's paw. Constantly thinking about what acquaintances I have may appear at this time. Next to it is a huge red fox sleeping on its stomach. After Nine-Tails surrendered, Ming didn't make things too difficult for it. Simply give him an order, just protect the safety of Konoha village on weekdays. After Nine-Tails received this order, they patrolled twice at first. 15 after a long period of time, I found that let alone the enemy, I couldn't even see a petty thief. So Nine-Tails got lazy. The job every day is to find a place to lie down and sleep. The huge pupils of Nine-Tails squinted at the other tailed beasts tied by chains. A trace of rejoicing flashed in his eyes, if he hadn't chosen to surrender in the first place. I am afraid that now I am trapped in a cage like those tailed beasts, and I am drawn chakra every day. Facing the warm afternoon sun, Nine-Tails stretched fiercely. It looks like a big orange cat. However, he didn't notice at all that there were two pairs of eyes staring at it in the dark. His eyes were full of lust. The owners of these two pairs of eyes are Obito and Do, after some searching. Advertisement. They finally found this place to put the tailed beast. Tisk tisk tisk, this Uchiha Ming really has some strength, he actually uses these tailed beasts as generators. A look of admiration flashed in Do's eyes. After so many years, everyone knows what kind of disaster the tailed beast has brought to the ninja world. But the tailed beast cannot be destroyed. Even if killed now, it will reappear soon. So the ninja world has never had a good way to deal with tailed beasts. It can only be seen repeatedly jumping sideways while coveting the power of the tailed beast and fearing the destructive power of the tailed beast. Now Uchiha Ming can be said to have directly solved this problem in one fell swoop. It was an eye-opener. How do we do it? Nine-Tails first. The greed in Obito's eyes was almost overflowing. When seeing these tailed beasts, it was like a ghost who had been hungry for 10 days and suddenly saw a full banquet. Combined with the tailed beast he currently has in his hand. Just catch all the tailed beasts in front of you. Then he can directly summon 10 tails and become 10 tails Jinchuriki directly. Do squinted his eyes and thought for a while, then said, the other tail beasts seem to have no strength to resist, maybe it would be better to start with 9 tails. Also, look at the ice crystal chains on those tailed beasts, they seem a little unusual. Obito didn't pay attention to these things, but looked eager to try. How about you and I together? Try to win 9 tails in one go. While Obito was speaking, the original 3-tomo Sharingan in his eyes began to change immediately. A scarlet light loomed under the mask. Mangekyo Sharingan. Advertisement. After thinking for a while, Do also nodded, and said, I'll make a move first, and then you will use the power of Mangekyo to control 9 tails. After a brief communication between the two, the opportunity to fight was immediately designated. Judging from the scene, the biggest threat is the 9 tails demon fox. But this is not a problem for the two, especially Obito. It is not the first time to subdue 9 tails, so there is no difficulty at all. After lightly nodding his head, Obito's figure disappeared slowly in a burst of spatial fluctuations. Sage Art Revival. Do lowered his head slowly, and the Minjong Yinji slowly changed. The whole person suddenly began to change shape. A circle of dark red marks appeared around the eye sockets, and the scales on the body became more and more dense. Plus a few horns on the head. The whole person seems to have become half human and half dragon. At this moment, Ninetales seemed to sense something wrong. The beard on the mouth began to tremble slowly. The huge animal pupils begin to transform as you glance around. At that moment just now, there suddenly came a breath that made him feel very familiar and frightened. Reminds him of some not-so-good memories. Ninetales' whole body was very alert, with tense muscles all over his body. There were some low-pitched growls from his mouth, and the red chakra began to slowly spill out of his body. A look ready to go. 141. The controlled Ninetales. Obito's words open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Look at Ninetales as an enemy. A sneer flashed in Do's eyes. Now that the target is selected, it is naturally impossible to let him run away. Sage Art Beiji technique. Do took a deep breath, his cheeks became puffy twice. Like a chirping toad, call, opening his mouth and spitting out, a very strange energy immediately spread. All the air that came into contact with this energy began to vibrate strongly. The strange energy spread very fast, enveloping Ninetales in an instant. An indescribable feeling immediately spread throughout Ninetales' body. Roar. Ninetales immediately roared in pain. His whole body trembled unceasingly, as if all the bones were shaking. Moreover, this terrifying vibration seems to have affected Ninetales' vision and hearing. Boom. Under the effect of this terrifying power, Ninetales unexpectedly lost its action power for a short time. He bent his knees and fell directly to the ground. Stronger than Ninetales, under the sneak attack of Shanju. There is no power to fight back. Success. A gleam of joy flashed in Do's eyes, the power of this move was somewhat beyond his imagination. This was the first time he used this trick in actual combat. But Ninetales are still Ninetales after all, even the power of immortal arts can only be suppressed for a short time. Roar. Ninetales let out an angry roar, and the red chakra immediately boiled like a raging fire. Advertisement. A fierce air suddenly emerged. Ninetales' body also began to stand up slowly, staring angrily at the pocket below. The corners of his mouth were grinning, revealing sharp teeth. The teeth gleamed coldly in the sunlight. Kurama, long time no see. The space ahead was distorted, and a white mask slowly emerged from the space wormhole. Before Ninetales could react, a strange scarlet light flashed immediately. It directly covered the sight of Ninetales. Ninetales, who was still grinning, immediately froze. The boiling red chakra on the body also immediately began to dissipate. Among the huge animal pupils of Ninetales, the original vertical pupils also began to change slowly. In the end, it turned into the appearance of three Tomo Sharingan in a blur, without the slightest emotion, just like a puppet. Looking at the scene in front of him, a smile flashed in Do's eyes. The plan was far smoother than imagined, and Ninetales was easily captured in this way. Kakashi not far away also noticed the strange situation here. But the speed of Obito and Do's hands is too fast, when Kakashi is about to block. Ninetales has been completely controlled by Obito using the Sharingan. Enemy attack. Everyone is on alert. Kakashi yelled, immediately sending out the warning signal. The people who seemed to be resting the building immediately changed into masked Anbu ninjas. A chilling atmosphere immediately appeared in the venue. Looks like we've been tricked. Do looked at the group of people with killing intent in front of him, and a cold smile slowly appeared on his face. Ninetales, the strongest of the tailed beasts, has now fallen into their hands. It can be said that they have succeeded more than half of the way now. Advertisement. Kakashi, Hansiri, long time no see. Madara, wearing a white mask, looked at Kakashi below with indifference. As for the Anbu ninjas around, they didn't take them seriously at all. Ordinary ninjas are almost like cannon fodder in Obito's eyes. Ninetales, are you that masked man back then? Kakashi looked at Ninetales' strange reaction, and immediately recalled the Ninetales siege incident in his mind. It was also during that battle that his teacher, Namikaze Minato, was killed. After seeing Ninetales' abnormal reaction now, Inkashi immediately became suspicious. Quote. Ha 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 ha. After conquering Ninetales, Obito immediately started laughing wildly. Regarding Kakashi's question below, Obito's eyes are full of contempt. Up to now, he no longer has the slightest nostalgia for this former teammate and the object he was chasing. Hearing this somewhat familiar laughter, Kakashi's eyes flashed a hint of surprise. This voice was so familiar that he would remember it when he was dreaming. Who the hell are you? Nuo Jiaohao? Kakashi questioned, eyes full of disbelief. Kakashi, I am really disappointed that you are still so weak. Obito said condescendingly, his tone full of sarcasm. Although there is no positive answer, it is equivalent to admitting ordinary words in disguise. Kakashi suddenly yelled in disbelief, impossible. Didn't you die a long time ago? Bloating. How can you still be alive? Uchiha Obito. 142. Kakashi's surprise. Secret Mingye open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Kakashi's face was full of surprise. A person who had been dead for many years appeared again. Moreover, he changed suddenly and became the chief culprit who harmed Konoha. The impact on Kakashi is really too big. Kakashi, you killed Rin with your own hands. If it wasn't for you, ha 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 ha. While talking, Obito suddenly laughed wildly. The whole person is extremely crazy, just like a lunatic. Very crazy. Perhaps it is too close to success. Obito has been unable to restrain his inner excitement. Facing such Obito, Kakashi suddenly fell silent. He suddenly realized that what he was facing was no longer the teammate he used to sacrifice his life to protect each other, but to face a murderer who caused the death of his teacher, an enemy of Konoha. An enemy that needs to be killed with all its strength. After laughing wildly for a while, Obito got his emotions under control. Don't waste 633's time, let's recycle the other tail beasts too. Pooh said lightly. He has no old relationship with Kakashi, so there is no reminiscence about the old days. Kakashi's expression froze, and he immediately waved to the Anbu ninja behind him. Formation, a formation, everyone shoot together. Then Kakashi took the lead and shouted, fire-style great fireball technique. Dozens of Anbu's elite ninjas follow along with Kakashi. The huge fireballs were immediately connected together, forming a wall of fire. The huge wall of fire covered the sky and the sun, directly covering all of Obito's retreat routes. Advertisement. It directly burned the entire sky red. The terrifying temperature directly heated the air, making people feel like they were breathing a fire. Facing this terrifying power, Obito had a mocking look on his face. The palm, BFBB, was slightly lifted forward, and an invisible shock wave immediately surged. The huge power is like a nuclear bomb explosion. The originally huge wall of fire was immediately smashed to pieces by the shock wave, and all the ninjas were thrown into disarray instantly. Is this your power? A look of disdain appeared on Uchiha Obito's face. The power of the Rinnegan. Kakashi looked at Obito in the sky with a shocked face. He was a little shocked by the power of the other party. He had sensed this power from Pain before. Now the same power is present in Obito. A black stick slowly appeared in Obito's hand, and said, Kakashi, you just lie on the ground and watch how I destroy everything. The black stick swooped down at an overwhelming speed, heading straight for Kakashi's chest. Kamui. Kakashi let out a low cry, and pushed his eyelids up too. Facing such a strong enemy, he didn't hold back at all and just took out his trump card. A distorted space singularity immediately appeared above the flight path of the black stick. Hehe, use my eyes on me. Obito looked disdainful. Sharingan moved slowly, and Kamui, which was originally pushed by Kakashi, immediately began to dissipate. The flight trajectory of the black stick was not affected in the slightest, and it was still heading towards Kakashi's chest quickly. That's too late. Kakashi was taken aback. Although it was no longer possible to dodge, his fighting instinct still made him dodge subconsciously. Dangerously avoided his vital parts. Advertisement. The black stick was inserted into Kakashi's body, and the huge impact directly fixed Kakashi to death in place. Just take a good look. Stepping over Kakashi, Obito headed towards the tailed beasts ahead. The fanaticism in his eyes also grew stronger. At this moment, a few tailed beasts that had fainted and had no power to resist were right in front of his eyes. He is very close to his final goal. Ahem, I have to find a way to notify Master Ming. Kakashi coughed out bloodline from the corner of his mouth, and looked at Obito's back with a serious face. Then a wry smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Unexpectedly, the old acquaintance Ming mentioned was actually Obito. Since Ming had already expected that Obito was coming, how could he be unprepared? It's just that I was too weak, and I couldn't even block it for a moment. However, who is this person? Seeing that the whole body was covered by the pocket of the big red robe, Kakashi had a look of doubt on his face. Do still stood where he was, looking cautiously at Now Wong in front of him. Just when he wanted to take a step forward, he immediately felt extremely dangerous. Let his scalp almost explode. It seems that as long as I take any action, I will encounter some terrible things. What is going on? Do looked around cautiously. Up to now, he no longer dared to have any underestimation. It was as if there was a ferocious beast staring at him in the dark. Will break his throat at any moment. 143. Obito's Fright. Uchiha Ming open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Looking at the four-tailed beasts in front of him, Obito could no longer hide his longing. Directly rushed forward with a stride. A completely pitch-black metal rod appeared directly from Obito's hand, and inserted straight into the tailed beast's body. These black sticks are made of special materials, capable of absorbing an enemy's chakra while under Obito's control. PFF'd. The fainted tailed beast had no ability to resist. The sharp black stick directly penetrated the tailed beast's skin, and inserted into the tailed beast's muscles. Obito immediately manipulated the black stick to start absorbing the chakra in the tailed beast. It is a pity that the phenomenal feeling of a large amount of chakra pouring into the body through the black stick does not appear. Not only that, Wong barely even felt chakra's presence. How can it be? Isn't this a tailed beast? Obito's complexion changed, a look of surprise and doubt. After careful observation, Obito immediately discovered the crux of the problem. There is also a chain made of ice crystals around the necks of several tailed beasts. The end of the chain was also inserted into the body of the tailed beast. Obito could feel that the chakra in the tailed beast's body was being continuously drawn away by the ice crystal chains. HMPH, do you think this alone can stop me? Obito snorted coldly, and the powerful chakra rushed out of his body. The body immediately disappeared without a trace in a burst of space distortion. When it reappeared, it was already directly above the ice crystal chain. Although this ice crystal chain is not too big compared to the tail beast. But from a human perspective, Obito at this moment is like an ant next to an iron chain. As soon as he stood on the ice crystal chain, Obito's heart immediately became surprised. Advertisement. Because ice crystals started to spread upwards on his shoes. The temperature of this ice crystal chain seems to be terrifyingly low. Control the chakra in the body to directly shatter the ice crystals on the feet. Fire-style fire dragon bullet technique. Obito took a deep breath, and spat wildly at the ice crystal iron chain. Since it is an ice-type ninjutsu, it can be solved by using the corresponding fire-type ninjutsu. As a member of the Uchiha family, fire ninjutsu is even better. The terrifying high-temperature flame bomb immediately wrapped the entire ice crystal chain in it. The raging fire directly reflected the translucent ice crystal chains into a crimson color. It looked as if it had been burned through by flames. A confident smile appeared on Obito's face. How could a mere ice ninjutsu stop him? The complete opposite of Obito was the look on Do's face. With immortality in his body, he is far more sensitive than ordinary ninjas. That chain contained some energy that he felt was very dangerous. It is definitely not an ordinary ice ninjutsu. It is definitely not something Obito can solve with a fire style. This should be Uchiha Ming's handwriting. From the information collected before, Toku already knew that Uchiha Ming is good at ice shield ninjutsu. It can even freeze tailed beasts alive. The chakra in the pocket began to circulate slowly. So far, though this Uchiha Ming has not appeared. But Do already felt something bad. On the other side Obito looked at the chains in the burning flames. The expression on his face also gradually became ugly. Because the ice crystal chains showed no sign of melting in the raging fire. Advertisement. Until the fire style disappeared, the ice crystal chains were still as hard and cold as before. It was as if the previous burning fire had never appeared before. I don't believe it anymore. Obito snorted with an ugly face. As a person who wants to change the entire ninja world, even a single chain can't solve it now. This made his self-esteem a little unbearable. Obito, watch your back. At this time, Do suddenly roared loudly. It was as if something extraordinary was seen in the words. Obito was stunned for a moment, and the original knot in his hand also stopped. Just when he was about to turn back, his scalp exploded immediately. The hairs on his body stood on end, and countless goosebumps immediately appeared on his skin. In his perception, a person appeared silently behind him. Like a ghost, a chill slowly rose from Obito's heart to his mind. How could someone approach him under such circumstances? If the other party attacked him directly, I am afraid that he would not even have a chance to react. Hee, my ice is not so easy to melt. A very hearty voice came into Obito's ears. But in Obito's ears, this sound is like the sound of the soul locked in the underworld. Let his hands and feet be cold. You, Uchiha Ming. Obito murmured the name. 144. Ming's contempt. Obito's offense open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. A very strange scene appeared in front of everyone. Obito still kept the scene of seal with his hands, his body was sluggish in place, and there was a trace of fear in his eyes. Behind him, a tall and handsome young man stood in midair. With a gentle smile on his face. If it weren't for the terrifying chakra that surrounds it. I'm afraid anyone will regard him as the big brother next door. Hee, are you curious why there is no chakra in the tailed beast's body? Ming's words were still gentle. But the meaning contained in the words made Obito feel cold all over. 790 was drenched with sweat on his back. Obito's heart stirred up a storm. Could it be that the other party already knew that he was coming to snatch the tailed beast? Is it all just a preset game? It's a pity that Ming didn't answer Obito's inner questions. Turning his eyes away from the side pocket, a trace of understanding appeared on Ming's face. No wonder Obito dared to show himself directly today. It turned out to be a helper. I let you run away last time, but today you are not so lucky. To be honest, it makes me feel very disgusted that AB********** D like you can still set fire to the world. Tell me how you want to die. Although Ming's words were calm, a murderous air emanated naturally. Do and Obito not far away were shocked. Do stared at Ming firmly, and said, I want to know one thing, is Orochimaru dead or not? Although the outside world is sure that Orochimaru is completely dead. Some even claim to have seen Orochimaru's body with their own eyes. Advertisement. But Dewey refused to believe this statement. After all, he knew how difficult Orochimaru was to kill. There was a slight curvature at the corner of Ming's mouth, and he looked at the pocket with interest. Whether Orochimaru is dead or not, you'll know when you're lying on the ground. But I'm not interested in you for the time being. After all, you are a poor man. Do's childhood experience was very pitiful, so it's normal to become like this now. Of course, normal is normal, but if you get in Ming's way, you'll have to die. But now Ming is more interested in Uchiha Obito in front of him. For this kind of beast that even his own teacher wants to kill. It would be better to let him be a dog too. Ming's eyes turned cold instantly, and an invisible killing intent came out of his body. Obito trembled, and immediately stared at Ming warily. At the moment when Ming stared at him just now, Obito felt as if he saw a natural enemy. His legs almost went limp, and he knelt down on the spot. I'll give you a chance to make a move, Ming said indifferently. For such a person, it is best to completely smash all his confidence after playing around. Then it's better to kill him. Before killing, it is best to punish the heart first. Feeling Ming Yi's contemptuous gaze, Obito suddenly had an unknown fire in his heart. Why? Up to now, you still look at me with this kind of eyes looking at the tail of the crane. I don't accept it. Ming Yi's gaze was like a needle, piercing directly into Obito's fragile heart. Even now that it is powerful, Obito is still the same as the previous crane tail. Same low self-esteem. The so-called toughness on the outside is just to hide the weakness in the heart. Advertisement. Otherwise, why would he want to create a world with only Lin? It was all because he was so weak that he couldn't accept this reality. So forcibly throw the blame on Kakashi, throw it on the war, and throw it on the world. Use this disguised escape to cover up your incompetence. Ming Yi's eyes couldn't help showing even more contempt, and said, trash will always be trash. Let's do it quickly. I'm not interested in talking to a trash. The disdainful tone immediately aroused the fierceness in Obito's heart, and Obito's face gradually became ferocious. Looking at Ming Ye, he did not hide his murderous intent at all. Immediately, a strange scarlet light appeared in the eyes. Mangekyo Sharingan. Damn you all. Obito roared, and his whole body turned into an off-string arrow and shot out. With the terrifying chakra, he shot straight at Ming Ye. The pocket behind him still didn't make any movement, his eyes just fixed on Uchiha Ming Ye. As if he wanted to see 3.3 through Ming Yi's defense and find a weakness. It's a pity he was disappointed. Facing Obito's attack, Ming Ye still stood still. The expression on his face didn't seem to change at all. Still looking at Uchiha Obito with contempt. As if it wasn't Obito that attacked him, but a fly. Until Obito's attack actually landed on Ming Yi's body. Pooh was shocked immediately. 145. Uchiha Madara debuts. Haki is unmatched open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Under Do's horrified gaze, Obito's attack followed Ming Yi's body. Not only did it not have the slightest effect, but it was like touching the hardest steel. The black stick created many sparks on Ming Yi's body. Then it was directly ejected. A look of disdain appeared on Ming Yi's face, and he said, you're still the same trash as before, Obito. This is the highest grade armament Haki. With Obito's body skills alone, I am afraid that Ming Ye will not be harmed by standing here and letting Obito attack for 10,000 years. A look of horror flashed in Obito's eyes. With all his efforts, not only did he fail to achieve any results. Instead, there were bursts of tingling in the arm. With a flash, the belt retreated quickly. Directly distance yourself from Ming Ye. Since physical attacks are useless at all, then Obito will not be doing useless work. Take out your whole cards, this guy is not easy to deal with. While staring at Ming Ye warily, Obito whispered to the pocket next to him. A sneer appeared on Do's face, and he said, perhaps you still don't know what despair is. Then let me bring you to despair, Uchiha Ming Ye. The eyes hidden under the robe radiated a terrifying light. Now that the last opponent has come out, then all the whole cards that are worth the money can be used. Reanimation Jutsu. With a loud shout, his voice was full of fanaticism. Now, his strongest method is finally about to appear. It's like a lion majesty is spitting snake letters into the sky. The ground began to tremble violently, and cracks appeared one after another. As if something was about to drill out of it. An extremely dark, ominous atmosphere began to emanate. Advertisement. It was as if a ghost was about to crawl out of the area. Feeling this strange breath, Ming Ye narrowed his eyes slightly. If he remembers correctly, this should be reanimation jutsu. He glanced at the pocket with a little curiosity. In fact, this is the first time he has seen this technique, a ninjutsu that can bring the dead back to life. It's amazing just thinking about it. Different from Ming Yi's curiosity and indifference, the other ninjas all looked a little flustered. Normally, ninjas living in the human world rarely come into contact with the breath of the dead. Boom. The first coffin came straight out of the ground. There are two big characters, one generation, written on it. Immediately afterwards, the second one also broke through the ground, and there was no writing on this coffin. Only one of Uchiha's family emblems is inscribed on it. Coupled with the dark red coffin, it looks very weird. Afterwards, countless coffins sprung up like mushrooms after rain. After a while, there was no longer a coffin on the field. There are hundreds of them at least. Many of the coffins have special characters on them. For example, second generation, fourth generation and so on. Is this all your cards? Ming Ye said indifferently. Others don't know what's inside the coffin, but he knows it all. It's just that these things still can't bring him any trouble. So Ming Ye's face remained calm. He, Uchiha Ming Ye, if you knew what's inside, you might change your mind. Duin smiled miserably. Untie. A special seal appears in the hand. Advertisement. With the fall of Dudu's words, it seems that another invisible wave swept over the shape. Everyone present shuddered, because they feel as if something has awakened. Boom. There was a loud bang, and the coffin with the Uchiha family crest was first cracked. It was as if something was hitting the coffin board heavily inside. Boom. Then came the second loud bang. The coffin board shattered directly, turning into countless sawdust and splashing around. Huge smoke instantly enveloped the coffin. Has this day finally come? A faint voice came from the smoke. There seemed to be many surprises in the voice. Kaka 850 West's brows jumped wildly. This voice should bring him an extremely bad premonition, making his heart throb. Everyone stared at the coffin in the smoke. A gust of chakra swept across in an instant. With the coffin as the center, all the smoke is instantly blown away. Reveal the real scene inside. Wearing a red armor, the wild wolf has unruly black long hair. There was a slight arc at the corner of his mouth, and his hand was grasping towards the sun in the sky. Although he didn't make any movements, an incomparable haki naturally emanated out. Uchiha Madara. Kakashi screamed suddenly, his scalp felt like it was about to explode. This figure who only existed in legends actually appeared in front of them alive. 146. Mingyi's thoughts and strength exploded. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Kakashi's words shocked the other ninjas present. They all stared at Uchiha Madara in disbelief, with expressions like seeing a ghost. No, they really saw a ghost. A ghost who should have died a long time ago. Mangekyo Sharingan. But you don't have the blood power of the Uchiha clan in you. Madara glanced at Kakashi and said, those eyes look familiar. In an instant, Madara recognized the origin of Kakashi's eyes. Boom. I haven't waited for any reaction from the crowd. The second coffin shattered suddenly, and a lot of breath swept away. Haxi hot mom, I didn't expect that we would meet again in this way. Madara didn't look back, but said with a little emotion. The smoke dissipated, revealing the true form of Hashirama inside. Hey, I can't get rid of this technique. As expected, I should have destroyed it. Hashirama's voice is very flat, without any emotion in it. After some changes, reanimation jutsu is quite different from the previous version. It is no longer possible to break away with just chakra. Although the conversation between the two was very dull. But it still stirred up a storm among the crowd. Master First Hokage. How is this possible? Hasn't Master First Hokage passed away long ago? Why is he here now? And he's still on the enemy's side. Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara actually teamed up. I'm afraid there is no one in the world who can match them. This is the end. Even if Master Ming is here, I'm afraid it will be difficult to stop the cooperation between Master First Hokage and Uchiha Madara. Is Konoha coming to an end like this? Advertisement. How can it be repaired? It's really abominable. Although the other coffins have not yet been opened, these two have already brought a huge impact to Konoha shinobi fans. Ha 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 ha. Uchiha Ming, can you keep calm now? Do suddenly laughed wildly. In front of such a lineup, even Sage of Six Paths might not be able to keep their expressions unchanged. Not to mention Uchiha Ming. Do immediately looked at Uchiha Ming's face expectantly, wanting to see panic, fear, dread and other expressions from it. After a while, Do found himself disappointed. Ming's face remained unchanged, and even seemed to have a little more fighting spirit. It seems that there is a fanatical fighting spirit rising. Do suddenly became suspicious. He closed his eyes and shook his head vigorously. According to common sense, how can anyone show fighting spirit against Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara? What is the difference between this and the old birthday star who eats arsenic and thinks his life is long? Senju Hashirama, a man who claims to be the god of ninja. Uchiha Madara, a person who can fight back and forth with Hashirama. Unless the Sage of Six Paths is resurrected, no one can resist the combination of these two. Do thought to himself, maybe I was wrong just now. Then he opened his eyes and a smile appeared on his face. The fighting spirit on Uchiha Ming's face had disappeared, replaced by an icy expression on his face. Ha ha ha, I'm afraid you've been frightened silly. Do can understand Uchiha Ming's mood very well. After all, when anyone knows that he will face the combination of Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara at the same time. I'm afraid they all look like this. Advertisement. After hearing what Do said, Ming immediately stared at Do with an idiot-like gaze. What's up with these people now? The battle hasn't even started yet, so why start lusting first? Feeling Ming's gaze, Do's laughter stopped abruptly. The whole person also immediately woke up from the previous excitement. Quote. It seems that you still don't understand your current situation. Do looked at Uchiha Ming cruelly. The look just now made her feel insulted. Ming said lightly, you don't think you can be invincible by summoning the two of them. While speaking, chakra on Ming's question began to move crazily. Boom. Sage body exploded with full force. A terrifying pressure suddenly appeared in everyone's heart. Do's expression suddenly changed. This chakra coercion is really scary. Even faintly changed the power of Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara on his side. By Zhao Li, this is your true strength. Obito squeezed his fist unwillingly, and looked at Uchiha Ming with envy. Ming clenched his fists, with a fighting smile on his face. After automatically coming to this world, he has never made a single shot with all his strength. Now this time is just a chance to verify your own strength. Ready to face your own death. Knowledge. Ming opened his mouth slowly, and a terrifying murderous intent swept through his voice. 147. The fourth Hokage gathered together, and the scene was weird. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. In this way, a very shocking picture appeared. Take the two most legendary ninjas in the history of the ninja world. Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama swept by. Uchiha Ming faced it alone, and he was not at a disadvantage. Facing Ming's fighting spirit, Do smiled faintly, without any sign of anger. Anyway, it's yours too. Aren't you going to chat first? While speaking, the speed of seal in hand was not at all dissatisfied. One after another, coffins continued to break through the ground. Obviously, Do is going to delay the time as much as possible, and then summon more undead. Ming naturally also saw what Do was thinking. But Ming didn't care about this little trick of the bag. He even glanced at Do with contempt. Except for Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama among the undead present, the other Ming Silk 740s were ignored. It's just 2 tigers with a group of ants. So what if there are more summons? As expected of my junior. The Uchiha clan, are not born weaker than others. Madara spoke. After taking a look at Ming he nodded in satisfaction. Having such an excellent ninja in the family made him look very bright. Hashirama, it looks like you still lost. I don't see the descendants of your Senju clan. Madara gave Hashirama a defiant look. A trace of doubt flashed in Hashirama's eyes, since the Uchiha clan in the past had such strong people appearing. Then the Senju clan shouldn't even be able to see individuals. You must know that when he died, the Senju family was the most powerful family in the ninja world. Advertisement. At that time, the Uchiha clan was not as good as the Senju clan. Is there anyone from the Senju clan here? Hashirama spoke, and looked at everyone in Konoha. All the Konoha people who made eye contact with Hashirama lowered their heads in shame. After Ming publicity before, everyone has understood how the Senju clan disappeared. Now facing such a hero of Konoha, he has fallen so badly that even his descendants can't see him. Everyone in Konoha felt their faces burning hot. Don't look for it, the Senju clan is gone now. In the entire ninja world, there is only one person left in the blood of the Holding Hands clan. A mocking smile appeared on Ming face. Looking at this person who has devoted his entire life to Konoha, in the end, even his own blood is about to disappear. Isn't this a great irony? What is going on? Hashirama's face became ugly. He attaches great importance to his family, second only to peace in the ninja world. Now all his clan members have disappeared. This made him very uncomfortable. Even a little angry. Grandfather. Grandfather. At this time, a trembling voice appeared. Tsunade appeared with third generation immobilized by the straps. Looking at Senju Hashirama on the opposite side, Tsunade, BFAC, froze in place. A faint smile appeared on Ming face, and he sucked in the air with one hand, and the Sarutobi Hiruzen that landed on the ground flew directly into his hand. Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a look of fear on his face. Ming smiled coldly, and said, "Don't you want to know how the Senju clan has nothing? Ask this guy." With a little effort with one hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately flew out like a dead dog. Landing directly at Senju Hashirama's feet. Advertisement. Hiruzen, teacher. At this time, second Hokage and fourth Hokage also came out of the coffin. Konoha fourth Hokage gathered together. It's just that there seems to be some problem with third Hokage's spirit. After Orochimaru's treatment, third generation's condition seems to be more serious. His sanity began to blur. But after seeing Senju Hashirama, third generation still shivered. Don't care about me, I'm just following the orders of second Hokage. The destruction of the Senju clan doesn't care about me. It is very likely that second generation explained Sarutobi Hiruzen at the end. Through various methods, the Senju family was directly wiped out bit by bit. Find a way to integrate the whole village into one, and if necessary, eliminate the barriers of the family first. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. It simply violated his inverse scale. One is Konoha and the other is the Senju clan. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately started talking nonsense. Sarutobi Hiruzen ruined the two things Senju Hashirama cared about most at once. You can start with the Senju family first. After the nonsense of third generation, the smart second Hokage knew the truth of the matter immediately. It was heard that everyone present had question marks on their faces. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Humph, Hiruzen, you've really let me down. It turned out that this Sarutobi Hiruzen not only did not eliminate the family barrier, but directly eliminated the family. Senju Hashirama also looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with murderous intent. Perhaps the third generation just twisted this order. But Ming showed an expression of watching the show, and he probably guessed what was going on. 148. Unlucky third Hokage. Crazy Nagato open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Second Hokage's face was very ugly. Unexpectedly, the policy I left to promote the unity of the village was distorted. Originally, it was thought that if the existence of the family could be eliminated directly. Perhaps the whole village can really be completely integrated into one body. It turned out that Sarutobi Hiruzen actually sabotaged it secretly. In order to safeguard their own rights, they have adopted such an extermination policy against powerful families in the village. Boom. Senju Tobirama kicked out Hiruzen who was talking nonsense on the ground. People like you don't deserve to be Hokage. A faint smile appeared on Ming face, and this trip was considered a good deed. Directly let Hiruzen meet his original teacher. Tisk tisk tisk, it's really touching. The yin and yang on the side said strangely. After such a period of preparation, he has already summoned almost all the undead ninjas in his hands. All of a sudden, Konoha village is very lively. The historical Hokage, Golden Horn and Silver Horn of each village. All kinds of powerful ninjas in the history of the ninja world gathered together. Uchiha Ming, If you are willing to surrender, I can consider you as my subordinate. With the winning ticket in his pocket, he looked at Ming with contempt. At this time, he can finally say that he has nothing to fear. Whether in terms of numbers or quality, Do has an overwhelming advantage. How is this possible? Kakashi looked at the opposite lineup with a surprised face. As a man who has experienced 2 ninja wars, naturally, I found that many ninjas on the opposite side were opponents I had encountered in the past. And Jin actually saw his opponent again. Advertisement. Even Nagato was on the scene once again. Hatake White Fang's son. Second generation glanced at Kakashi and said thoughtfully. Ming Yi's face remained unchanged, and he didn't respond to Do's mocking words. Instead, he turned his attention to Nagato in front of the crowd. Why don't you let me surprise you? A hint of annoyance appeared on Nagato's face. However, some fears are faintly mixed in the anger. The previous battle with Ming Ye left him with too much psychological shadow. Konan, come out, Ming Ye said lightly, while looking at Nagato's face with great interest. He really wanted to know what Nagato's expression would be when he saw Konan surrender to him. Hearing Ming Yi's words, Nagato's expression changed suddenly. What did you do to Konan? Ming Ye said indifferently. Don't you like to feel pain? I will let you feel pain again today. At this time Konan heard Ming Yi's voice, and immediately stood up from behind. Looking at Nagato with a guilty face. It was originally agreed to fight for peace in the ninja world together. As a result, as soon as Nagato died in the battle, Konan directly surrendered to the enemy, which was simply an insult. Nagato, I am also for our goal. Nagato was furious and roared, you betrayed Yahiko. Now Nagato is like a beast that has lost its mind. Roaring crazily, if it is said that losing to Ming Ye before completely shattered his ideal. So now the appearance of Konan completely shattered his last self-esteem. Ming Ye looked at Nagato in front of him, with a smile on his face. Advertisement. Ask for flowers. For such an antisocial personality, it is to let him feel the real pain. Otherwise, I always think about torturing other people every day. Konan, I can give you another chance. You can still choose to go back to Nagato, I will not stop you. Ming Ye said lightly. With his hands behind his back, he walked in the air, very free and easy. Nagato, who was originally furious, immediately looked at Konan expectantly, and said, come here quickly, have you forgotten our ideal together? Have you forgotten how Yahiko died? In the final analysis, Nagato is just a radical antisocial, and the thoughts in his mind are not naive and ridiculous. To this day I still think Konan will change his mind. Unfortunately, Konan was silent. After these days of training, he has fully understood how ridiculous what they did before. If there must be someone who can bring peace to people, then this person must be Uchiha Ming. No one else could do it except him. So facing Nagato's recovery, Konan resolutely said, Nagato, I am still sticking to our ideal. But I will choose to fulfill our ideal with Mr. Ming. These words were like a bullet, instantly shattering Nagato's ridiculous and childish thoughts. His eyes dimmed instantly. There was no emotion in the eyes that looked at Konan. Only endless killing intent. You stinky woman, you damn it. A roar of resentment resounded through the audience. 149. Desperate Nagato. Full of doubts. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Listen to the conversations of the people in front of you. The look of wariness towards Uchiha Ming in his eyes became even stronger. This guy is even hotter than Lion Majesty. It was not enough to just kill Nagato, but to completely destroy his heart. Let Nagato's last sliver of sanity disappear. Now Pocket has changed his mind. If necessary, he would definitely kill Uchiha Ming directly. Let such a person be his subordinate. I am afraid that he dare not close his eyes when he sleeps. Contrary to Do, Uchiha Madara looked at Ming with admiration. As expected of a member of my Uchiha family, cruel and ruthless, I like it. A strange smile appeared on Madara's 900 face. No one knows what he wants to write in his heart. I am afraid that everyone still thinks he is just a puppet. However, only it knows that he can break free from the control of Impure world reincarnation at any time. Suddenly, Madara's scalp went numb, and she immediately had the feeling of being spied on. It was as if someone was watching him in the dark. He looked in the direction of Uchiha Ming in a strange way, and actually directly met Uchiha Ming gaze. An inscrutable smile appeared on Ming face. This smile fell into Madara's eyes, and there was a feeling of horror. Could it be that his secret was discovered by others? Madara narrowed her eyes slightly, and stared at Uchiha Ming warily. But soon Ming looked away. Because Nagato, who lost his mind, rushed towards Konan. Shenluo Tianzheng. The current Nagato does not have the limitations of the fragile body of the past. I can fully exert my full strength. Advertisement. Konan has no resistance in front of Nagato in this state. Seeing Nagato getting bigger and bigger in her field of vision, Konan closed her eyes in despair. I muttered silently in my heart. Death in Nagato's hands is a good result. At this moment, she felt a sense of relief. Killing people in front of me, are you qualified? It's just that the pain I imagined didn't come over. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself in Ming arms. A pair of strong arms hugged him in his arms. A strong masculine breath came over, making her feel a little intoxicated. Can't help but keep Ming waist. Nagato on the ground became even more furious seeing this scene. This is simply the insult of the Tauren back then, no man could bear it. Earth explodes. Before he finished shouting, Nagato found himself speechless. Because he has been frozen. A faint smile appeared on Ming Yi's face, and said, Impure world reincarnation doesn't do anything to me. Now he is simply carrying the most powerful sealing technique with him. As long as it is frozen by ice, it is absolutely impossible for ordinary people to break free. In this way, the infinite resurrection of Impure world reincarnation is just a decoration. This is why Ming Ye dared to let Do summon the undead. There are too many ants killing elephants, which is untenable here in Ming Ye. Nagato's eyeballs inside the ice cube were wide open, frantically trying to break free. It's a pity that no matter what method he uses, he can't damage the ice in front of him. Ming Ye stroked Conan's back lightly with one hand, and said softly, you go back first. Feeling the heat coming from his ears and the warm touch on his back, Conan's body trembled. Advertisement. He responded softly. Without looking at Nagato, he left the scene directly. Nagato suddenly became even angrier. It's a pity that he can't do anything except anger. Okay, the show is almost finished. Then it's time to get down to business. After playing the game until now, Ming Ye also feels a little bored. He stared at the pockets in the crowd indifferently, his sharp eyes seemed to be able to penetrate the limitation of space. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Does he not understand his situation at all? Could it be that he is confident that he can defeat these two people at the same time? Listening to Do's words, Ming Ye seemed to have heard some joke. For the sake of you telling me a joke, I allow you to choose your own cemetery. Do's face froze suddenly. If you are willing to surrender, what I said before 2.2 is still valid. Do didn't know the answer, but being cautious by nature, he quietly took 2 steps back. Since you are courting death, you can't blame me. There was a happy arc on the corner of the mouth. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Afterwards, a hint of ferocity appeared, and he was naturally not a soft-legged shrimp who could go so far. Doesn't he know the person in front of him? This sight made Do feel chills behind him. At the same time, I also feel a little unbelievable in my heart. Why is this Uchiha Ming Ye not a little afraid? This is Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Uchiha Ming Ye, how are you thinking? 150. Amazing fire style, Ming Ye's strength open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. With the fall of the words, the expressions of the undead who were still moving freely suddenly changed. All eyes turned to Uchiha Ming Ye. Hundreds of former powerhouses focused their eyes on Ming Ye. It was as if a huge pressure fell on Ming Ye's body. HMPH, small tricks. Ming Ye snorted coldly, and a violent momentum suddenly exploded. The purple halo oscillated around Ming Ye. Conquerors. Hockey. The originally strong pressure suddenly collapsed. Disappeared in place in an instant. And among the undead army in the bag. Except for the cage-level powerhouses, the rest of the Impure world reincarnation undead stagnated. His eyes went blank, although it is said that the undead body of Impure world reincarnation can be regenerated without limit. But the soul is still the original soul, and Ming Ye's conqueror's hockey happens to be a means to attack the will, that is, the soul. 15 Some who are not strong in mind lose power in an instant. What? How can this be? Do's face immediately changed drastically. 80% of the combat power under his hands was wiped out like this. Although it was only 80% of the weakest, it also shocked him a lot. Damn it, is it an illusion? But why is there such a large-scale illusion? Obito looked very ugly. There is no means of attacking the soul in the ninja world. If you have to say it hard, only illusion can barely get involved. Advertisement. But illusions on such a large scale are simply unheard of. Unexpectedly, this Uchiha Ming Ye actually hid such a trick. Don't worry, his illusion seems to have a limited time. The keen pocket immediately discovered that something was wrong. Because he sensed that his undead state was slowly recovering, although the recovery speed was very slow. But it also proves that Uchiha Ming Ye's tactics won't just last. A sneer appeared on Ming Ye's face, although Conqueror's hockey won't last forever. But as long as Ming Ye wants, he can do it again at any time. You should take care of where your grave is chosen. Do snorted coldly, but didn't reply. Up to now, he also found that he still underestimated the strength of this Uchiha Ming Ye. But he still has faith in himself. Be careful, Junior. The pocket directly urged Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara to shoot together. Now he is not ready to hold back. Directly use the 2 strongest whole cards in his hand, and prepare to eliminate the opponent Uchiha Ming Ye in the shortest time. The other ninjas on the side are rushing to the side. Face 2 ninjas, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, who are rushing straight. Not only did Ming Ye not have the slightest fear on his face. Instead, there was a bit of fanaticism. Now he finally had a chance to test his own strength. Ha 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 ha, just in time. Everyone back 50 miles, give me the battlefield. Ming Ye shouted loudly. Kakashi looked at Ming Ye's back, gritted his teeth and immediately ordered Konoha and others to back away. While facing opponents are ninja gods Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. But Kakashi still chooses to believe in Uchiha Ming Ye. Not because of anything else, just because he is Uchiha Ming Ye. Advertisement. Everyone back off, everyone back off. The crowd of Konoha people who were already crowded immediately ran back. immediately leave a huge space. Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara charged from two completely different directions. Surround Ming directly in the middle. The speed was so fast that it was too late for people to react. Fire-style fire extinction. When the distance was about 5 meters, Uchiha Madara shot first. Throw a fire style directly at Ming. Ordinary sea-level ninjutsu seems to have life in the hands of Uchiha Madara. Huge flames directly swept across the audience. A wall of fire 413 as high as hundreds of meters swept towards Ming. Directly seal this piece of space completely. Senju Hashirama on the other side kindly reminded, don't take Madara's trick hard, you will be burned to ashes. As Madara's old opponent, Hashirama naturally knows the power of this move. Even if he faces this trick, he must face it very carefully. Ha ha ha, well done. Ming laughed loudly, advancing instead of retreating. Hashirama's words were not put to his ears in the slightest. Fire-style fire extinction. Clap your hands hard. The chakra in the body rushes out without reservation. A completely identical ninjutsu was released. How can it be? However, as soon as he made a move, he shocked everyone. 151. The strength of the god of ninja. Madara is despised. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Originally, Madara's fire style ninjutsu was scary enough. Unexpectedly, Ming's ninjutsu was even more terrifying. The momentum is enormous. If Madara's fire style is a 100-meter high wall of fire, then Ming's fire style is a cloud of fire that covers the sky and the sun. The entire sky was rendered fiery red. The blazing high temperature scorched the earth, and not a few deep forests not far away even started to spontaneously combust. It can be seen how terrifying the temperature is. How is this possible? Uchiha Madara stared dumbfounded at the scene in the sky. Eyeballs are about to pop out. His fire style was instantly engulfed by Ming's flames, not even a bubble popped up. Everyone behind Konoha is also petrified. Is this really something human can do? Looking at the fire cloud like the might of the sky, Kakashi murmured with dull eyes. If the fire clouds in the sky are coming towards Konoha village, I'm afraid that Konoha will be burnt in an instant and there will be no ashes left. How can you repair? This guy has become stronger again. Obito gritted his teeth in the back, and said unwillingly. Although I've seen Ming's fire style before, let's see it now. Obviously much stronger than before. Ha ha ha, you are indeed a descendant of my Konoha, you really have some strength. Senju Hashirama laughed. I was still worried about my village. Now that he can see Ming's performance, Hashirama's last worry has been relieved. Even if the two of them work together, I'm afraid they won't be able to easily win this Uchiha Ming. Be careful, I'm going to make a move. Although the body is controlled by impure world reincarnation, the mind still stays in the body. This may be because Do wanted to confuse Ming's mind by relying on these. Advertisement. After all, there is always a psychological burden to take action against one's seniors. It's a pity that I miscalculated Ming when Ming shot Hashirama. Not only does it not have any psychological burden, but it is very much looking forward to. Okay, I want to see what level the god of ninja is. Ming laughed out loud, and ignored Uchiha Madara who was beside him. This contemptuous attitude suddenly made Madara's complexion ugly. It was the first time in his life that he was underestimated like this. But when he glanced slightly at the tailed beast lying on the ground beside him, there was an imperceptible smile on the corner of his mouth. Wood-style flower tree realm comes. Hashirama's black hair danced wildly, and the overflowing chakra formed gusts of wind. Blow the surrounding sand and stones into the air. Clap your hands. Countless huge vines immediately broke through the ground, rising into the sky like crazy dragons. Even the tiniest vines may require dozens of people to embrace them. Countless vines moved towards Ming as if they had eyes. Chi. The huge vines are like lightning, making piercing sounds in the air. Although the attack has not yet been completed, the strong wind blows Ming's robe directly on his body. Not good. Master Ming, get out of the way. Kakashi's expression changed. He recognized the move. Back then, Nine Tails, who had gradually controlled the insane state with this trick. If the front is hit by this move, even a person made by King Kong would turn into a puddle of flesh on the spot. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. Ruined. In an instant, many timid people even closed their eyes and screamed. In the eyes of everyone in Konoha, Senju Hashirama is invincible. Advertisement. Even Ming can't be Senju Hashirama's opponent. Seeing the vines getting closer and closer to him, Ming showed a fighting spirit on his face. The stronger the opponent, the more excited Ming will be. This is the awakening of a warlike heart hidden in the body. Single quote. Just in time, Ming laughed loudly and lined up his hands vigorously. Earth-style earth flow wall. Chakra surged out like a sea of King Yang. The soil and rocks on the ground immediately began to condense. A huge wall immediately rose from the ground. These walls are not simply made of mud, but countless rocks are mixed inside. Under the influence of Ming chakra, it is like concrete. In the eyes of everyone's horror, you can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Boom. What's even more frightening is that the thickness of the wall is tens of meters. The Konoha people who were still sluggish immediately woke up and went to the toilet. Lie down. Seeing the shock wave tens of meters high, fear immediately appeared on his face. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. PS. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Tightly condensed together, indestructible. By now, they also felt that horrible feeling. Huge Qian Wang Zhao's voice resounded through the sky. Jiraiya yelled hysterically. If the shock wave hit the front, many people in Konoha village would die on the spot. Lie down quickly. A huge shock wave violently vibrated with the collision point as the center. Dozens of vines hit Mingyi's earth flow wall head on with a terrifying sound of breaking wind. A heavy feeling spread over the surface. 152. Hashirama fell into a disadvantage, and 3 Hokages appeared at the same time. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. In the eyes of everyone's horror, the shock wave is still in an indomitable attitude, destroying anything that dares to stand in front of it. It's over, it's too late. Jiraiya murmured in despair. Just relying on the terrifying energy of this shock wave, it is simply not something that ordinary people can block. If you let this shock wave sweep over, I'm afraid it's hard for ordinary people on the scene to survive 20%. It was too late and then it was too fast. The shock wave immediately rushed to the front. Under the desperate eyes of everyone, a colorful barrier immediately appeared in midair. It's the tailed beast barrier. Kakashi suddenly shouted excitedly. This is exactly the barrier formed by extracting chakra from the tailed beast before. The shock wave immediately installed a colorful barrier on the front. Boom. Immediately, the mountains shook for a while. The colorful barrier flickered immediately. The location of the collision was also flickering for a while, and it looked like it was about to shatter. 077. Everyone's hearts immediately rose to their throats. If the barrier doesn't hold back, then it's all over. Fortunately, the barrier condensed by gathering more than half of the tail beast's power is quite reliable. In the end, the terrifying shock wave was blocked. Everyone, go to Hokage Rock, it's too dangerous here. Before everyone could breathe a sigh of relief, Jiraiya immediately directed the Konoha people to leave the scene. All the gods and ordinary people suffer. The aftermath of an IE alone is already unbearable for them. If you continue to watch the battle, I'm afraid that before they all come over to kill them, they will go to the west first. On the other hand, Do was not so lucky. The undead army, which was originally created with great effort, is now full of corpses. Although it is said that it will recover slowly, it will lose its fighting power in a short time. Damn it, this level of fighting, BFFE, is too scary. Advertisement. Do's face was a little ugly. If he confronts Uchiha Madara head on alone, I'm afraid he won't be able to survive even one move. Ha ha ha, happy. But it's not over yet. Before the dust and mist dissipated, a bold voice pierced through the haze. I saw that the original square earth flow wall was already damaged, but still stood firm in place. Ming took a leap and jumped directly onto the dirt flow wall. Fire-style great fireball technique. Taking a deep breath, he gave Senju Hashirama a hard jab. A fireball as dazzling as the sun immediately appeared in midair. The temperature of the fireball was terrifyingly high, and the vines that were closer to it even started to ignite spontaneously. Go. With a low shout, the fireball was like a shell, flying straight towards Senju Hashirama at an extremely fast speed. Like the fireball, the Senju Hashirama below is as small as an ant on a basketball. It's really inconspicuous. Ha ha ha, it seems that I have to be more serious. Hashirama laughed wildly on his face. As the god of ninja, he has a burning fighting spirit in his heart. It's just that for the sake of peace in the ninja world, he must suppress his inner fighting spirit. Summoning fivefold Rashomon, he slapped his hands hard on the ground. Immediately, 5 huge portals rose from the ground. There are ghostly faces above each portal. It has a huge blood basin and a big mouth, and it looks like it chooses to eat someone. The 5 portals form a straight line between Ming and Hashirama. The huge fireball undoubtedly shattered the first portal head on. He rushed towards the back door without any loss of power. Advertisement. The 4th way. Then the 5th Rashomon was installed. It's so powerful that it's scary. A bead of sweat fell on Hashirama's forehead. He obviously underestimated the horror of this ninjutsu. Boom. The 5-fold Rashomon shattered. The Hashirama behind was directly exposed to the fireball, and there was no ground for protection. The remaining power of the fireball has not diminished, although it is not as exaggerated as the previous name. But even Hashirama's sage body couldn't survive if hit head on. Seeing this scene, Ming frowned. However, Ming's fighting spirit became stronger. One of the handles has some strange words, the sword of endurance, written on it. One has silver hair and the other has yellow hair. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. The two performed the same technique at the same time, and a series of dark textures immediately spread in the space. Ming squinted his eyes. This move is somewhat familiar. Impressively, they are Namikaze Minato and Senju Tobarama who have mastered Flying Thunder God. Chi. When the fireball touches these textures, one can tell at a glance that the owner of this kunai is a middle school sophomore. Afterwards, 2 figures also appeared beside Ku Wu. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Immediately, it disappeared strangely as if it had been swallowed. It's more fun to go together. 2 piercing sounds came. 2 strange kunai flew in front of Hashirama. Isn't this the move that Namikaze Minato used to transfer Nine Tails tailed beast bomb back then? 153. The Horror of Susanoo, the Golden Giant debut. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. After a while, the huge fireball disappeared into the hands of the two of them out of thin air. HMPH, you really are a tough guy. Do said with a gloomy face. This Uchiha Ming has put too much pressure on him so far. Even characters like Senju Hashirama almost fell into Ming's hands. A smile appeared on Ming's face, and said, "Yes, you brought me a lot of fun." Looking at Uchiha Ming who still had that calm expression, Do felt even more resentful in his heart. So far, all his whole cards have been revealed. But this Uchiha Ming is still like a bottomless pit, with no depth at all. Soon you won't be laughing. Come on. On the side of the seal in Pocket's hand, a savage smile appeared on his face. Madara, who was standing in place, froze suddenly. Two scarlet lights appeared in the eyes. Mangekyo Sharingan. Junior, you have the strength to make me go all out. Come on, let me see where your limit is. The current Madara is obviously in a state of full firepower. The blue chakra came out through the body. It transformed into a blue giant directly outside the body. First the skeleton, then the muscles, then the skin. Know that the last layer of armor covers the giant's periphery. In his hand is a long chakra sword. Impressively, it is the perfect body, Susanoo. A strong pressure suddenly appeared in the hearts of everyone. You won't feel the pressure at all if you don't go to the scene. Standing in front of this giant, ordinary people are like an ant. Looking at Uchiha Madara standing inside the giant, Ming also had a flash of fighting spirit in his eyes. The originally dark pupils also began to change slowly. A dazzling red glow immediately appeared in the pupils. Advertisement. Hey, it's Eternal Mangekyo. Madara said something strange. Even in his time, there were very few Uchiha people with Eternal Mangekyo. Looks like you want to dance too, Madara. Ming said something lightly. The golden light immediately covered his whole body inside. Then the same steps appeared on Ming's body again. But for a moment, a golden giant reappeared at the center of the field. It's just that this golden giant is taller. The wings like golden glaze slowly spread out, and a huge momentum suddenly emerged. 887,287. The moment the golden tang knife left the scabbard. An incomparably violent saber energy charged straight into the distance. Boom. A mountain in the distance suddenly exploded. The power of a knife is unmatched in terror. Looking at this scene, Madara's originally arrogant face immediately froze. This Uchiha Ming actually even mastered Susanoo. And just looking at his size, he seems to be much stronger than him. Be careful, I'm going up too. Wood-style wooden dragon tree. Hashirama reminded loudly and clapped his hands. The vines that were lying on the ground immediately danced wildly. A wood-style dragon with golden eyes blazed into the air immediately. Hashirama stood on top of the dragon, watching Ming. The two perfectly wrapped Ming in it, one left and one right. Mama, I never thought that we would fight side by side, I really miss it. Haxi hot mom, you are right, but we will be younger in this battle. It's not impossible to capsize in the gutter. Advertisement. Ask for flowers. Although the battle is about to start, the two old CPS still have time to chat. This scene made Ming a little speechless. Namikaze Moisture and Senju Tobarama are in tandem, killing Ming among them. Be ready to use the Flying Thunder God to assist the attack. In this way, Ming's four directions were completely blocked by the dead. I want to see how you can struggle. Obito looked at Ming viciously from behind. Just the fluctuations from the golden giant frightened him a little. It is really hard to imagine how terrifying Ming's strength will be. 0. This feeling of powerlessness reminded him of the experience at the end of the crane. Obito hated this feeling. That's right, you guys should let me use a partner's calendar. Ming looked at Hashirama with a smile on his face. In fact, Ming's current strength is not even clear to him. Since the Whitebeard template fusion degree reaches 90%. It seems that they can cooperate with their own chakra. With the mutual enhancement of the two, Ming's current strength can only be described as unfathomable. Even if the Sage of Six Paths is revived, I'm afraid it can be played back and forth. Junior, have you seen my full strength? Madara's eyes glowed red, and she directly manipulated the blue Susanoo to rush towards Ming. The ability contained in Chakra's long sword is simply terrifying. With a swing of the sword, it was as if the space had been cut off. A look of disdain appeared on Ming's face. I'll show you what it is, Susanoo. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription for 154. One knife opens the gate of heaven, the desperate Madara open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. The golden giant didn't back down at all, but flapped its wings and flew. It whipped up countless strong winds and rushed directly towards Madara's blue Susanoo. The golden tang knife is like gilt, and there seems to be liquid flowing inside. Look, this is the true strength of Susanoo, Ming said lightly. The expression on his face remained unchanged. Madara's expression changed, but she didn't continue to say anything. It's just that there is a lot more chakra in the eyes. The blue giant sword also stared more closely, as if it had materialized. In the sky, two golden giants, one blue and one golden, were terrifyingly fast. It turned into two golden blue lines and pierced through the air. 253, clang. Clang. Every time the golden line and the blue line meet, they will make a sound like gold and iron. At the same time, sparks flickered continuously in the air. The harsh sound and dazzling sparks are very uncomfortable. Many ordinary people closed their eyes and covered their ears. As Mr. Ming already so powerful. Looking at Ming looming over Madara's head in the sky, Kakashi's expression was a little dull. Uchiha Ming seems to be about the same age as him. But the strength is already so terrifying. Such a comparison makes Kakashi feel a little ashamed. Fortunately, he is still called a genius. It turned out to be worthless in front of Ming. The battle in the sky continues. After fighting like this 3 or 5 times, the blue line directly turned into a meteor and fell into the sky. Boom. Madara's Susanoo plummeted straight to the ground, kicking up a huge cloud of dust. The golden Susanoo is slowly fluttering its wings, standing in the 9 heavens. Ming stood on top of the golden giant, looking indifferently at Uchiha Madara below. You let me down a little bit. Advertisement. Unexpectedly, not long after the fight, Uchiha Madara completely fell into a disadvantage. Ahem, I really have some skills. The dust cleared, revealing the misery of the blue Susanoo and Madara within. The original blue chakra sword has been broken down the middle. There is also a knife mark running across the chest in Susanoo's armor. There is also a golden light flowing above the knife marks, constantly destroying Susanoo's body. Hiss. Everyone gasped suddenly. Uchiha Madara, unexpectedly lost. And within a few short rounds, he was defeated. The strength of this Uchiha Ming is really scary. But Madara didn't just give up, after struggling to get up. Hands began to slowly seal. His pride would never allow him to lose like this. Tengai Shinsei. With the shouting of the last word, a large shadow suddenly appeared in the sky. The original sun seems to have disappeared. A huge shadow instantly enveloped the entire battlefield. Even Ming in the sky couldn't help but look up. It really is a meteorite, Ming said with some emotion. The size of this meteorite is really scary. Even the golden Susanoo pales in comparison to meteorites. However, it's just a stone, Ming said indifferently. The golden giant on the surface slowly drew out his tang knife. A dazzling golden light suddenly flashed out. Laugh. In an instant, a golden light flashed under the dark sky. It was as if the whole world was frozen under Ming knife. Advertisement. Then, a huge golden arc of light galloped out directly. During the flight, the golden arc of light keeps getting bigger. Until the end, the golden arc of light is no longer as small as a meteorite. Kai. La. The light arc directly and cleanly penetrated the meteorite. The incision is as smooth as a mirror, and there is a layer of golden light spots spreading faintly. The huge meteorite instantly became 2 hemispheres. This is not over yet. The golden light at the incision of the 2 hemispheres began to rapidly corrode the meteorite. This is the special ability of Ming Susanoo. But any place that is stained with gold will be slowly corroded. In the blink of an eye, the huge meteorite disappeared without a trace. The golden energy corrodes something that has no resistance, and it is simply easy to grasp. Ming overlooks Uchiha Madara condescendingly. How can it be? P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Is it because I have been dead for too long? This Uchiha Ming has such terrifying strength at such a young age. In this way, another ultimate move of Madara was easily resolved by Ming. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Although Obito did all kinds of bad things, Madara didn't do anything good either. If necessary, directly ending Uchiha Madara's life permanently 1.4 is also a good choice here. If he has been practicing for a few years, he will still be able to get it. A hint of disbelief flashed in Madara's eyes. There is no emotion in the eyes. Could it be that 6 paths can win it? You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Madara could not accept this result. How? You have other cards. Are all ninjas this powerful? Times have changed. 155. Obito's smile. Ming strength open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. At this time, Hashirama on the side did not continue to wait. Although his soul didn't want to make a move, his body didn't listen at all. Hashirama said loudly, "Be careful, I'm going to shoot." The wooden dragon twisted its body and circled out, winding towards Ming golden giant. Although the wooden golem is huge, but it was nothing compared to Ming golden Susanoo. When wrapping around the golden giant, it looks like a little snake. Ming eyes turned slightly, and he found that his chakra was passing by quickly. The direction of the passage was actually within the body of the wooden dragon. This thing doesn't do much for me. Ming looked at Hashirama's wooden dragon with interest. Then he clapped his hands together. Wood dragon technique. An identical wooden dragon circled out immediately. Intertwined with Hashirama's wooden dragon. 15 inches. How is it possible? You can also wood style. This time it was Hashirama's turn to be surprised. Although the various strengths Ming showed before made him very shocked. But still within logic. After all, the ninjutsu of the Uchiha family is used. But now the Uchiha family actually used wood style. This is very bizarre. Do you have the blood of my Senju clan in you? Gradually and immediately take it for granted that Ming is a member of the Senju clan. For example, the offspring of the intermarriage between the Uchiha clan and the Senju clan. This is the ability to have both Sharingan and wood-style abilities. Ming smiled brightly and said, wrong answer. A white halo suddenly appeared above the fist. A frightening breath came from inside. It is the power of shock fruit. After feeling the energy contained in Ming fist, Hashirama's eyes flashed with astonishment. Advertisement. Why does this Uchiha Ming have all kinds of whole cards emerging one after another? There is still such a powerful force hidden. Go and accompany Madara too. Aiming at the direction gradually, Ming turned back fiercely. Clatter. There was a sound like breaking glass in the space. Strips of white cracks suddenly spread along Ming fist. Then spread over the gradual wood dragon. In the end, the wooden dragon also created countless cracks along with the space. Under Hashirama's horrified gaze, the hard wooden dragon suddenly shattered from the crack. The entire wooden dragon turned into countless fragments and fell to the ground. The same is naturally true of the Hashirama above. Boom. The wooden dragon's body fell to the ground and made a loud sound. Ming stands above the 9 heavens, standing on top of the golden giant. There is actually a wooden dragon surrounding the golden giant's body. The power of wood style and Sharingan are perfectly fused together within Ming body. He even directly defeated 2 ninja legends, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. The audience was dead silent. The god of ninja has lost like this. Even Senju Tobirama on the side was a little dumbfounded. He knows better than anyone how strong his elder brother is. Not to mention defeating Hashirama head-on. There are very few people in the ninja world who make Hashirama feel pressured. Now this junior is actually so strong. It's better to show all your strength, otherwise you may not have a chance to make a move today. Ming said lightly. He naturally knew that these people still had their hands up until now. Otherwise, it is impossible to lose so easily. The face of Do hiding in the dark is even uglier. Advertisement. How does this Uchiha Ming practice? How could there be such a terrifying person in the ninja world? Could it be that he is the reincarnation of a god? Damn it, I don't believe you are really invincible. Do gritted his teeth. Get ready to push Hashirama and Uchiha Madara to take on Ming. On the side of Yanji, an invisible wave immediately spread out. The eyes of all the undead affected by this fluctuation immediately became dull. Only the figure of Uchiha Ming was in his eyes, and there was no trace of reason. Even Hashirama is no exception, the only difference is. Uchiha Madara glanced vaguely in the direction of the bag. Then fell into a state of sluggishness. Seeing the state of the undead below, Ming sneered. This is simply a rare opportunity. And now the people in Konoha have retreated to Hokage Rock. Ming smiled lightly. Uchiha Obito was slowly backing away. That's what he's here for. His gaze drifted to the tailed beasts at the side vaguely. He's going to take this opportunity to do something of his own. It seems that this pocket is 377 ready to make a final fight. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Although Chakra who just discovered the tailed beast disappeared. 156. Hashirama and Madara's whole cards. Fusion skills open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. At this moment, everyone is still paying attention to the frontal battlefield. Get ready, Hashirama. At this moment, Madara seemed to have walked out of Ming's blow. The previous unruly look was restored on the face again. Hashirama also has a serious face, and Chakra, who is shaking all over his body, is extremely powerful. Sage body is pushed to ultimate by Hashirama at this moment. Before that was over, some strange black lines began to appear on Hashirama's face. The lines wrap around the eyes and end in a singular texture on the forehead. Impressively is Sage mode. Madara also fully activated her Mangekyo Sharingan. Looking at the two who have brought out all their strengths and no longer have the slightest reservation. Ming nodded in satisfaction and said, that's right. Let me see your strength. With Ming last word falling. An equally powerful chakra erupted. I won't let you down, Junior. Hashirama, how about you and I making a joint shot? Madara turned to look at Hashirama beside him. After seeing Ming's full strength, he no longer wanted to single out Ming. Instead, he reached out to Hashirama for help. Okay, let's use that trick. Gradually nodded, with a dignified look on his face. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu. Hashirama yelled loudly and slapped his hands hard on the ground. A large amount of wood-style chakra burst out and rushed directly into the ground. Following Hashirama's actions, the ground began to shake slowly. It was like an earthquake. The people remaining on the field suddenly panicked. Advertisement. Where is this ninjutsu? It was like a natural disaster. After a while, the ground began to crack. A huge hand protruded from the cracked gap. Then came the arms, the head, the chest. Until finally, a wooden golem formed entirely of wood appeared in the field. Wooden golem is huge, not weaker than Ming's Susanoo in size. Hashirama and Madara stand on top of the wooden golem. How, Uchiha's kid? Can you do this move? Hashirama immediately asked Ming with some confidence. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu he never taught anyone. In other words, it is absolutely impossible for Ming to master this ninjutsu. While speaking, another wooden dragon emerged from the ground. Wrapped around Hashirama's wooden golem. It looks very majestic. At least in terms of momentum, it is no longer inferior to Ming's golden Susanoo. Facing Hashirama's question, Ming smiled. This trick is not bad. But that's not enough. Facing Mingyi's very arrogant attitude, Madara snorted coldly. Little devil, what about this? Madara made a handprint slowly. I saw that the wooden body of wooden golem began to appear blue light slowly. The blue chakra began to spread rapidly. Covers the entire wooden golem in an instant. When chakra twisted, a pair of blue Susanoo armor was formed on the wooden golem. A breath of destruction suddenly came from it. Advertisement. Anyone who sensed the breath saw Kakuzu jump wildly. Just looking at it from a distance, there is a feeling of fright. I really don't know how terrifying such a monster would be when it attacked head-on. Wooden golem waved his arm, and a blue chakra sword appeared in his hand. Two blue wings slowly spread out from behind, standing in the field like a god. Little ghost, how are you doing now? Above wooden golem's head, Madara and Hashirama stood with arms crossed, looking at Mingye confidently. Except for characters like Six Paths, this move can be said to be the strongest move in the history of the ninja world. Even Mingye felt the pressure. The back pocket is hidden in the dark. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. It was as if he had been abandoned. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Seeing the strength that the two of them had exploded now, Rand's face became more and more ugly. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. I was amazed in my heart. I didn't expect Madara and Hashirama, good friends, to secretly hide this trick. He found that everything was going in a direction beyond his control. Although he can still control Madara, this feeling gives him a very bad premonition. Because in his perception, Madara's control actually has a very weird feeling. Quote. Illusion, it's all an illusion. Qian Nujiao, even if he is willing to retire, I am afraid Mingye will not let him go. So now only by doing everything possible to destroy Uchiha Mingye can he have a glimmer of life. Putting these distracting thoughts behind him, now he has no way out. However, Mingye took a deep breath and said indifferently, but it's not enough. At this moment, Mingye narrowed his eyes slightly, looking at the armored wooden golem in front of him with great interest. Even Uchiha Obito was gone at the moment. When he saw this combo skill at this moment, his face became a little ugly. I really don't know who else in the ninja world besides Six Paths could make them use this trick. 157. Mingye's whole card. Crazy pocket open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. As soon as these words came out, Madara's pupils dilated instantly, and she looked at Mingye with a look of surprise. Hashirama on the side also frowned. Could it be that this person is really so powerful? I hate arrogant people. Madara snorted coldly. I don't think Mingye is telling the truth. On the contrary, they think that Mingye is strong on the outside and can do it on the inside, just pretending to be calm. But Madara is right to think so, if it is divided according to the strength of the original ninja world. Both Madara and Hashirama are already ceiling level figures. How could anyone stop the two of them from joining forces at the same time? It's just that they are facing a man named Uchiha Mingye. Ha ha ha, it seems that Konoha is indeed my successor. Hashirama laughed out loud instead, although at the moment in the hostile camp. But Hashirama is still happy that Konoha has a talent like Mingye. Let me see where your limit is. Going on, Madara. Hashirama yelled and clapped his hands hard. 477. The huge blue armored wooden golem swept over with the aura of apocalypse. Mingye looked at the mighty wooden golem, with an inexplicable smile on his face. Since you want to see it, then I will satisfy you. Immediately, Mingye performed the same spell as Hashirama. With a low voice, wood-style wooden golem jutsu. Immediately, changes began to appear inside the golden armor. A wooden golem also made of wood broke through the ground. The golden Susanoo on the body surface also changed a bit, changing to Huawei's golden armor attached to the trapped person. In an instant, an identical golden armor wooden golem appeared on the field. Advertisement. Even the aura of destruction coming out is exactly the same. The two breaths are constantly intertwined and rubbed in the void. Clusters of sparks kept appearing where the two actually clashed. How can it be? Hashirama yelled in disbelief. He also knows the wooden golem tree. Madara's face turned ugly. Doesn't this mean that the skills of the two of them working together are almost the same as Mingye alone? Moreover, just looking at the solidity of wooden golem's armor, I'm afraid Mingye is even better. The outer armor of Mingye wooden golem is light gilt gold, and the inside of Luli seems to have gold flowing continuously. It looks very strange. Although they haven't fought head to head, they can tell that the defense is very strong. Do you think this is the end? A sneer appeared on the corner of Mingye's mouth, and said, look carefully, now is just the beginning. Mingye raised his right hand high. An icy blue light flickered in his hand. As the light flickered, a breath that seemed to be able to freeze everything flowed out. Wooden golem followed Mingye's lead as well. On the right hand, the ice blue light is constantly flickering and changing. In the end, it directly turned into an ice blue spear. On the tip of the spear, ice crystals were constantly condensing in the air. This is the performance of extreme cold. Once the water molecules in the air approach the ice spear, they will directly turn into ice crystals and fall down. Wooden golem's chest also began to show the same change. An ice blue breastplate completely covered the entire chest position. Each joint is also covered with ice blue armor. Between a few short breaths, the wooden golem summoned by Mingye seemed to be wearing a layer of ice crystal armor again. An unshakable momentum made people feel very depressed. Advertisement. Then you will see how I destroy you. There was a look of excitement on Ming Yi's face. So far, although he hasn't tried his best, it can be regarded as using his 6th level strength. Just to test how strong you are. Damn, what kind of power is this? Why is this Uchiha Ming Yi's ice shield so terrifying? The back pockets are dazzling. This Uchiha Ming Yi's cards are almost endless. I have fought to this point, but I still can't see the depth at all. All the means of restraining the undead were released. Even the clothes are very neat, without a trace of dust. Even beyond his imagination, the celestial chakra in the body gushes out directly, urging the ability of impure world reincarnation to ultimate. Things have developed to the present, and it has completely exceeded his control. A face is not red, not panting look. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Everything that prevents me from ruling the entire ninja world will be destroyed. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Konoha must be destroyed too. No matter what, you must die here today. It didn't seem like they were here to fight, but rather like they were here to watch the battle. Give it to me. Do roared frantically. He will do everything to defeat Uchiha Ming. Only the last control command was left. How can there be such a scary guy as Uchiha Ming in this world? You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. 158. Ming Yi's strength. The blade is shattered open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Hashirama and Madara in the battlefield seemed to sense something, and the expressions on their faces changed. Because they discovered that the pressure that had been restraining their souls was actually much smaller. A strange arc emerged from the corner of Madara's mouth. I thought to myself, it seems that this Uchiha Ming is putting too much pressure on me. Then my chance will come soon. Although there are many thoughts in my heart. But Madara remains largely unchanged on the surface. Pushing her Susanoo with all her strength, she was ready to fight Ming. Ha ha ha, come on. Ming laughed loudly, and directly took the initiative to attack. Wooden Golem spread out its golden wings directly, and saw a hovering one. It soared to 90,000 miles. In a hover, sprint down directly from the sky. With a mighty force, he rushed straight towards the Hashirama wooden golem below. The terrifying power directly tore apart the cracks where Hashirama wooden golem was. A cold light shone on the ice blue spear tip. Just looking at it makes me feel chills. Jiraiya's complexion changed drastically. After sensing the destructive power contained in this, a bad feeling immediately emerged in my heart. The aftermath of the two people testing each other before was so terrifying. Now that the official battle has started directly, how much damage will the battle cause? Run! Jiraiya immediately yelled frantically at the crowd behind him. If it is later, once the aftermath of the battle reaches here, I'm afraid no one will survive. The Konoha crowd on the Hokage rock suddenly panicked. Run! Master Ming has gone crazy. It's over. My home is gone, and the house I just built is also over. It's good if you can save your life. Run quickly. After Master Ming repels the enemy, we will come back soon. Advertisement. All of a sudden, the scene was very chaotic, and there was a lot of chaos. Fortunately, Jiraiya has enough foresight. People retreated to Hokage Rock in advance. Otherwise, I'm afraid there is no time to keep a safe distance. At this moment, Hashirama's eyebrows were jumping wildly, and Ming Yi's attack brought him great pressure. It has been many years since I have felt this feeling of dying. Madara, Li Kuang. Hashirama took a deep breath and clapped his hands together. Endless roots suddenly sprouted from the Hashirama wooden golem's feet. It is inserted straight into the earth, and it is still extending. He wants to use the power of the earth to fight against Ming in this way. Madara also had a very dignified expression, and the chakra in her body poured into her eyes without reservation. The blue chakra long sword in wooden golem's hand also became more and more solid, and there was a faint feeling of blue crystal. The blue long sword aimed high at Ming above the sky. Blade versus gun point. Under the strong blessing of Ming and Hashirama, Madara. The distance of hundreds of meters can be reached in the blink of an eye. At this moment, time seemed to slow down. The tip of the spear made of ice crystals pierced the blue blade fiercely. Everyone subconsciously closed their eyes and covered their ears. Get ready for the big bang to come. But after a while, the imaginary explosion did not come out. Kakashi tried to open his eyes, watching the direction of the battle slightly. I saw a special ball of light appearing at the place where the tip of the gun and the blade touched. The energy in the light ball flickers indefinitely. A trace of black cracks continued to spread. Ask for flowers. As the confrontation continued, the cracks continued to spread. Advertisement. Until the end, even from the size of a strand of hair at the beginning, to the width of a finger. It was terribly dark inside. It seems to be endless darkness that can devour everything. All the energy from the battle between the three of them was absorbed into this black crack. Ming narrowed his eyes slightly, unexpectedly opening all the space cracks. Not enough. Ming let out a low cry, and once again exerted force on the hand holding the ice crystal spear. The ice crystal spear shone with a brilliant blue light, and rushed forward an inch in an instant. 0. Throat. Ah. Brothers who like to watch, click automatic subscription, Bagwong. It will be directly transformed into countless casually sucked into the pitch black cracks of space for you. The cracks are still widening. But still not enough. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. A completely pitch black space appeared at the tip of the gun. Snapped. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Terrifying suction came from it, as if it wanted to absorb everything. In the end, under everyone's shocked eyes. The same is true for Madara, the two of them have already exhausted all the power zones in their bodies at this moment. Blade. Shattered. Under the horrified eyes of the two, a crack appeared on the blade of the blue chakra. Hashirama yelled as hard as he could. The veins on his face swelled to ultimate, very penetrating. The cracks that were originally spider webs suddenly shattered, like a piece of glass that had reached its limit. The sound of space breaking suddenly came out. Advertisement 159. Mingyi's 7 levels of power. The defeated Madara open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Hashirama flushed red. The ground under his feet also began to sink slowly. Although through the strength of the root system, the whole land is used to resist Mingye. But still not enough. The land with a radius of 10 kilometers is actually sinking down bit by bit. The power of a single shot. Horror unparalleled. Although the two intend to continue to resist Mingye, the blade transformed by Susanoo has already reached ultimate. Can't resist Mingyi's ice crystal spear at all. Wherever the spear went, Madara's chakra sword shattered inch by inch. For every inch the spear advances, chakra's long sword shatters an inch. Until the end, there is only one sword, 267, handle left in the long sword of chakra, which is in the hand of Hashirama's master. Broken. Mingye gave a low snort. The spear in his hand twisted violently, and the ice blue tip pierced directly into wooden golem's chest. Then he raised it high, and the entire wooden golem instantly broke into 2 halves. Just when the spear was about to pick Hashirama and Madara. Hashirama shouted. Wood dragon. The wooden dragon that was originally wrapped around Hashirama wooden golem's body suddenly circled. Blocked directly in front of Hashirama and Madara, blocking the fatal blow for the two. Wooden golem wailed, and was chopped off from the middle. Mingye snorted coldly and said, Juba. The tip of the ice crystal spear picked out a beautiful spear flower. Directly envelop Madara and Hashirama in it. Boom. The wooden golem shatters completely, sending your sawdust flying all over the sky. The blue armor on the body surface is also vulnerable, and was directly rented by the minister. Madara was accidentally dismembered by Mingye, and fell powerlessly to the ground. Advertisement. Where the body was broken, confetti kept flying. Although he won't die, he will definitely lose his fighting power for a while. Hashirama took advantage of this force to jump backward a few times, keeping a safe distance from Mingye. Junior, your strength is indeed terrifying. Hashirama gasped heavily. Seeing that Madara is out of combat power, only Hashirama is left to face Mingye alone. The back pocket suddenly became anxious. Neither of them is Mingyi's opponent, and now there is only one person left. What should I do then? It seems that I can only shoot with all my strength. A few drops of sweat dripped from his forehead. Although Senju Hashirama was controlled by the power of the tailed beast before. But the range of control is also very limited. If the shackles of Hashirama are completely uncovered, I am afraid it will only be a short period of control for tens of minutes. After that, I'm afraid it will lose control over Hashirama. I can't manage that much anymore. Do gritted his teeth and formed a magical mark. Directly reduce Hashirama's control to the minimum, so that Senju Hashirama can release all his power to the greatest extent. Come on, kill Uchiha Mingye for me, ruin the wood petiole. Do roared angrily. Hashirama, who was still panting, seemed to freeze suddenly. I lost my figure in my pupils, and a sense of freedom filled my whole body. Although still limited by the impure world reincarnation, some autonomy has been restored. You are called Do, right? After this battle, I will personally take your life. Hashirama said coldly. Although he is still forced to fight Mingye now, he can sense it. It's not too long before he breaks free. Junior, be careful, I'm going to attack with all my strength. Advertisement. Hashirama said coldly. Mingye squinted his eyes, showing no surprise at all. Under observation Haki's perception, any slight change in Hashirama's body cannot escape his eyes. Originally, he found that Hashirama seemed to have a feeling of restraint. It now appears that this bondage has been lifted. But that's fine too. Let me meet the god of ninja in its heyday. Mingye stood above the 9 heavens, and said lightly. There is no feeling of fear at all. The ice crystal spear in his hand pointed at Senju Hashirama on the ground, and the ice blue light on the tip of the spear kept coming and going. A powerful fighting spirit was evident. Yes, I will try my best to control myself. Hashirama said something very appreciative. Although he is not from the same era as Mingye, it does not prevent Hashirama from having a good impression of Mingye. This is someone who can take over from him. A man with the hope of ending war in the ninja world. Afterwards, chakra began to surge crazily in Hashirama's body, and the strong air current even blew his hair up. A terrible breath came from Hashirama's body. It seemed that some terrifying ninjutsu 0.5 was brewing. There was a look of anticipation in Mingyi's eyes. He secretly said in his heart, after waiting for so long, are you finally going to use your real strength? Muscles tense slowly, and Mingye is ready to put in an extra layer of strength. Use 7 layers of power to counter Hashirama's final whole card. It's coming. Hashirama shouted. Sage art would style true several thousand hands. 160. Mingyi's unrevealed power. Hashirama's surprise open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. With the shout of Hashirama. The audience suddenly fell silent. True several thousand hands. Jiraiya's mouth was wide open, and these words popped out of his mouth intermittently. As early as when he was young, he had heard of this ninjutsu. It is also by virtue of this ninjutsu that Hashirama defeated Madara and achieved the title of God of Ninja. Madara looked at Hashirama in the field with some emotion, the expression on his face was very complicated. I didn't expect to see this ninjutsu again. At that time, he was missing a move, and finally lost this move. Uchiha Ming, I hope you survive. Only those who have truly understood this move can know the horror of this move. Although Uchiha Ming is strong, Madara doesn't think he can block this move. With Hashirama's loud shout, it seemed that there was a giant breaking through the ground below. Terrifying vibrations began, and it was difficult for even people to stand firm on it. Feel the huge movement and terrifying energy underground. A hint of admiration flashed in Ming's eyes. Even he had to admire the terrifying power of these true several thousand hands. If the previous wooden golem jutsu was just a magnitude 2.0 earthquake, so the current true several thousand hands is simply a magnitude 9.0 earthquake. The ground shook, and countless cracks began to appear on the ground. The original Konoha village immediately fell apart. Countless houses collapsed continuously, and then fell into the cracks of the earth. The entire Konoha village was instantly destroyed. And the original tailed beast barrier seemed to be malfunctioning at this time, and it didn't play the slightest role. It's just that no one cares about these things at this time. All eyes were on Hashirama nervously. Advertisement. The vibrations are getting stronger and stronger, and the cracks in the ground are getting bigger and bigger. Until finally, the first hand sticks out of the ground. It was a fist made of wood, about the same size as wooden golem's fist before. Immediately after the second fist. The 10th fist. 100th. Until the end, a huge monster with thousands of arms appeared in the field. There are thousands of fists behind this giant. Comparing Ming's wooden golem with this true several thousand hands, it's like the gap between adults and children. Along with the appearance of the giant, Hashirama has also stood on top of the giant Buddha statue. If you admit defeat now, I can stop, Hashirama said with a serious face. Although he was asked to kill Ming, now he has been able to regain some autonomy. If it wasn't necessary, he didn't want to do anything to Konoha's Jr. A smile appeared on Ming's face, and said, let me see your true strength. That alone is not enough. Before, he had only used 6 layers of strength for the second line, and now he was about to add another layer of strength. So Ming was still very indifferent and didn't panic because of it. Hashirama took a deep look at Ming, and he and Z seemed to be much stronger than he thought. Okay, let me test where your limit is. Ming also stopped answering, and the ice crystal armor on Susanoo's body began to expand rapidly. Know that the whole wooden golem and Susanoo are wrapped up in the end. Form an airtight armor. This alone was not enough, the ice crystals continued to spread. The thickness is also constantly increasing. Until finally, a strange sight formed. Advertisement. A giant with wooden golem jutsu as the skeleton, Susanoo as the veins, and blue ice crystals as the muscles appeared in this way. Although he hasn't done anything yet, the momentum alone is already very terrifying. No loss to Hashirama's true several thousand hands. This trick, I haven't named him yet. However, it must be enough to defeat you. Ming took a deep breath, and a white halo immediately appeared above the giant's hands. Exactly what shock fruit is capable of. Use this terrifying body to cast shock fruit. This is also Ming's first time. How terrifying the power is, Ming himself is not sure. But Ming has a very special feeling, that is, he seems to be able to tear apart the space 597 sides easily. Slightly exhaling a foul breath, Ming moved his shin a little. Get used to this terrifying power. Between the swinging of the giant's arms, the surrounding space unexpectedly felt a sense of distortion. Just a small movement has brought such pressure to the space, if you really make a full shot. I'm afraid it will directly explode this world in an instant. Ha 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 ha, come on, just let me see your last whole card. Ming laughed out loud, full of pride. When one man guards the gate, the aura of Wanfu Mokai explodes suddenly. The loud sound made people's ears hurt. Hashirama also smiled generously, not at a disadvantage. Okay, try my trick. The scene was on the verge of breaking out. The terrifying battle is about to reach its climax. 161. The power of true several thousand hands, the strength of Hashirama open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Hashirama looks solemn, and it can be said that Ming is the most powerful opponent he has ever met. Even Madara back then was no match for Ming. Although he showed all his strength, it is still unknown whether he can defeat Ming. And Hashirama has not forgotten the most terrifying point. By now, he and Madara have been disgraced. If it wasn't for the infinite resurrection of Impure World Reincarnation's body, I'm afraid his body would also be full of scars. But this Uchiha Ming is still intact until now. Not even the clothes were damaged at all. So how many layers of strength has Ming exerted now? Hashirama is unknown. But Hashirama knows one thing, if he doesn't try his best, he may lose to his juniors. The Buddha on the top. Hashirama roared with all his might. The sound seemed to be able to penetrate the heart, but all the ninjas who heard the sound couldn't help but feel excited. It seems to have returned to the era when the ninja god existed. Above the head of the ice giant, Ming showed a hint of arrogance on his face. What about the god of ninjas? I'm going to make a new history today. The power of the 7 layers exploded in an all-round way. The ice giant clenched its fist with its right hand, and a stream of white energy continuously spread from its arm. Finally, a white spherical energy cluster is formed at the fist. A breath of destruction came from it. As the strength increased, black cracks began to appear in the space around the fist. The accumulated energy space alone is already unbearable. If this fist erupts with all its strength, its power may be devastating. Then the white hydrogen gas began to shrink sharply. From the original head size of the ice crystal giant, slowly shrinking to the size of the ice crystal giant's fist. In the end, it directly merged with the fist of the ice crystal giant. Advertisement. The original ice blue fist turned completely white at this moment. Clatter. As the size shrinks, the destructive power emanating from its interior becomes even more terrifying. The surrounding space directly shattered like a mirror. A dark space crack was exposed. Ha ha ha, what about true several thousand hands? Watch me punch it. Ming laughed wildly, his face full of rebellion. Not only didn't wait for Hashirama to take the initiative, but rushed towards Hashirama one step at a time. The explosive power of the ice giant is terrifying. Where every footstep fell, the ground directly cracked open. In order to provide enough explosive power for Ming, the ground directly sank for more than several feet. Every time you step, the ground trembles. Where the ice giant passes, the space is like glass hit by a stone. Broken directly on the spot. Wherever Ming passed, a dark crack in space was left directly. Seeing Ming terrifying power, Hashirama let out a deep breath. All the fairy chakra in the body surged out unreservedly. Thousands of arms behind the wooden statue of Buddha at the foot are like a mad dragon. He rushed straight towards Ming. Wherever it passed, it also left a series of space cracks. It's just that it's still not as powerful as Ming's. Facing these thousands of arms, Ming not only didn't flinch, but speeded up instead. He wants to experience how strong the strongest power of the ninja god is. It's over, are they going to destroy the whole Konoha? Jiraiya muttered to herself. Before the battle started, the power of these two people alone was already terrifying. Advertisement. If it was really a big fight, I am afraid that the area where Konoha is located will be sunk due to the ground. Even Konoha survived in the future. I'm afraid I have to find a way to rebuild the village in another place. Quote. Shall we pull back a little more? Kakashi on the side asked worriedly. Looking at this posture, I am afraid that the aftermath of this battle will not be too small. There are quite a few ordinary Konoha people behind them. This cannot withstand any destruction. This is the strength of the ninja god. Not to mention everyone, they couldn't bear the aftermath of the battle alone. Do two tigers care about the assistance of mosquitoes when they fight? In the eyes of everyone fearful and expectant. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. It's faster, but what's the use? In the face of this level of battle, they are not even qualified to intervene. Actually died on the seal 9 tails. At this moment, he felt that he was really ashamed. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Namikaze Minato, who was flitting to the side, muttered to himself. 162. Ming's terrifying strength. Hashirama lost open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. One side has thousands of arms, the other has only one arm. What will be the result of such a disparity in the number of battles? Ming punched hard on the space. Unlike before, this time the space is not broken. However, it seemed that the whole body was trembling. As if the air had directly turned into a solid, Ming hit the solid air hard in a circle. Thousands of fists shared Ming's terrifying punch. In an instant, there was a loud noise from the center of the fight between the two sides. Even the Konoha people who were hundreds of miles away could still hear this terrifying voice. Ordinary people screamed when they heard it, and passed out on the spot. Even some elite jonin feel like their heads are about to explode. Quick, get down. Jiraiya yelled hoarsely, resisting the pain in his head. After the previous lesson, he knew that this was just the first wave, and there would be another powerful shock wave in the future. If you don't get down in advance, I am afraid that the casualties will be divided into 81 kinds of yours. In an instant, violent power swept away. The energy from Ming's fist and Hashirama's top Buddha exploded fiercely. The entire land suddenly turned into countless small isolated islands like a piece of broken jade. It is torn apart, and there is no complete appearance at all. Every isolated island can only be seen as a deep crack, and in the crack is a bottomless darkness, as if it goes straight to the center of the earth. There are space cracks one after another in the sky. The whole world is filled with the horror scene of the end of the world. The aftermath of the battle not only destroyed the battlefield, but also rushed further away in an instant. Advertisement. When passing through a large forest, cut off the entire forest directly. Thousands of years old stout trees are vulnerable to these terrifying waves. Like a leak, one side was easily broken. The same is true for the mountains not far away, which were directly hit by the shock wave to create several gaps. Ha 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 ha, cool. Ming laughed loudly, and the giant under his feet took 2 steps back. But there were no injuries. On the other hand, Hashirama's form is not so good. Even though he used all his strength. But still not Ming's opponent. Thousands of arms were instantly destroyed, leaving only 2 or 3 arms alone behind. The Buddha statue at Hashirama's feet is also full of cracks, as if it will shatter at any time. Seeing his miserable state, Hashirama had a wry smile on his face. Sure enough, I'm still old. This world will be dominated by young people from now on. At this moment, even though he has the body of Impure World reincarnation, his body is already torn apart. I can't see the majesty of the god of ninja at all. The circulating wood chips are constantly repairing his body, but Hashirama has lost the fighting spirit in his heart. I was afraid that the village would be destroyed, but now there is no need for this. Because of Uchiha Ming, it is impossible for the entire ninja world to harm Konoha village. Although the buildings in the village are gone at this moment, as long as the people are still there is no problem. Ming breathed a sigh of relief. After so long, there was finally someone who could force him to move his muscles. Although only 70% of the power was exerted, it was considered a good release. Okay, now it's time to get down to business. Now that the two strongest undead have been resolved. Advertisement. Now it's time to find out who's behind the scenes. Observation Haki unfolded immediately, and found out the location in an instant. Ming looked into a corner on one side, a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Let's talk, I've given you so much time, has the cemetery been chosen yet? After Do heard this, a look of panic appeared on his face immediately. This Uchiha Ming is simply like a monster. He even defeated both Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama alive. This is simply too strong. Do desperately directed the undead to attack Ming. But the current Hashirama and Madara are still lying on the ground repairing their bodies, and they have no ability to move at all. The other ordinary undead couldn't even catch a punch from the ice giant under Ming's feet. 3 times, 5 divisions and 2 divisions, after directly removing all the undead. The ice giant directly reached out to grab the pocket. Sage Art Inorganic Reincarnation. Do did not give up resistance, and tried hard to block Ming's attack with his ninjutsu. It's a pity that Ming in this state doesn't pay attention to Do's attack at all. Let these ninjutsu attack on the arms of the ice crystal giant. How can it be? Do exclaimed in disbelief, his attack couldn't even break through the ice crystal giant's defense. The ninjutsu attack on the arm didn't even leave a trace. When Do was sluggish, Bing Jing's arm directly grabbed Do into the palm. A sneer appeared on the corner of Ming's mouth, and said, since you don't choose, I will choose for you. 163. The power of 6 paths appears, and Ming's mission is completed. After being caught in the palm of Ming, Do immediately panicked. Let me go, you can't kill me. I am the future hope of the ninja world, don't you want to live forever? I can tell you the way of eternal life, as long as you let me go. Before Ming started to question, Do said everything in his stomach like beans poured from a bamboo tube. It's a pity that these things don't have the slightest allure for Ming. HMPH, you'd better die here. Ming snorted coldly, but all the things he carried were learned from Orochimaru. Now Orochimaru is working under his. And why do you need to carry this bum thing? No, I can tell you the secret of Impure World reincarnation too. Whatever you want to know, as long as I have it, I can give it to you. The magic of Raichi Cave, all the secrets are available. After listening to Ming's words, he became even more panicked. He doesn't want to die, everything has just begun for him. I have just gained strength, and it is obviously time to start soaring into the sky. How could he just die in Ming's hands? Ming frowned slightly, the thing was a bit noisy in his hand. With a thought, the ice crystal giant under his feet exerted a slight force in his hands. The pocket caught in the ice giant's palm immediately exploded from the middle. It became a bloody mess. Ming suddenly felt nauseated, he really should burn this bug to ashes with a fire style. It's really disgusting to explode it in your hand like this now. With the death of the caster, all the souls who were reincarnation by Impure World began to return. Bursts of white light lit up, and souls returned one after another. Advertisement. Ming let out a long breath immediately, a task was completed. But at this moment Ming suddenly remembered Madara. According to the records in the original book, this brat will leave Impure World reincarnation by himself. Although even breaking away from Ming can make him die again. But less hassle is always better. Just when Ming was about to find Madara, a sudden change occurred. There was a loud noise from the direction where Konoha village was originally located. Boom. Ming frowned, knowing what happened immediately. The battle on my side seems to be a bit too fascinated. Forget about Obito there. When this antisocial propped himself up to fight, he actually sneaked into the core of the barrier. That place has drawn tailed beast chakra. As usual, there was no problem, Obito couldn't have destroyed the protection device he left behind. But after such a battle, the device seemed to be directly destroyed by the aftermath of the battle. Ming glanced slightly, and found that Nine Tails, who had been unconscious on the spot, had also disappeared. You can find opportunities here. Ming frowned a little annoyed. Now he has lost interest in fighting. I have fought enough today, if I must continue to fight. Then Ming can only have a cold killing intent. Summoning Ghetto statue. A huge alien-like creature appeared. It looks very ugly, and its body is very fat, with a total of 10 arms. It looks very infiltrating. Violent chakra fluctuations immediately erupted from the Ghetto statue's position. Advertisement. Ask for flowers. Ming squinted his eyes slightly, he could sense this power, this is the chakra of the tailed beast. And the number is still very large. I didn't expect to be missed by you. Ming Yi's face was very cold. I wanted to kill Obito, the rebellious guy, but he ran away every time. So what if you get the power of the six paths now? This time you will definitely die here. The murderous intent on Ming Yi's face was already undisguised. Ding, congratulations to host for successfully completing the task, reward Edward Newgate, Grey Falpasta, fusion degree 100%. 0. Listening to the system prompt in my mind. The smile on Ming Yi's face became even colder. The Whitebeard template has long been fully integrated, but the degree of integration is only a single digit. Grey's template is not much worse. After some days of hard work, it is still about 20% worse. Now it's not too much to fill up at once. Obito, you should think about how you are going to die. Feeling more and more strength in his body, Ming murmured in a low voice. So what if you become a 10 tails Jinchuriki? If there is no reward from the system, Ming is only 5 levels sure to kill Obito on the spot. There are 5 floors left and Obito may run away. So now it's time to kill Obito on the spot with the 10th floor. With a cruel smile on the corner of his mouth, Ming walked directly in the direction of Obito, 164. Obito's incarnation 6 paths, Ming Yi's contempt open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Boom. A huge energy surge came from where Obito was. Ha 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 ha. Lin, I finally succeeded. Obito was laughing maniacally at this moment. After a lot of torture, he finally succeeded. Successfully collected all the tailed beast chakra, and became the Tianwei Renju calendar. Instantly has the combat power of 6 paths level. Come on, give me all your strength. Obito put his hands on Ten Tails' body, ready to absorb Ten Tails directly into his body. At this time, he has already discovered that Ming is coming. Uchiha Ming, just wait, I will make you feel my pain. Seeing 7:30, to Uchiha Ming, Obito thought of his own bull. My cow was actually fed to the dogs by this nasty guy. Even now, there is nothing between Obito's legs. The reason is also very simple, White Zetsu has no gender, so there is no way to help Obito recondense a cow. Ha ha ha, Obito, so what if you create a world with only Lin? You can't even be a man now, will Lin think highly of you? Ming mocked ruthlessly. There was no concealment of contempt in his eyes. Ya Lin likes Kakashi, you trash is just unrequited love. Lin's treatment of you is nothing more than pity for licking dogs. The harsh word stabbed at the most vulnerable place in Obito's heart. In fact, he has always known this, but he just didn't want to admit it. Lin's death actually had nothing to do with Konoha, but Obito still put the responsibility on Kakashi and Konoha. It's just to cover up the cowardice in my heart. Shut up, you be asterisk 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 D. I must kill you. Advertisement. Obito growled. Now that he is one step away from success, how could he accept Ming Yi's cynicism? Come out, my strength. In an instant, the entire Tianwei was absorbed into Dai Wang's body. With such powerful chakra attention entering the body, Obito's face contorted all of a sudden. But pain comes and goes quickly. Obito got used to it quickly. Immediately behind him, several pitch-black truth-seeking balls appeared. A pitch-black scepter-like weapon appeared in his hand. The image of the whole person is also completely changed, black pants, white cape. This look is exactly like the embodiment of 6 paths. Now, do you regret it? Uchiha Ming. At this time, Obito seemed to calm down suddenly. Floating above the sky, condescendingly looking down on Ming. The appearance of a winning ticket. A sneer flashed at the corner of Ming Yi's mouth, and said, I hate when someone stands on top of me and talks. A cold light flashed in the ice giant's hand, and immediately slapped Obito fiercely in the sky. Boom. Obito's whole body was instantly slapped to the ground like a fly. You know, the so-called 6 paths state is not invincible. Physical and fairy arts are your nemesis. And I happen to know both. Ming said lightly. The so-called body technique should be a physical attack in terms of time, and the immortal technique is a higher-level magical attack. 6 paths status immune ninjutsu is just a general ninjutsu. Now the ice giant summoned by Ming does not use ninjutsu. It's actually a huge ice block, the kind of physical crit with punches. Obito's 6 paths mode is just like a decoration in front of Ming. Advertisement. Obito, who was photographed on the ground, seemed to have not reacted yet. The power that I have worked so hard to obtain is so vulnerable. Uchiha Ming hurt herself so easily. Obito cannot accept this result. Although Ming Yi's attack worked, Obito's resilience in this state is also amazing. Instantly healed the injury just now, just like a sage body. How can I repair it? I want to kill you. At this moment Obito completely lost his mind. No one can stay sane in this state. What I have pursued for so many years is so vulnerable. Looking closely, the surface of the truth-seeking ball actually has a layer of net-shaped wooden blocks formed by immortal art wood style. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Obito's face suddenly turned ugly. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You in this state, I'm afraid even Hashirama can easily defeat you. The flight trajectory of the truth-seeking ball is so weird that it is hard to detect at all. It's almost like holding a machine gun as a stick. There is no skill at all in fighting. Several truth-seeking balls appeared beside Ming strangely, rushing towards Ming Yi's head. A contemptuous smile appeared on the corner of Ming Yi's mouth. 5.3 doesn't care about Obito's attack at all. Ming yelled loudly, and several truth-seeking balls were instantly frozen in ice. Obito hit all the truth-seeking balls behind him towards Ming. But in the hands of Obito, a rebellious guy, it's almost like a waste. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. It seems that I still think too highly of you, trash. Frozen. There was a smile on the corner of Ming's mouth, even if it was at the six paths level. It is this fairy art that directly controls the truth-seeking ball. 165. The Wimpy Obito, the guts of Madara open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Obito's expression changed dramatically, he finds himself out of touch with the truth-seeking ball. How is it possible? Why do you know how to perform fairy arts? Obito said in disbelief. How many whole cards did the man in front of him not reveal? Wasn't the previous fight with Hashirama not his limit? A bad premonition began to form in Obito's heart. Hee, there are still many things I know. This is not something you, a waste at the end of a crane, can understand. Ming was holding a few truth-seeking balls in his hand, with a very indifferent expression on his face. It seems that what is grasping is not the truth-seeking ball of six paths power, but a few small birds. Well, how do you want to die? There is no doubt that the killing intent is revealed. This time Ming did not intend to hold back the slightest, and directly blasted Uchiha Obito to the ground. In the entire Hokage world, Ming dislikes this thing the most. In the same encounter, Kakashi not only did not fall, but became more sunny. Obito did nothing more than watch Lin die 15 years ago. But Kakashi was the one who shot it himself. No matter how you count it, Kakashi's psychic impact is far greater than Obito's. As a result, Obito fell first. It is the most vivid embodiment of antisocial personality. In the end, even his own teacher, Namikaze Minato, had to do it. And he also blamed his teacher for not being timely enough to rescue him. Can't you think of yourself as Amaterasu god tier? Everyone will revolve around you. In war, life and death are things that often happen. If you can't stand life and death, then don't go to the battlefield. Advertisement. Obito's face turned ugly, and Ming's indifferent words almost made him look down on Ultimate. But he couldn't find the slightest way to defeat Ming. Now Obito is like an idiot with a treasure chest but no key. Even if he is given the power of six paths, he can't play two layers. Ming-kun, don't you think war is too abominable? How many wives did he tear apart? How many innocent lives did it take? Don't you want to solve the ninja war with me forever? Our grievances can be discussed later. Looking at Obito with a sincere face, Ming almost laughed outright. At this time, Obito actually wants to beat himself with his mouth. Do you think you are the protagonist? Even if there is a protagonist, I, a traverser with my own system, is definitely a proper protagonist, okay. Die. A sneer appeared on the corner of Ming's mouth. Not the slightest bit interested in listening to Obito's nonsense. This is the end of the supporting role. If you want to talk about it, who will listen to you talking about it? The ice crystal giant's palm was raised high, and there was still white energy churning continuously in the hand. This hit carries shock fruit's attack if it hits head on. I'm afraid Obito will die instantly. Looking at Ming who showed his killing intent, Obito's eyes flickered with panic. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Ming had no interest in talking to him at all. Gritting his teeth, although Obito will not make reasonable use of the power of six paths. But it's not a problem to smash this power out like a tailed beast bomb condensed by a tailed beast. Holding the ball with both hands, suddenly a terrifying force condensed in Obito's hands. Looking at the colorful chakra ball, Ming had a look of surprise in his eyes. This way of gathering strength is similar to that of tailed beasts. It's true that you're trash. It's actually reduced to learning ninjutsu with beasts at. Advertisement. Ming said mockingly. This way of using chakra is simply a huge waste. Otherwise, no one would have invented ninjutsu and chakra would have made full use of it. The ice crystal giant's fist smashed down heavily. With a terrifying strong wind, it directly interrupted the tailed beast bomb that Obito hadn't condensed yet. Boom. A terrible explosion appeared immediately. Even Ming had to take 2 steps back. The condensed tailed beast bomb was interrupted, just like a tank exploded. The smoke cleared. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. A figure suddenly walked over from the side. A smile appeared on the corner of Ming's mouth. Now he doesn't know whether he is dead or alive, he looks like 257 with more air intake and less air output. Ming suddenly felt a little ridiculed, and was beaten to death by his own strength. This Madara didn't take the opportunity to escape, but actually wanted to come and pick peaches. Just when Ming wanted to do something, I saw Obito lying like a dead dog in a deep pit. Really don't pay attention to him. Ming frowned slightly, and said, Madara, I think you have lived enough. Solving all the troubles at once was exactly what he wanted. This can be regarded as the most useless six paths level figure in the history of ninja world. All the potential saboteurs in the ninja world are solved. After all the people present are dead, kill Black White Zetsu by the way. Since you took the initiative to deliver it to your door, I just happened to solve you once and for all. If you run away, I will have to work harder to find you. 166. A brand new ability, Ming's new reward open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. The shocking change that happened on the field immediately stunned everyone. Hasn't the Impure world reincarnation been lifted? Why is Madara still in this world? B**************** D. Isn't the battle over yet? I hope Master Ming can continue to fight, otherwise we may have no hope at all. Come on, Master Ming. After seeing this scene, the Konoha people in the distance immediately changed their expressions. They took the initiative to cheer for Ming. Ming frowned slightly, looking down at Uchiha Madara below. You think you can defeat me? By this time, Madara should have understood the strength gap between the double and reverse. At this time, I still choose to come and intervene. Isn't this courting death? Wouldn't it be nice to cancel the Impure world reincarnation by himself, and then run for his life first? Madara held Obito's half-dead body with her left hand, her face full of arrogance. Uchiha Ming, I admit you are strong. But after so many battles, how much stamina do you have? How much chakra do you have left? It seemed that after mastering Ming's weakness, Madara felt that she could do it again. He didn't pay attention to Ming at all. For this, Ming could only have a weird look on his face. Not to mention chakra, even the strength is only about 7 levels. This Madara actually thought she was going to exhaust herself. I think, have you misunderstood something? I think you are a strong person, I allow you to kill yourself. Ming said indifferently. Unlike Obito, Madara is a hero no matter what. So Ming is also willing to give Madara some respect, letting him explain himself as the best and most decent way. Advertisement. But Madara doesn't think so. After hearing what Ming said, Madara had a look of excitement on her face. Ha ha ha, I guessed it right. If you still have the strength now, you should have killed me directly. Why are you talking nonsense with me? Suddenly, several question marks popped up in Ming's head. There is such a strange request in the world. Don't you want to give you face? At this moment, Ming treats Madara as if he were treating a psychopath. Now I have mastered the power of fairy art, and at the same time have the power of 6 paths. Even if it's you, I'm not afraid at all. Madara tore open her chest with her right hand, revealing Hashirama's face. Just when supporting Ming to kill Obito just now, Madara directly found an opportunity to absorb Hashirama's magic chakra. Grabbing a half-dead Obito left and right, frenziedly absorbing the power of 10 tails from Obito. At the same time, with a thrust of his right hand, Obito's 2 eyeballs were directly snapped off. Then he inserted it directly into his eye socket. Since you don't want to be decent, then I will help you to be decent. Ming said lightly. The golden light flashed in the eye sockets of the ice crystal giant under his feet, and an invisible tyranny spread out. Directly suppress Madara's aura to the end. Ha ha ha, it's too late, Uchiha Ming. Now I am the sage of 6 paths. A burst of black and white petals floated by, and Uchiha Madara directly transformed into 6 paths Madara. A terrifying aura instantly swept the audience. Unexpectedly, it faintly competed with Ming's aura. Even Ming had to re-examine the 6 paths Madara in front of him. Advertisement. The same power, the pressure on Obito is completely different from that on Uchiha Madara. At this moment, Madara has a bit of a fairy temperament. You don't think you are my opponent right now? Ming smiled lightly. Ding. Congratulations to host for successfully killing Uchiha Obito and getting the weapon. Royal sword intent 100%. Ming frowned. So far, what the system has given are all comprehensive abilities. This is the first time that pure attack ability has appeared. Ming thought inwardly. But it's just the right time to come, I'm short of a handy weapon. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. A golden sword appeared in Ming's hand. A cruel look appeared on Ming's face. Madara comforted herself so inwardly. His gaze turned again to Uchiha Madara standing above the void. Monster, you can only blame yourself for your bad luck. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. The killing intent contained in it makes people shudder. At this moment, Madara felt that the Uchiha Ming in front of her seemed to be much stronger again. The original Uchiha Ming was already strong enough. A deep voice resounded throughout the sky. But don't worry, I will give you a happy death and give you a decent death. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. It should be just an illusion. Even 6 paths Madara frowned. With the weapon in hand, Ming's combat effectiveness should at least double. But when something appeared, Madara's heart beat wildly. How could it suddenly become stronger for no reason? 167. Madara's fear, Ming's terrifying power. The golden sword shone dazzlingly. But what is more surprising than the light is the sharpness coming from the sword. Even with such support from Lee, Madara still has a raw skin feeling. It was as if there were sharp little swords cutting his own skin. Looking at this strange little sword that suddenly appeared. A very bad feeling welled up in Madara's heart. Could it be that this Uchiha Ming still hides such a whole card? Doesn't this mean that Ming in front of him still has spare energy? That's not good news for Madara. The joy of gaining the power of 6 paths just now was also washed away by Ming's threat. At this moment, Ming was examining the golden long sword in his hand. On the blade of the long sword is written the word, royalty. The name of this sword is Ming. Of course, he has heard of it, and the strongest one is known as the Sword of Heaven and Earth. It is a terrifying power that can split the world. Come on, let 430 see your Li Huang. A look of anticipation appeared on Ming's face.
Facing the distant mountain peak, he lightly waved his sword. A dazzling golden light suddenly burst out from the sword, making it difficult to look directly at it. Quote. The sword energy was invisible, and Fu didn't appear to have any killing intent. But the mountain peaks in the distance were broken in response to the sound. The fracture is as smooth as a mirror, which shows how powerful this sword is. Not far away, Madara immediately had the urge to run after seeing this scene. Is that human being? He hadn't even noticed how the sword attacked just now. That power seemed to be transmitted from the sword to the mountain peak out of thin air. Advertisement. There is no trace of it to look up. Moreover, the power of this sword seems to be a bit too much. It was so easy to destroy a mountain. Judging by Mingyi's expression, it's clear that she didn't put in any effort. Even he can't destroy a mountain so lightly. Madara's scalp went numb all of a sudden. Because he found that Mingyi suddenly turned his gaze to him. The killing intent contained in that gaze made him shudder. Sage Art Yin Escape Lightning School. Acting first, Madara directly spit out purple lightning like a branch. The speed of the purple lightning was very fast, and it spread to Mingyi's eyes in an instant. Mingyi sneered and said, "What's the use of this powerful ninjutsu?" With a light wave of the King Quan sword in his hand, an invisible sword energy shot out straight away. Instantly cut off all the purple lightning. Even the sky and the earth can be cut with a single sword, let alone a mere thunderbolt like you. Faced with such a situation, Madara was not surprised but delighted, saying, "It's a success." Behind Mingyi, an invisible Madara had quietly raised the scepter in her hand. Prepare to hit Mingyi hard on the head. However, Mingyi stabbed the King Quan sword fiercely behind him without looking back. PFF'd. Suddenly, there was a feeling of a sharp weapon piercing the flesh. This trick of yours won't do anything for BFCC, me. Mingyi said lightly. Not only Mingyi himself knew about Madara's ability. Even with the perception of observation haki, it is absolutely impossible to let such a thing get close. Madara's face was startled, and she said, "Impossible, how could you find out about my round tomb?" Advertisement. In the ninja world, without the power of 6 paths, it would be impossible to find the shadow of the round tomb prison. But now Mingyi seems to be able to clearly see the round tomb prison. This surprised Madara very much. You talk too much, let's think about what last words you have. Mingyi looked at Madara with contempt. Kakashi and Jiraiya not far away are at a loss. Seeing Mingyi's strange movements and the inexplicable panic on Madara's face, both of them had question marks on their faces. How did this Madara get up before the battle started? Could it be that Mingyi's strength is already so strong? I want you to die, you must die. With a thought, the crystal giant under his feet immediately stabbed towards Madara. Mingyi seemed to see Madara's thoughts. The King Quan sword in his hand was shining with golden light, and the terrifying sword energy pierced through the heaven and earth. A look of fear appeared in Madara's pupils. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. You can't escape. The royal sword in Mingyi's hand also began to emit a dazzling golden light. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Can't see the slightest depth. At this moment, golden light seemed to be the only color between heaven and earth. At this moment, Madara has begun to think about quitting. So far, this Uchiha Mingyi seems like a bottomless black hole. Everything else was covered by the golden light. Even now that he has the power of 6 paths in his hands, he doesn't have the slightest chance of defeating Mingyi. The strength of the body is incomparably amazing. Mingyi is ready to solve this boring battle with a single sword. 168. The dismembered Uchiha Madara. Mingyi's refusal. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. The dazzling golden light instantly filled Madara's entire vision, making it difficult for him to open his eyes. But Madara is still a battle-tested powerhouse after all. Subconsciously pushing the truth-seeking balls in front of him, several truth-seeking balls directly turned into black round shields. Keep Madara in the back. After doing all this, Madara still didn't stop. The whole person with the truth-seeking ball shield slammed back. Although I don't know what happened for the time being, it's better to keep a safe distance first. Seeing Madara's actions, Mingyi had a hint of mockery on his face. Since it was said that the battle should be completely ended with a single sword, Madara would not let Madara just dodge so simply. The sword energy emitted by King Quan's sword intent seems to have crossed the distance of space. The distance of hundreds of meters is reached in an instant. In an instant, it hit Madara's truth-seeking ball shield head-on. It worked. Madara felt the attack from the truth-seeking ball. A look of joy appeared on his face. The truth-seeking ball claims to contain omnipotent power, and it can resist all ninjutsu except shanjutsu. Although I don't know what kind of weapon Mingyi's golden sword is. But Madara didn't feel the breath of fairy art from it. That is to say, Madara thinks that it is impossible for Mingyi's sword energy to break through the defense of the truth-seeking ball. But the happy look on his face didn't last long. How is it possible? Actually broke through the defense of the truth-seeking ball. Madara said in disbelief. At this moment, his face was full of horror. A force that is not a mortal art actually broke through the protection of the truth-seeking ball. And it's not a tricky way to use space ninjutsu. Instead, it directly penetrated the defense of the truth-seeking ball. From Madara's point of view, this is simply impossible. Advertisement. However, the penetrating feeling coming from the truth-seeking ball right now clearly told him. Truth-seeking ball was penetrated. Just a truth-seeking ball. Ming said calmly. Although in the original system of Ninja World, Truth-Seeking Ball is almost invincible. But King Quan's sword intent is not a native force in the ninja world, so naturally it will not meet this restriction. It is also quite normal to be able to defeat the defense of Truth-Seeking Ball head-on. The golden sword energy broke through Madara's Truth-Seeking Ball defense with lightning speed. First one. The second. The eighth. When she was about to break through the final ninth Truth-Seeking Ball, Madara finally woke up. No matter how Ming did it now, the most important thing now is to avoid this attack first. Once he was hit head-on by this terrifying force, he might not be able to survive even with the body of a fairy. The scepter in his hand fiercely supported his own Truth-Seeking Ball defensive shield, and used this force to dodge downward. Kyla. The golden sword energy also broke through all the Truth-Seeking Balls at this moment. It was before Madara's eyes in an instant. Snapped. The sword energy flashed across, and directly cut the headband on Madara's head into two ends. Madara's heart was beating wildly. Just now, he was so close to death. If the movement was slower, I am afraid that he would really be dismembered on the spot. Ha 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 ha. Look at Madara's face, it's so funny. Not bad. According to age, Madara should indeed have this hairstyle now, it really suits him. Master Ming strength is really too strong. If it had been earlier, I'm afraid Madara would have died. What a pity, I thought I could go back. Although the distance is very far, Madara in the six-path state did not catch the laughter of everyone in Konoha all at once. Advertisement. Ask for flowers. Touching the top of her head, Madara's face immediately darkened. The attack just now directly cut off a lot of Madara's hair. The middle position reveals a bald scalp. It's almost like an old man's Mediterranean. That's right, this hairstyle is still suitable for you. A smile appeared on the corner of Ming mouth. Having just mastered the power of King Quan's sword intent, it is still a bit uncomfortable to use it against the enemy for the first time. So the accuracy is a little bit worse. Ming raised his right hand lightly, and immediately prepared to swing the second sword. Get ready for a quick end to the fight. As soon as Madara saw Ming actions, she was scared out of her wits. He couldn't resist the first strike. If there was another strike, I'm afraid he would die on the spot today. His purpose is to use infinite Tsukuyomi to make the whole world fall into illusion. It's not about fighting hard with Ming here. Even for the sake of the peace of the entire ninja world, he will definitely not die here like this. Wait, don't you want peace in the ninja world? We can work together. Madara immediately expressed her thoughts loudly, wanting to make Ming stop quickly. However, only Ming's kingly sword intent greeted him. No need, you can die, Ming said indifferently. The golden royal sword was invincible, splitting Madara's body in two in an instant. Madara's upper body suddenly soared into the sky. The lower body fell heavily to the ground. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch, click automatic subscription and download it. 169. Infinite Tsukuyomi started. The second member of the Uchiha family open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Ming looked indifferent, not paying attention to Madara's words at all. If you want to blame, you can only blame yourself for reading too few books. Absolute peace cannot exist, Ming said in a regretful voice. Peace in the ninja world is also Ming's goal, but Ming will implement it in his own way. Instead of relying on some fabricated, infinite Tsukuyomi. What's more, this thing is a fake from the beginning to the end, it's just a scam. Boom. Madara's upper body fell limply to the ground. Staring at Ming with disbelief in his eyes. Even if it is divided into two, Madara is still alive with 663, the vitality is just like Xiaoqiang. Ming frowned slightly, it seems that just one sword can't completely end this Xiaoqiang. Forget it, just trouble me for a while. Ming slowly raised his royal sword again. Seeing the dazzling golden light reappear, Madara's heart suddenly sank. Even if it is death, I want my ninja way. Hashirama, watch carefully, I will make this ninja world completely peaceful. Madara seemed to have made up her mind. With both hands firmly supporting the ground, the upper body directly soared into the air. The whole person flew directly into the midair. He ripped off the armor on his forehead, revealing a blood-red Rinnegan. Ming watched Madara's actions, and naturally knew that he wanted to cast infinite Tsukuyomi. HMPH, why don't you think I don't exist? If he was allowed to cast infinite Tsukuyomi successfully, he might release that woman. Advertisement. Although Ming is not afraid at all, she doesn't want any more trouble. In an instant, the King Quan sword intent in his hand was full of golden light, and he directly swung a golden sword intent again. The sword intent broke through the shackles of space and flew directly towards Uchiha Madara in midair. As long as Madara is hit by Ming's sword intent, it is absolutely impossible to cast infinite Tsukuyomi. Hashirama, take a good look. Facing the coming golden sword energy, Madara's eyes not only showed no fear at all. On the contrary, it revealed a frenzy. That kind of gaze, as if the most devout believer saw God. Just when the golden sword energy was about to hit Madara, a very unexpected thing flew over. It directly blocked the sword energy of Madara and Ming. Boom. In an instant, bursts of zero erupted directly in the air. Ming was a little surprised, she didn't expect Madara to be so decisive, and directly used her lower body to block the sword. Now Ming's expression became a little weird again. After Uchiha Obito, the Uchiha family has another man without a cow, Uchiha Madara. However, it was precisely because of such obstruction that Madara successfully exposed the bloody Rinnegan on her forehead before she came out. The Rinnegan exudes a strange light, as if there is a kind of magical power that makes people intoxicated. The power is projected towards the moon in the sky. The original silver-gray moon seemed to have turned blood red. Ha 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 ha, I finally succeeded. Hashirama, did you see that? Although the lower body was directly turned into a ball of blood missed by Ming, Madara didn't care at the moment. Because his long-standing dream has been perfectly realized. Infinite Tsukuyomi. Success. Advertisement. The appearance of Rinnegan appeared on the bloody moon, and a strange bloody light radiated towards the earth. There seems to be some kind of very special power contained in that strange light. Everyone who came into contact with this ray of light seemed to lose their will, and they fell powerlessly to the ground. Close your eyes, everyone, this is an illusion, you must not look directly at the moon. Jiraiya yelled frantically. Although Infinite Tsukuyomi has only appeared once in history, Jiraiya has heard the name from ancient books. It is said that once this technique is used, it will make the whole ninja world fall into a fantasy. Never get out of it. However, Jiraiya still underestimated the horror of this ninjutsu. Infinite Tsukuyomi is a ninjutsu that can be triggered without relying on sight. As long as it is irradiated by the light of Infinite Tsukuyomi, it will directly fall into it, and there is no possibility of breaking free by itself. Damn it, didn't I not look at the moon? Kakashi fell to the ground weakly, his eyes full of doubts. Although he tried his best to get rid of this feeling, but at this moment he had lost the power to resist. In the end, he could only cast his eyes on Ming who was in midair. The current Ming is his last straw 4.2. If Ming also completely fell into the illusion, I'm afraid everything will be over. Not only is Konoha finished, but the entire ninja world is probably finished together. But will Ming be dragged into the illusion by Infinite Tsukuyomi? I saw Ming still standing in place, the expression on his face remained the same as before, without any change. It seems to be stuck in a sluggish state. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. 170. The Black Hand of Black Zetsu, The Death of Madara open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Will Ming be dragged into the illusion by Infinite Tsukuyomi? The answer is obviously no. The essence of illusion is nothing more than a mental attack. The reason why Infinite Tsukuyomi claims to be able to drag the entire ninja world into the illusion. The fundamental reason is that after the reflection of the moon, the range of the operation is large enough. Moreover, because the people who can cast Infinite Tsukuyomi are at least at the level of 6 paths. Under normal circumstances, there is no one in the ninja world who can resist the strength of 6 paths. It is under such a situation that it is said that Infinite Tsukuyomi is irresistible. What's more, explain it with the truth that a child knows. If the range is large, then the attack power of a single target will definitely be much lower. As this Infinite Tsukuyomi, it feels normal. Ming slightly felt the strange power in his mind, and said very calmly. At the moment when the bloody light appeared on the moon, Ming felt a strange force invade his mind. But this power is not too strong, at least for Ming. So in an instant Ming swallowed up this power. How can it be? How is it possible that you weren't influenced by Infinite Tsukuyomi? After casting Infinite Tsukuyomi, plus the lower body was destroyed by Ming before. The current Madara still doesn't have much power. Even simple suspension in the air is difficult to do. The lonely upper body fell weakly towards the ground. However, Madara's last gaze was still fixed on Ming, her eyes full of suspicion. Boom. Madara's body fell heavily on the ground, spitting out a mouthful of blood mixed with internal organs. Advertisement. Even if it is a body of Sage of 6 Paths level. After receiving such a serious injury, it is already a miracle that he can survive until now. After all, Ming attack is not a simple attack, the power of King Quan's sword intent is still constantly eroding Madara's body. No longer magnifying Madara's injuries all the time. In an unnoticed corner, Black Zetsu melted into the ground as a shadow. Quietly lurking to Madara's side. You came just in time, let's evacuate first. Uchiha Ming is too strong, we will find a way later. Madara whispered to Black Zetsu. There was no hint of wariness in his eyes. In his view, people in the whole world, except Ming, are living in the illusion of Infinite Tsukuyomi. Just look at Uchiha Ming in front of you. Other directions do not require any attention. After all, the only Black Zetsu that exists at the moment is part of himself, consciousness, so what's there to guard against? PFF'd. The sound of the body being penetrated sounded, and Madara's eyes were about to burst, and her eyes were full of disbelief. At this moment, at the position of his heart, there was a pitch black hunt on his chest. The black hand seemed to have a special power, not only piercing the chest. There are also a lot of weird black spots spreading around the wound, which makes people feel very creepy. No need to go, your mission has been completed. Black Zetsu whispered in Madara's ear. The voice is very hoarse, like a zombie that has been buried in the ground for many years, it makes people feel chills for no reason. Why? You are my consciousness. Why are you attacking me? Advertisement. Madara took a deep breath and asked unwillingly. At this moment, his body is really exhausted. Ming Yi's royal sword is intended to keep you eroding his body, and now there is another black Zetsu devouring his body. Under the destruction of the two forces, Madara only felt that her life was constantly passing by. I am not your consciousness, I am her consciousness. You're just a pawn. A joking voice came from Black Zetsu's mouth, and the cruel truth made Madara's pupils dilate suddenly. Infinite Tsukuyomi is nothing more than a scam, this is actually a necessary preparation for resurrecting her. Do you think there is any difference between yourself and Obito? Ha 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 ha. Black Zetsu laughed wildly. After planning for Millennium 630, he finally achieved his goal. The black weird energy continuously spread over Madara's body, covering most of Madara's entire body in the blink of an eye. Hashirama, am I really wrong? Madara murmured feebly. At this time, he no longer has any ability to resist. At the last moment of my life, I seem to remember what I had argued with Hashirama again. Could it be that the ninja Dao I insisted on is really wrong? The so-called peace in the ninja world is really a joke. For some reason, Madara suddenly turned her gaze to Ming who was in midair. I saw Ming still had that indifferent expression, even with a look of anticipation. Perhaps, you are the future hope of the ninja world. Madara murmured in a low voice, and finally closed her eyes weakly. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Advertisement 171. Otsutsuki Kaguya appeared. Ming Yi's attitude open black lens bracket please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Ming Ye in midair watched the scene below with great interest. Is there anything happier than seeing the enemy fight among themselves? Although Ming Ye has long been aware of the existence of Black Zetsu, but still let Black Zetsu kill Madara. The reason is also very simple, when he was about to shoot against Black Zetsu. I suddenly remembered the woman Otsutsuki Kaguya. Although the style of animation in the original book is rather strange, you can still see the beauty of Kaguya from the description of the animation. So Ming Ye suddenly felt a lot of curiosity. He was curious what the real Otsutsuki Kaguya looked like. Is it really so beautiful? So Ming Ye let Black Zetsu take the shot. Even if Kaguya is revived, Ming Ye is absolutely sure that he can defeat Kaguya head-on. For nothing else, all confidence comes from Ming Yi's terrifying strength. Moreover, according to Ming Yi's observation, Otsutsuki Kaguya is actually similar to Uchiha Obito. You simply won't use your strength correctly. There is strength in the air but it can't be used. Kaguya was not, after all, a combatant of the Otsutsuki clan per se. Are you almost ready? How long will it take for Kaguya to come out? Ming Ye said very curiously. There was no sign of fear at all. Facing Ming Yi's culture, Black Zetsu is very cautious. Your Excellency is really courageous, she will appear soon. Black Zetsu also witnessed the previous battle, and he still maintained the greatest vigilance against this alien in the ninja world. Although I am also curious why Ming Ye didn't shoot him at this time. Advertisement. But Black Zetsu is not prepared to make unnecessary moves, and Ming Ye is willing to give him a chance, which is the best thing. Ming Ye nodded calmly, standing quietly on top of the ice crystal giant's head, his eyes were dry and peaceful. Gao Gao Yinyu exudes a soft and holy light, which falls on Ming Yi's body, which has a fairy tale charm. After a while, Madara was completely swallowed by the black weird energy. The black energy began to churn strangely, as if something was about to be born from it. A terrifying momentum began to slowly appear in the black energy. The strength of this aura made Ming Ye unable to bear to look at him differently. Not bad. Backquote. Ming Ye nodded. This aura is already on par with him now. Even better than the previous 6 paths Madara. The black energy surged immediately, a blood-red Sharingan emerged from the black energy. Then, the black star began to fade rapidly. It revealed the snow-white skin and exaggerated long silver hair. Ming Ye narrowed his eyes slightly, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. This Otsutsuki Kaguya is far more beautiful than she imagined, and it is not too much to rush up and down. And maybe because Kaguya is not from the ninja world, he still has all these very strange charms. Quite exotic flavor. Kaguya slowly opened his eyes, and a violent killing intent suddenly appeared in the sky. Before she was sealed, she was betrayed by her 2 sons. The heart is naturally full of killing intent. Finally woke up. Ming Ye said lightly, there was no change because of Kaguya's killing intent. After paying a little attention to the surrounding environment, Kaguya also restrained his killing intent. Advertisement. Looking at Ming Ye in the sky indifferently, he didn't speak. Iceberg beauty. Such a word popped out of Ming Ye's heart suddenly. The current Kaguya fits the term perfectly. Skin white as snow, tall, with red lips and white teeth, picturesque eyebrows and eyes, and long snow-white hair fluttering behind her. It's like an elf walking out of an iceberg. Quote. I give you 2 choices now. First, I will take action personally, completely seal you back, and then erase all the backhands you left behind, including Black Zetsu. Second, surrender to me, Ming Ye said indifferently. The momentum at this moment erupted unreservedly, and the terrifying power was completely different from before, as bright as the might of heaven. 10% of the power exploded completely, like a thunder blasting in the sky. The situation in the sky changed suddenly, and the originally clear night sky seemed to be covered with a layer of gray mist. Afterwards, the gray mist grew bigger and bigger, turning into thick dark clouds in an instant. As Wu Yun, Zhao Haohao rubbed against each other, silver thunder snakes continuously meandered and flashed. A shocking sense of oppression came from the sky. A little golden light slowly emerged from Ming Yi's body, and the hesitation that set it off was like a god of war. Facing the terrifying momentum, Kagaya's original cold expression finally changed a little. There was a wave of fluctuation in the eyes watching Ming Ye. You are strong. A cold voice came from Kagaya's mouth, and the red lips parted slightly. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. 172. Kagaya is timid. Ming Ye takes the initiative. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. Kagaya's silver hair is automatic without wind. The whole person immediately flew up out of thin air and stood at the same height as Ming Ye. The terrifying aura was shaking, and the air between the two seemed to be filled with the smell of gunpowder. When they looked at each other, there were even faint sparks appearing in midair. It's a performance where the pressure reaches the ultimate. It's okay, I will let you understand the difference in experience between you and me. Ming Ye didn't care about Kagaya's hostility at all. All of this was within his expectation, if Otsutsuki Kagaya agreed to submit to him so easily. I'm afraid Ming Ye still has to wonder if there is something wrong with it. As Ming Ye's words fell, the golden light that was originally lingering around her body immediately flourished. The King Quan sword intent in his hand is also powerful. A breathtaking power emerges from the sword. The dazzling golden light illuminates the night sky like 747 daytime. Roar. The ice crystal giant under its feet also roared, and the brutal killing intent in its eyes could not be concealed at all. Faced with this terrifying momentum, Yi's expression also changed slightly. She is not in her prime now, and even the chakra in her body has not recovered much. It's broken. There is no chakra supplemented by the sacred tree. I am afraid that the chakra in the mother's body is not enough to last for too long. The underground black Zetsu looked a bit ugly. The speed at which Ming Ye killed Uchiha Madara was so fast that it was too late to summon the sacred tree to absorb chakra. However, currently summoning the god tree to absorb chakra is simply not possible. It is impossible for Ming Ye to watch Kagaya absorb chakra and become stronger. Just as Black Zetsu's inner thoughts were moving underground, Ming Ye in midair seemed to sense something. Advertisement. His eyes swept across BFBE, and he swung a golden sword aura condescendingly. The sword energy is like a long rainbow penetrating the sun, arriving in an instant. The terrifying power split the entire land into two pieces in an instant. A bottomless black abyss appeared in the middle, and Black Zetsu, before he even had time to scream, was turned into flying ash by Ming Ye's sword. It's just a fly, let him be quiet, Ming Ye said calmly. It was as simple as killing a fly instead of Kagaya's son. Kagaya's complexion didn't change at all, and he didn't even have the slightest thought of trying to stop him. Although Black Zetsu is his son in name, it is actually just a sliver of ideas that he differentiated. It's really nothing. She can spawn countless Black Zetsu if necessary. I don't want to fight with you, I can feel that you also have an aura that doesn't belong to this world. While Kagaya's white pupils were slowly turning, he actually took the initiative to give in to Ming Ye. The momentum on his body also showed signs of calming down slowly. There was a look of surprise on Ming Ye's face. The aura that Kagaya said did not belong to this world was naturally his soul. After all, he is just a time traveler. In the eyes of a powerhouse at Kagaya's level, it is natural to see something strange. However, there was a mocking arc on the corner of Ming Ye's mouth, and he still wanted to escape from the battle at this time. Sure enough, a woman is not a qualified fighter. Even at the level of Otsutsuki Kagaya, I still have some unrealistic fantasies in my heart. So, you choose to surrender to me, Ming Ye said jokingly. Advertisement. Although the words in his mouth did not have the slightest killing intent, they were somewhat teasing. But the golden light from the King Power sword in Ming Ye's hand became more and more dazzling. The killing intent contained in Wang Quan's sword became stronger and stronger. Unless Otsutsuki Kagaya is willing to surrender, Ming Ye will never let such a scourge in the ninja world. After all, Ming Ye still has a big move to do. How could he tolerate Kagaya watching from the sidelines? On the side of the couch, others can sleep soundly. For Ming Ye's provocative words, Kagaya also showed a hint of anger on his face. Even if she is powerful, she is only a woman in essence. How could it be possible to casually say the word, surrender? But also to a man whom he met for the first time. Even though this man's strength is quite strong, he even faintly surpasses him by a line. However, this is by no means the reason for her surrender. Since you must fight, I will never hold back. Kagaya's voice is very cold, which makes people feel very refreshing. The aura that had calmed down slightly rose again. An oppressive atmosphere suddenly filled the entire sky. Let me see how strong you really are. A trace of fighting intent flashed in Ming Ye's eyes, and the kingly sword in his hand flickered incomparably. With a light swing of the sword, the terrifying sword intent directly cut the space. With a dark space crack, it went straight to Kagaya. 173. Attack on the spiritual level. Careless Kagaya open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. The terrifying aura rose directly into the sky, as if tearing the entire sky apart. Countless golden light spots slowly lingered around Ming Ye. Every golden spot of light seems to contain enormous power. The brightness of the light spot is uncertain, and more terrifying power will appear between each flicker. Hey, this kind of power is really something that humans can possess. Kakashi stared blankly at Mingyi's terrifying power, looking terrified. The pupils of the eyes dilated slightly. In his perception, the energy in each golden spot of light is terrifying and somewhat frightening. If the power contained in any random spot of light explodes, I'm afraid he won't even be able to leave his whole body, he won't be able to come down. And such spots of light are densely piled up all over Mingyi's body. Just like the stars in the sky. Faced with such a terrifying power, Kaguya narrowed his eyes slightly. The brow is also slowly wrinkled. A dignified look appeared on the delicate face. She found that she still underestimated the man in front of her. However, Insutsuki Kaguya is not afraid of this. Uchiha Ming, you will regret your actions. Perhaps it was the first time she spoke in so many years, and now she stutters a little. But this did not hinder the killing intent in her tone. After feeling the killing intent, Ming showed a look of surprise on his face. Originally, I thought this woman was just a vase, the kind that could not be brought into full play when she was empty. Now it seems that he has underestimated this woman a little bit. Ha ha ha, okay, then let me see your skills. Ming looked up to the sky and laughed loudly, the King Quan sword in his hand was shining brightly. The golden light spots around him immediately began to gather towards the King Quan sword in his hand. After each golden spot of light was integrated into the King Quan sword, the terrifying sword intent became even more powerful. Advertisement. Even in the end, the sword of kingship was so dazzling that people couldn't look directly at it. Golden light spread throughout the sky. Set off the night sky like gold. If you take my sword, you are qualified to talk about other things. Ming flicked his wrist lightly, and the golden King Quan sword was like a curse from heaven. A terrifying and unparalleled power erupted, directly dividing the entire sky into two halves. Faced with such a terrifying attack, Kaguya's hands hidden in his sleeves trembled slightly. A hideous look suddenly appeared on his face, and the power in his body began to quickly gather in his hands. Truth-seeking ball. A small black dot suddenly appeared behind Kaguya. As soon as the pitch-black dot appeared, it immediately began to erupt with terrifying suction. Everything around was pulled into it by this terrifying suction. Finally disappeared without a trace. Moreover, along with this terrifying absorption, the size of the pitch-black dots is getting bigger and bigger. However, in just a few short breaths, Otsutsuki Kaguya's whole body was already wrapped up in the west. This alone is not enough. A trace of disdain flashed in Mingyi's eyes. He naturally knows the power of this truth-seeking ball, which claims to be able to absorb everything in the world. The power to turn everything into nothingness. Of course, this is just an exaggeration. There are actually many ways to crack the truth-seeking ball. For example, Kakashi used Kamui to break the defense of truth-seeking ball. The Golden King Quan sword still showed no hesitation. Ask for flowers. Slashed directly at the black truth-seeking ball below. Kaguya felt the terrifying killing intent around the truth-seeking ball, and the look on his face was a little uncertain. Advertisement. She is not in her prime now, and the strength in her body is not too much. Whether the truth-seeking ball can prevent Mingyi's attack, Kaguya himself is not sure. Certainly possible, Kaguya kept cheering himself up in his heart. At this time, she realized that she seemed a little pitiful. Betrayed by his teammates, betrayed by his own children. Up to now, she just stepped out of the seal, and met another terrifying enemy like Ming. 0. It was downright unlucky. Sheila. The imagined collision didn't happen. Instead, like a red-hot knife cutting butter, the King Quan sword passed through the truth-seeking ball cleanly. Ming narrowed his eyes slightly, without any surprise on his face. The man he is now is no longer the man he was before. This sword intent of kingship seems to be terrifying and invincible. In fact, the real foothold is not in physical attacks. It is an attack similar to the spiritual level. The truth-seeking ball is powerful, but it can only defend against some physical forces. For spiritual power, truth-seeking ball is not too strong. It's all over. Ming slowly withdrew the King Quan sword in his hand. A look of relief appeared on his face. Such a fighting intensity made him feel a little tired. 174. Kaguya's defeat. Mingyi's thoughts open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. With the gradual disappearance of the terrifying aura around Ming, the terrifying sense of oppression also gradually left everyone's hearts. Call. Kakashi let out a long breath immediately, his chest heaving violently. It was as if he wanted to spit out all the shock in his heart at once. What kind of horror scene did he witness today? Compared with today's scene, the ninja wars I experienced in the past are simply like a joke. Finished. Jiraiya stared blankly at the black truth-seeking ball in the sky. The expression on his face was indescribably weird. This so-called Otsutsuki Kaguya, the ancestor of the ninja, was solved by a simple 5-4-3. It simply made him a little unbelievable. Could it be that Uchiha Ming is already this strong? With a mortal body, surpassing the gods. Mingyi's eyes narrowed slightly, staring at the pitch-black truth-seeking ball in the sky. Although he has enough confidence in his own blow. However, there is nothing wrong with being cautious. I saw, under everyone's gaze, the pitch-black truth-seeking ball seemed to have lost its strength. Directly began to fall from midair. Moreover, in the process of falling, the pitch-black truth-seeking ball is also constantly disintegrating. Revealed Otsutsuki Kaguya hiding in it. I saw Kaguya at this moment, the expression on his face seemed to be in great pain. Under the fair skin on his forehead, blue veins appeared faintly. Both stared at Ming in midair in disbelief. His eyes were full of horror and pain. In her heart, it is really hard to believe that she has consumed so much power to form a defense. Advertisement. It was so vulnerable. One sword. With one strike, he was actually defeated like this. The moment the golden sword energy crossed his body, it seemed as if there were countless small sword energy drilling towards his brain. At that moment, Kaguya felt as if countless tiny needles were running around in his brain. With a splitting headache, he didn't even have the strength to keep himself afloat. She understood that this was a force that she seemed to have never seen before. A force that even the truth-seeking ball is hard to defend against. When the consciousness was about to blur at the end, Otsutsuki Kaguya tried hard to open his eyes wide. He stared at Uchiha Ming firmly, as if he wanted to keep this face firmly in his heart. Boom. The body fell to the ground weakly. Otsutsuki Kaguya passed out directly. The whole person completely lost movement. Seeing this scene, Ming exhaled slightly. There was a look of relaxation on his face, until now. There is also a sense of fatigue in the body that slowly appears. Looks like it's going to stop for a while. Judging from the current form of the entire ninja world, all possible enemies. Basically, it was completely solved by Ming. As for the Otsutsuki family that may come in the future, Ming is not worried about it at all. After all, I don't know how many years later. With a slight lift of footsteps, Ming appeared directly next to Otsutsuki Kaguya's body. At this moment, Otsutsuki Kaguya still frowned slightly, as if suffering some kind of pain. What should I do with you? Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. I kept thinking about how to deal with this woman in my heart. Naturally, the first thought that popped up was to kill the matter directly. Advertisement. However, after thinking about it a little later, it seems a bit too pity for Ping. Anyway, she is also an alien, at least she can get some useful information out of her innermost being. Master Ming, are you okay? At this time, Jiraiya Kakashi and others also rushed over. Asked a little worried, Ming shook his head slowly and said, don't worry. Bring him back, I will seal Kaguya myself. No matter what to do with Otsutsuki Kaguya, the first thing to do is to seal his power. In the entire ninja world, aside from Ming I'm afraid no one can stand up to Otsutsuki Kaguya in his prime. If it wasn't for taking a small advantage, Ming probably wouldn't be able to win so easily. Yes, Jiraiya replied neatly. Up to now, he has completely surrendered to Ming. Whether it is strength or other aspects, Uchiha Ming is simply the belief in his heart. For any words of Ming Jiraiya will unconditionally carry out. Also, it's time to clean up the battlefield. Catch all these evil-minded people. Ming eyes moved slightly, and his voice was extremely indifferent. Before 3.4, everyone thought that Konoha would definitely lose in such an offensive. Naturally, there are many people who want to pick up the bargain. But I didn't have time to pay attention to these small miscellaneous fish before, now I have time. Naturally, it is necessary to wipe them all out. It's time to clean up the entire ninja world. A sneer appeared on the corner of Ming mouth, and said, Ninja world, it's time for a change. 175. The beginning of a big change. Ming's decision open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. The next day, after a night of rest, today's Ming has once again returned to his previous state. The whole person's spirit slowly recovered. Moreover, after previous thinking, Ming has also clarified the following thinking. Now that there are no enemies in the entire ninja world that can threaten him, then it's time for some action. It seems that the time has come for the unification of the ninja world. Ming looked at the rising golden sun in the sky, and the expression on his face was unspeakable. After such a long wait, I was finally able to realize my original promise. Bang bang bang. The sudden knock on the door interrupted Ming's thinking. Ming frowned slightly and said, come in. The door was pushed open and Jiraiya walked in. Master Ming, the results of yesterday's interrogation have come out. With a dignified face, Jiraiya handed over a list to Ming. Ming carefully read the list in his hand. The more you look at it, the more indifferent the look on your face. It seems that these people are still wicked. A ball of fire appeared in Ming's hands out of thin air, and the list was directly reduced to ashes in the fire. Ming's face was incomparably indifferent, and there was a faint extinction in his voice. Among the crowd wandering around Konoha village yesterday, it actually included the other 4 big ninja villages. Obviously, these people are going to wait for Konoha to be destroyed, and step on it fiercely. Take advantage of the fire to rob. If Ming hadn't been present, I'm afraid Konoha's fate would have been very miserable. These old opponents in the ninja war in the past will not show mercy to Konoha. Advertisement. In this case, let's take them first. Ming's voice was ice cold, without any anger or prestige, and a breathtaking aura rose directly into the sky. At this moment, he is obviously ready to make a move. Master Ming, are you discussing? Jiraiya's face was also a little ugly. Although she is also very resentful towards these forces. However, attacking several other major forces at once would probably make everyone in the ninja world fear Konoha. At that time, I'm afraid Konoha's ninjas will be guarded and excluded wherever they go. That's not what Jiraiya wants to see. Ming glanced at Jiraiya lightly, and said, it's just a bunch of chickens and dogs, why care about it? Ming naturally knew what Jiraiya was worried about. But Ming doesn't care. What do people in the world think? Does it matter? What's more, what Ming will do next will definitely make the whole ninja world resist. Anyway, in the end, they will get a bad reputation, but it's just a matter of time. Notify all the Konoha executives, a meeting. Ming snorted coldly, and walked towards the Hokage office building first after speaking. Jiraiya in the back opened her mouth, as if she wanted to say something. But finally shut up. Jiraiya is also very clear in his heart, even though he is Konoha's Hokage at the moment. However, at this moment, Konoha's real controller is only one person. That is, Uchiha Ming. What Uchiha Ming has decided, I am afraid that no one in Konoha can change it. What's more, Jiraiya doesn't really want to stop Ming. He doesn't have the power to change the ninja world, but Ming has it. If this matter is handled by Ming himself, there will naturally be no obstacles. Yes, Lord Ming. Advertisement. Jiraiya said loudly. While speaking, the corners of his mouth turned up slightly unconsciously. Konoha Rise, Ninja World Peace. These two major events were actually realized in his hands. Although he didn't realize it himself, it can be used as a personal experience of this kind of time. That's honorable enough. Thinking of this, Jiraiya immediately followed. Ready to start calling other high-level Konoha personnel immediately. After half an hour, in Konoha Hokage's office, Ming stood by the window by himself, with his hands behind his back. He raised his eyes slightly, staring indifferently at the clear sky outside the window. People in the office kept rushing to 750. Taking a closer look, these people are all super executives of Konoha. There are the head of the Hyuga family, the Nara family, the Akamiki family, etc. It can be said that everyone in Konoha who can talk and be named is already in the office. Master Ming, everyone is here. Jiraiya stared at Ming with fiery eyes. The same goes for everyone else. When they came back, Jiraiya had roughly talked to them about the following things. At this moment, everyone knows that they have reached the crossroads of changing times. And they will become one of the driving forces for change. Such an exciting change will be promoted by the man in front of them personally. No one can keep calm in the face of such a big change. Except Uchiha Ming. 176. Violators die. Ming's murderous intent open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. After hearing Jiraiya's voice, Ming turned around slowly. Everyone, the era of great change has come. Ming said calmly, although the voice was not loud. But the firmness contained in the words can be heard by anyone. Although the words are plain, the undeniable momentum is not concealed at all. All the people present were moved by it. Slightly scanning the crowd present, Ming continued. The turbulent era that has plagued the ninja world for hundreds of years, it's time to end. Ninja world, it's time to unify. The large-scale war will come to a complete end in your hands. Jiraiya's breathing became slightly quickened. Staring at Ming with fiery eyes, he said excitedly, is peace in the ninja world finally coming to fruition? Master Ming please speak. I, Jiraiya, would give everything, even this life. He has seen too many wars, too many life and death, and he has long been tired of wars. However, Jiraiya has no ability to end all this. Ming nodded and did not continue to answer, but continued, but, everything has a price. With the advent of the new era, some people from the old era will eventually be weeded out. I leave the choice to you. Having said that, Ming's words have already become sharp. A coercion was unnaturally revealed. A great pressure suddenly appeared in the whole office. Even though the strength of the people present is good, they still feel a little difficult to breathe. Konoha, from today onwards there will no longer be any family distinctions. I'll give you two choices. First, agree to my conditions, voluntarily disband your family, and fully integrate into Konoha. Second, leave Konoha by yourself. Advertisement. Although there were no threatening words, there was obviously no leeway left in the words. Ming's eyes flashed fiercely from time to time. The audience suddenly fell silent. The excitement in everyone's eyes immediately disappeared, replaced by incomparable horror. What does this mean? Didn't Konoha want to unify the entire ninja world? Why did it suddenly come out like this now? In their view, family tradition is even more important than the village. Now Ming asked them to disband the family themselves, which horrified them too much. The scene suddenly fell into an eerie silence. No one took the initiative to speak. There was no slight change on Ming's face, this scene was exactly as he expected. He naturally knows how pedantic these people's ideas are. Impossible to let him Ming raise his arms, and the ghosts of the old age will become people of the new age. If he wants to enter the new era, he cannot rely on Ming alone. The thinking of these people must be completely changed conceptually. Otherwise, even if the ninja world is at peace, there will inevitably be another war in the future. Ahem. Master Ming, what do you mean by that? Hyuga Heihachi smiled awkwardly, and asked. Among these big families, the relationship between their Hyuga clan and Ming is pretty good. So he spoke first. It's just what you think it is. In the future, Konoha will no longer have the concept of family. Ming replied in a flat voice. As soon as these words came out, Hyuga Heihachi was also silent for a while. Among the concepts he has accepted since he was a child, guaranteeing the inheritance of the family is the first. Advertisement. Even more important than your own life. Some people are silent, some people are a little angry. Among them, there were a few people from small families who had a good relationship with the original Sarutobi clan, and their faces were obviously not very good looking. WB********************* D. The people of the Uchiha clan are indeed a disaster. Some people even insulted Ming directly. In their view, nothing is more important than family. Now Ming is going to fire the family, it is no different from killing them. Ming's eyes turned cold, and he waved his hands lightly at those people. Sheila. Immediately, blood spattered everywhere, and several good heads shot up into the sky. Blood splashed directly on the faces of the people around. The bodies of those who were splashed with blood trembled suddenly, and their pupils shrank slightly. Only now did they remember who it was standing in front of them. How can they be insulted? The right to choose is in your hands, I will not interfere. Promised. However, I still have to think clearly before speaking. Ming is uncharacteristically indifferent and tough. Without showing any sympathy, like a ruthless tyrant, he looked down on the human system of these big families. I'll give you 1 day. At that time, if there is still a family in Konoha village. Then, there is only one end. Death. A chilly murderous aura surged into the sky. Let everyone fall into an ice cellar. 177. Disbanding all families. Ming's actions open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. After speaking, Ming left the office. All of this was within his expectations. The only way to deal with these stubborn conservatives is to bulldoze everything with violence. The reason why Ming wanted to completely wipe out the family. The reason is very simple, the existence of the family is one of the root causes of the turmoil in the ninja war. These big families directly control 90% of the resources of the entire ninja world. It can be said that it is difficult for ordinary people at the bottom to have a suitable upward channel. It is also true that these people can unscrupulously launch wars. The family has become the largest interest group in the entire ninja world. Only by disintegrating this interest group can the subsequent reforms proceed. After Ming left, in Hokage's office, everyone stared wide-eyed, and no one spoke first. After a while, Jiraiya spoke again. I know it's hard for you to understand and accept. However, you must have heard Master Ming's words, so you should think about it. Immediately, someone took over the conversation and said, Master Hokage 053, isn't Uchiha Ming too much? After all, you are the Hokage of the village, how can you make him so arrogant? Jiraiya glanced at the speaker, and said lightly, I unconditionally support Master Ming's decision. Everyone, think about how to decide later. Master Ming says he wants to kill, I'm afraid he will never show mercy. After finishing speaking, he left the office directly. Although Jiraiya also can't understand Ming's actions, but this does not prevent him from supporting Ming. In his mind, Ming's actions must have deep meaning, but he still can't understand it. What's more, isn't it just disbanding the family? Konoha did not suffer any actual loss. Advertisement. So, Jiraiya quickly accepted this setting. Once Jiraiya is gone, the rest of these people are even more helpless. Everyone unconsciously focused their attention on Hyuga Heihachi. In addition to the Uchiha family, it can be said that the largest family in Konoha village is the Hyuga family. I take my leave first, resign. Hyuga Heihachi didn't say anything, but left the scene directly. He who has been with Konoha for many years naturally understands the current situation. Actually Ming didn't give them any choice. Disband the family or die. There is no other possibility. Moreover, what Jiraiya vaguely revealed before that Konoha wants to unify the ninja world is not a joke. This must be a small preparation by Ming. If the ninja world is unified, Ming will eliminate the family in the entire ninja world. Where can these people retreat? What strength do they have to fight against Ming? It's better to actively cooperate with Ming now, so that I can leave a good impression by then. Maybe even greater benefits can be obtained. The clever Hyuga Heihachi caught the key right away. Now that change has come, and it is powerless to resist. Then simply join the revolution. Among the many people under him, there are not a few people who have the same idea as Hyuga Heihachi. But there are also many people who are not reconciled to it. Let them disband the family, it is better to kill them directly. In their view, this Uchiha Ming is simply a heretic. However, after Hyuga Heihachi is missing, without a leader, they have no good solution for the time being. Advertisement. It can only be dispersed temporarily. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Ming sadly, and said, Hey, okay, what are you doing? Now that the family is disbanded, how do you want me to face my ancestors? There was no slight fluctuation on Ming's face. Even the Uchiha clan will also be disbanded. If you keep the Uchiha clan because you were a member of the Uchiha clan. Doesn't this become a disguised form of helping the Uchiha clan to do evil? Isn't it true that the entire ninja world is dominated by the Uchiha clan? This is the opposite of Ming's original intention. Brother, disbanding the family will not make any changes. Even if it's you, it won't work. Anyone who dares to stop me from transforming the ninja world will have only one end. Although he didn't finish his sentence, Fugaku also understood what Ming was thinking. Facing such a determined Ming, Fugaku opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. After sighing softly, Fugaku left. He already understood the final result. It's just that I still feel a little uncomfortable inside. There is nothing more uncomfortable than letting a patriarch disband his own family. Although Ming couldn't bear it, he still didn't stop him. If this difficulty cannot be overcome now, the ninja world will not talk about peace. The best way to let the world know your determination is to disband the Uchiha clan first. In this way, no one can question his determination. 178. Konoha's final plan, Ming see Kaguya. The next day, early in the morning, the Uchiha family announces that the Uchiha family will be disbanded and fully integrated into Konoha. The Hyuga clan announces that the Hyuga clan will be disbanded and fully integrated into Konoha. The Akamiki family announces that the Akamiki family will be completely disbanded and fully integrated into Konoha. Huge voices, one after another. Ming stands on the newly restored Hokage rock, watching it all with a flat-eyed gaze. This is the first step towards peace in the ninja world. Beside Ming, Konan listened blankly to these voices. As a member of Akatsuki, her original ambition was peace in the ninja world. After experiencing the defeat of Yahiko and Nagato, she originally thought that the ninja world had completely lost hope of peace. However, Konan seems to have spotted a new possibility. He gently walked behind Ming and put his arms around Ming's lower back. Thank you, Ming, Konan murmured softly. Feeling the soft touch coming from behind, Ming said lightly, this is just the beginning, let's keep watching. After finishing speaking, Ming's figure suddenly disappeared. Although quite a few families announced their complete disbandment, it was not enough. There are still some more diehards who have not given up. It seems that he still wants to resist tenaciously. Since you are looking for death, I will give you a ride. A cold smile slowly emerged from the corner of Ming's mouth. However, when Ming rushed to these families, he was quickly disappointed. Forget you to run fast. Ming looked at the empty house and snorted coldly. These family members are not fools, even if they want to preserve the family. It is also impossible to confront Ming head-on. Advertisement. After all, they have seen Ming's strength with their own eyes. If they were to confront Ming, their small families would be wiped out in ashes. Master Ming, there is no longer any family in Konoha. Jiraiya and Kakashi hand over a list to Ming. It was impressively written on it which families left Konoha, and those families disbanded on their own initiative. Ming didn't even look at it, and just threw it aside. He is not interested in fussing with these little miscellaneous fish. Run away, it doesn't matter. Yes, that's not enough. You are responsible for tearing down all the family plaques and walls, completely tearing down. In the past, what divided these families apart from people's hearts? There are still many physical barriers, and now Ming is going to remove these things completely. In addition, everyone in the entire Konoha agrees to be divided according to the parents, minor children. Everyone will be allocated residences according to the family model, and the housing will be allocated free of charge, decided by lottery. Ming's move is naturally to disrupt the division of all families geographically. At that time, it is natural that distant relatives are not as good as close neighbors. The concept of family naturally faded away. Just like that country of Ming Blue Star. Jiraiya nodded without retorting. Anyway, the family has been disbanded, and they have already achieved this point, so naturally they are not afraid to do more. Ming nodded slightly, and said, let's execute it first. Doing this is almost the limit. The soil of the family's existence was almost completely dismantled by Ming. In the future, as long as the concept of family is completely downplayed in the education of the next generation. Presumably, the word family can be completely wiped out in history. Advertisement. Everything can start with Konoha. Later, they will all be copied to the entire ninja world. Everything is proceeding in an orderly manner according to Ming's vision. After doing all this, Ming left this place directly. Now, he's off to deal with another hot potato. In a separate small room. 0. Otsutsuki Kaguya was staring blankly at the sky outside the window. When she woke up again, she found that she could no longer use any power. Not even a little chakra is felt. Kaguya knew right away that she was under house arrest. However, she was not in a hurry and just waited here. Quote. The door was pushed open directly. Ming walked in slowly, looking at the calm Kaguya, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Speak, I want to hear your thoughts. Up to now, the ancestor of chakra has completely become a piece of fat in Ming's hands. Ming can knead as she wants. There will be no trace of resistance. Of course, the most important thing is to get some more information from Kaguya. Preferably something about Kaguya's original world or something. Ming is very interested in this thing. 179. Kaguya's talk, Ming's attack open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. At this moment, Kaguya's whole body's power has been completely sealed by Ming. Now he is like a woman without any power, powerless. What do I want to say about the Otsutsuki clan? Kaguya stared at Ming with white pupils, and said, you should know, I'm just an ordinary member of the Otsutsuki clan. Ming glanced at Kaguya, nodded indifferently, and said, yes, of course I know. Not only did he know this, he didn't know that a new Otsutsuki clan would arrive soon. However, he doesn't care about these things, so come on. As long as one's own strength is strong enough, 643 will kill one. I can help you. Wei Yoruichi looked at Ming seriously, and said, I guess you don't want to be hostile to the Otsutsuki clan either. As long as we cooperate, then none of this will be a problem. Ming sneered, with a hint of disdain on the corner of his mouth. He can see now that this woman doesn't seem to understand what's going on now. How dare you threaten him with that thing? It's just life and death. I advise you to be more honest, the Otsutsuki clan is nothing more than that, it's not worth mentioning. As long as one comes, I'll kill one, if a group comes, I'll kill them all together. Ming was full of pride, and his words were full of confidence. At this moment, he naturally has the qualifications to say such a thing. Among other things, his own strength alone is no longer something that ordinary Otsutsuki people can resist. Moreover, it is impossible for the Tsutsuki clan to come to the ninja world on a large scale. One or two Otsutsuki clan, Ming didn't pay attention at all. Advertisement. Otsutsuki Kaguya was stunned for a moment, staring blankly at Ming in front of him, as if he didn't quite understand where this person's confidence came from. It's a pity that Ming didn't explain too much. After glancing at her coldly, he left the place straight away. Now he doesn't have time to chat with Otsutsuki Kaguya, he has more important things to attend to. On the other side, Kakashi and Jiraiya looked at the letters on the table with strange expressions on their faces. Unexpectedly, after Ming put forward this call, countless people responded immediately. What's even more surprising is that it's not just Konoha's family. There are even some small families and small ninja villages in the surrounding area expressing their willingness to respond to Konoha's call. Take the initiative to join the Konoha. This is not easy to deal with. Jiraiya said with some concern. According to general practice, it is naturally impossible for Konoha to agree to join these small families. If anyone can join Konoha, is that okay? I'm afraid that half of the small forces in the ninja world will come here upon hearing the news. After all, it's good to enjoy the shade under the big tree, who wouldn't want to join the biggest force in the ninja world? However, it is not easy to refuse directly now. After all, Ming had just uttered harsh words before, saying that he would eliminate wars and barriers in the entire ninja world. Now they directly reject other people's friendly requests, I'm afraid this is against Ming. Why don't we ask Mr. Ming how? Kakashi asked tentatively. Oh, what do you want to ask me? A hearty voice sounded, and when he turned his head, Ming had already appeared in the office. Advertisement. Seeing Ming coming, Kakashi immediately showed a smile and said, Mr. Ming, you came just in time. Look at these envelopes, they are all other forces around the village who want to join our Konoha. Ming nodded and smiled slightly. Okay, this is a great thing. This shows that our strategy is useful, and everyone is willing to support us. Jiraiya was taken aback, and said with some hesitation, but, what about Konoha? At least we should screen these people, can't we all have them? Ming smiled lightly, he naturally knew what Jiraiya was worried about. The structure is higher, this is just the beginning, and more people will join us in the future. In the end, the entire ninja world will become a whole. Seeing what Ming said, Jiraiya could only nod. After all, the current Ming has no less prestige than first Hokage for Konoha. As long as Ming wants to do something, there is no one in Konoha who will hinder it, and there is no such ability to hinder it. In addition, are there any forces that have not made a statement? Ming smiled flatly, and said, since they don't express their views, let's take the initiative to come and help them. Although the speech was flat with plus 2.8 points, Jiraiya and Kakashi did not hear the key points. Come to help. Doesn't it make it clear that they are going to take the initiative? The two suddenly became excited, and said, currently, the other Cloud Shinobi, Yan Ying, and Mizukage have not expressed their views. Ming narrowed his eyes slightly, and there was a sofa look in his eyes, and said, in that case, let's go. 180. The Frightened Rakage, the Broken Cloud Shinobi Village Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. In Cloud Shinobi Ninja Village. Hey, Konoha is really getting more and more arrogant now, she doesn't take us seriously. Yeah, who's to say it's not? To actually want to directly dominate the entire ninja world is simply arrogance. Even first Hokage can't do it, what qualifications does a mere Uchiha Ming have to say such a thing? It's simply presumptuous. I believe Master Rakage will take care of all this. You must teach Konoha a lesson. You must not let them look down on us, Cloud Shinobi boy. A large group of ninjas gathered at the entrance of the village, watching the information on the bulletin board. What is written on it is nothing but the invitation letter sent by Ming, and the content is very simple, just asking all villages to join Konoha together. Unfortunately, however, the ninjas at Cloud Shinobi 15 Ninja Village clearly loathed the invitation. But this is also very normal. Everything is in Ming's expectation. Let's do the courtesy first and then the soldier, this process still needs to go through. Hehe, it seems that you don't particularly like my proposal. At this moment, three figures suddenly appeared in the sky above Cloud Shinobi Ninja Village. None other than Ming, Jiraiya and Kakashi who came all the way. This time Ming did not bring anyone else but Kakashi and Jiraiya as officials. Who is it? Enemy attack, it's Konoha's people. Hurry up and inform Master Rakage, Konoha's people are calling. In an instant, the Cloud Shinobi ninja knew the identity of the visitor through the forehead protector. Everyone immediately began to operate in an orderly manner, defense on defense, notification of notification. A well-trained look. Ming smiled slightly, but didn't try to stop it. The purpose of his coming here today is very simple, that is to directly defeat the last line of defense in everyone's heart. Advertisement. Only in this way can they willingly surrender to their own plans. After a while, two figures sensed the scene. They were brothers Killer Bee and Raikage. Uchiha Ming, Jiraiya, Kakashi, this is not where you should be. Do you seem to be starting a war between the villages? After seeing Ming, Raikage's already very dark face became even darker. Any fool knows that there must be nothing good for the other party to come to his village. War. Ming smiled disdainfully, and said, there is no need for war, and the purpose of my coming is also very simple, just to help you make a choice. Now you have two options. First, take the initiative to join the alliance. Second, I will beat you to the ground, and then I will send you to join the union. Raikage became angry immediately. Tiny blue electric arcs started to appear all over his body, and a powerful chakra began to brew. You kid from the Uchiha family, you're too much of a bully. Lariat. With a roar, Raikage turned into a blue arc and charged towards Ming. Good job, Master Raikage beat him up, we must not let him be so arrogant. Master Raikage is too strong, I will definitely teach him a lesson. You kid from the Uchiha family, now you know how powerful you are. The Cloud Shinobi ninja on the side cheered immediately, as if victory was just around the corner. Ming smiled dismissively, this level of attack was simply not enough to tickle him. Boom. There was a loud noise, and Fu Ying immediately appeared. At this moment, Raikage's body trembled slightly, and his eyes were full of disbelief. Because, he hit with all his strength, but was actually blocked by Ming. And still blocked it with one finger. Advertisement. There seemed to be an extremely powerful barrier on that finger, no matter how hard he tried. Can't make any progress. Okay, now it's my turn. Ming gave a disdainful smile, clenched a fist with one hand and hit the front hard. Boom. PFF'd. Raikage immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and flew upside down a long way, directly smashing several big trees. After doing all this, Ming didn't stop there. Holding the sky with one hand, a large golden sword immediately condensed out, carrying a cold 840 killing intent, like the sword of a god. Sheila. Ming swung his sword down, and the golden giant sword turned into a bolt of lightning, directly splitting the entire Cloud Shinobi ninja village in two. The earth splits in the middle, and a huge chasm runs across the Cloud Shinobi ninja village. Quote. Killer Bee was stunned for a moment, staring blankly at the terrifying crack. The crack that looked like a bottomless abyss was like a portal to hell, and everyone shuddered unconsciously. This kind of power is simply not something that humans can possess. Now, surrender and live. Rebels, die. Ming said mercilessly that any reform would be hindered. For him now, anyone who dares to hinder him will have only one end. That is, die. 181. Iwakage Ninja Village. Jushin is approaching open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Please customize close black lens bracket. After working hard for half a day, Ming left Union Ninja Village. Although after defeating Raikage, there are still some hard bones trying to resist. However, under Ming's means, all obstacles were quickly resolved. As for those hard bones, their end is also very simple. Died on the spot directly at the hands of Ming, and went to meet Amaterasu God tier. At this time, it was the time to show off his ferocious means, so Ming would naturally not be relentless. Next is Yanyang Ninja Village, which is also a quite powerful village. Jiraiya looked at the information in his hand, and said to Ming, shall we go in the same way as before? After the battle just now, Jiraiya has understood everything. As Ming said before, as long as the strength is strong enough, everything is just a cloud. Just push it across. Anyone who dares to block it will be killed directly. According to Ming's progress, I am afraid that within a few days, all the resistance in the ninja world can be defeated. At that time, the ninja world will truly realize the great unification. Go straight in, end the battle quickly, and go to the next one as soon as possible. Ming smiled indifferently, and said, let's hurry up and try to end all the wars within 3 days. After a while, the three of them rushed to Yanyang village. This time, Ming didn't take the initiative to wait for Yanyang to come out. Instead, he directly summoned the ice crystal giant, grabbed a nearby mountain peak with one hand, and walked against the mountain. Imposingly, he walked directly into the Yanyang ninja village. In the face of this huge size gap, the original defense of Yanyang village is like paper. Enemy attack, enemy attack, enemy attack. What kind of monster is this? How can there be a mountain moving? Could it be that Amaterasu God tier appeared? Advertisement. Run, it's scary, it's too big. My home was demolished by this giant. Immediately, ghosts and wolves howled, and the scene was in chaos. Ming snorted coldly, he hadn't started attacking yet, and he didn't even step on anyone, so why did he start howling? With one hand, the ice giant ruthlessly waved at Yan Ying's position. The mountain suddenly turned into an afterimage, and went straight to Yan Ying's office building with the sound of wind and thunder. Dust Shield Ultralight Rock Technique. Sheila. A translucent light beam shot out immediately, and the mountain's original terrifying speed immediately stagnated. As if walking into a quagmire, the movement became slower and slower. Snort. I see you can't stand it. Ming smiled proudly, and the giant leapt under his feet, flying straight into the air. He kicked hard at the bottom of the mountain, and the huge force immediately made the mountain free from all restraints. Recovering the terrifying strength before, he went straight to Yanyang's office. Boom. With a loud noise, Shan Feng immediately smashed into Zhang Yanyang building. Ming Ye stood still, did not continue to pursue, and said, "You must have received my invitation letter. Now, tell me your answer." He knew that there was nothing wrong with the people inside, and Ming Ye naturally had his own sense of proportion when making moves. Quote exclamation mark quote. There were two coughing sounds from the smoke. This person is none other than Iwakage, Onoki. At this time, he looked very young, not aging at all. Advertisement. However, even when he was young, he couldn't be Ming Ye's opponent, even if he was slightly blocked. I didn't expect that such a character could appear in Yunye. Onoki coughed continuously, staring at Ming Ye in midair with a horrified face. Such a terrifying strength is simply unheard of. Tokei, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Ming Ye shook his head and said indifferently, "Give me your answer now." Ming Ye nodded to the two people beside him, and said, "You guys hand over to him, sign the agreement, I'll wait for you outside." Ming Ye nodded indifferently, and said, "You will not regret your choice today, time will tell everything. I hope what you say is true. Kakashi, Jiraiya. Otherwise, it will not be good to use it as a basis in the future." After speaking, Ming Ye left the place. Of Zhao Onoki shook his head, but didn't say anything more. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Now he is not interested in small talk, the only thing Ming Ye cares about is the other party's answer. According to normal rules, empty words are of course useless, and Ming Ye still has to leave some written evidence. It is useless to explain anything now. Do I have a choice? Facing such a strong Ming Ye, Onoki could only smile bitterly. The other party will not listen to any of Ming Ye's excuses, they will only think that Ming Ye is bullying the weak. Form is stronger than people, and people have bigger fists than you, so saying anything is useless. 182. Terumi Mei's request, Ming Ye agreed. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Half a day later, Kakashi and Jiraiya came out of Iwakage Ninja Village. Ming Ye-kun, everything has been dealt with, Onoki has signed the agreement. Iwakage will be a member of the alliance in the future. Ming Ye nodded slightly, very satisfied with the result. Half a day's time for a ninja village, this speed is still very amazing. Next, the last Yuanian ninja village will be left. Ming Ye turned his eyes slightly, looking to the southeast first, where is the last Mist Shinobi ninja village? As long as this last village is taken down, there will be no force in the entire ninja world that can stop his plan. At that time, the 5 most powerful ninja villages in the Genin world will be included in the entire alliance. Then the alliance is the highest right in the ninja world. From then on, there will be no resistance for Ming Ye to carry out any reforms. Yes, Mist Shinobi is next, just take Mist Shinobi down and it's over. Jiraiya said quite emotionally. After living in 217 for so many years, I finally experienced what it means to push everything horizontally. Things that were originally very difficult, under the blessing of Ming Ye's strength, all were easily solved. Let's go. Then, an hour later, Ming Ye arrived at the Mist Shinobi ninja village. Unlike other villages, the entire village of Mist Shinobi is in a swampy terrain. Very moist. Mizukage, come out and see you. Ming Ye said loudly. Through the transmission of shock fruit, the sound directly spread throughout the swamp. Like thunder rolling in the sky. In the last village, Ming Ye has no interest in doing anything. If the other party can submit obediently, he would rather have a leisurely time. Advertisement. Ming Ye was a little tired of traveling for several days in a row. At this moment, he just wanted to end all this quickly. In the originally shimmering swamp BFAA, several figures immediately appeared. Who are you? Report your name. Konoha Shinobi Village, Uchiha Ming Ye. Ming Ye said directly, and did not hide her identity. After hearing Ming Ye's name, the ninjas fell silent for a moment. Up to now, there is probably no one in the entire ninja world who does not know Ming Ye's prestige. Even in extremely remote Kurigakure, the same is true. Please wait a moment, I will report right away. The ninjas finally compromised, and Tien Fen won the crown respectfully. This is respect for the strong. If it was just an ordinary person who dared to shout like this, his head would have fallen to the ground long ago. But Ming Ye can receive such treatment, this is the difference in strength. Ming Ye nodded slightly, but didn't say anything. It's nothing to wait a little longer. But for a moment, a somewhat thin figure rushed over from a distance. He is the 4th Mizukage, Yagura. There was another person beside him, Terumi Mei. You must have received my invitation. Now tell me your answers. Ming Ye said indifferently. At the same time, chakra was already being mobilized silently in his body. He still has some understanding of this group of people in the ninja world, each of them is as stubborn as a stinky stone. The only thing that can convince them is their fists. We are willing to join the alliance, Lord Qing. Ming Ye, don't worry. Advertisement. Terumi Mei added directly from the side. While speaking, she also gave Ming Ye a wink. This made Ming Ye a little surprised, he didn't expect to meet a good person. Looks like ninjas aren't all stubborn guys either. Yes, you made a wise choice. Ming Ye nodded appreciatively, and said, Yanying and Cloud Shinobi have already agreed, but I just made them suffer a little bit. Terumi Mei's eyes flicked suddenly, and she smiled and said, Master Ming Ye, please rest assured, Mist Shinobi will do its best to cooperate. The proposal of surrender was naturally put forward by Terumi Mei. Actually, one person directly conquered other ninja villages. Terumi Mei blinked beautifully immediately, and said, I want to follow Master Ming and learn how to manage it. She understood Ming's horror very well. Ming glanced at Terumi strangely. With his mind, he naturally knew what the other party meant. Now it seems that this proposal is absolutely correct. Brothers who like to watch click automatic subscription. Okay, you can follow me in the future. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. Mizukage immediately glanced at Terumi in fear. The strength of this Uchiha Ming is really terrifying. However, Ming did not refuse. Who would refuse to have one more beautiful woman by her side? Ming said directly, and when she was about to turn around and leave, Terumi spoke. The tone of speech is very soft, just like an emotional appearance. Wait a minute, I still have a condition. So I immediately found Mizukage and persuaded him to agree to Ming's conditions. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. Ming frowned and said, if it's not too much, you can talk about it. Kakashi, sign a deal with Mizukage. It is a bit exaggerated. Advertisement. P.S. Brothers, if you have a monthly pass, vote, this is really critical. You can also swipe for free flowers, evaluation tickets and the like. You are much stronger than first Hokage, you are different from him. 183. The final plan of change, Ming's decision open black lens bracket please subscribe, please customize close black lens bracket. Konoha Shinobi Village. Today is a very important day, if nothing else. In order to celebrate the arrival of the great unification of the ninja world. After about half a month of preparation, the entire ninja world has basically known the existence of the Ninja Alliance. This is another alliance created by a man named Uchiha Ming. 1. The purpose of existence is to eliminate war as much as possible, and strive to bring the ninja world to a new era. Great, Master Ming is really amazing, we Konohas are really honored, and we are honored to be able to witness the arrival of a new era with Master Ming. Shish, don't talk nonsense, there is no Konoha Shinobi village now, all ninja villages are gone. Yes, now there is only the Ninja Alliance, and everyone is a member of it. Ming stood high in the sky, looking at the prosperous streets below, his face was full of relief. In the past few days, he issued several orders in succession. One of the most critical items is to disband all ninja villages directly, and everyone directly joins the Ninja Alliance. Of course, this alone is not enough. If the disintegration is not thorough enough, various small groups will definitely be born in the alliance. But this is also human nature. You can't ask the two sides who were enemies yesterday to become good friends today. So Ming didn't expect to solve all the problems in one generation. Everyone, I'm going to announce something very important now. Standing high in the sky, Ming stretched out his arms and shouted, in order to eliminate the soil for the birth of conflicts as much as possible, I decided to adopt a unified training method to cultivate our next generation. From now on, all ninjutsu will be open to the ninja world for free, as long as you agree to the conditions, you can watch it as you like. Silence. Deathly silence. Everyone froze for a moment, what does this mean? Advertisement. Learn ninjutsu casually. You know, in the ninja world in the past, the most important thing was that ninjutsu was monopolized by big families. It is difficult for the children of ordinary people to have a way to rise, and there is no way to learn ninjutsu. But now, Ming actually revealed all the ninjutsu to the public. Doesn't this mean that ordinary people also have the opportunity to become the best ninja? However, the conditions will not be difficult. The entire ninja world will establish a unified joint school, and all children who reach the age can directly attend. It's just that the joint school adopts closed teaching. Once you enter the school, you can only come out once a year. Ming smiled slightly, this is the best way for him to destroy the foundation of war. Completely separate the previous generation from the next generation. In this way, the contradictions of the previous generation cannot affect the next generation. Moreover, plus all the children of every ninja village and every race grew up together since childhood. It is bound to be difficult for them to generate too much hatred. Even if there is hatred, it must be small scale and will not cause conflicts in war. In this way, war can basically disappear in the next generation. As for whether there will be parents who object to their children entering the joint school, will there be big families who will come out to obstruct it? The answer is obvious. Just opening up all ninjutsu can solve all problems. In this world, ninjutsu is the foundation of everything. Only with ninjutsu can we become stronger. If you don't send your children to a joint school, someone else will send their children there. Ask for flowers. At that time, your own children will not be as good as others, and sooner or later they will be reduced to the bottom of society. Advertisement. The only problem may be that several top families in the ninja world are all disgusted. After all, their own family's family ninjutsu itself is the top ninjutsu, there is no need to learn other ninjutsu. So the motivation to participate in joint schools is not too strong. But it doesn't matter, the number of these families is not too much. Ming is going to come to the door in person and talk to them one by one. Oh. If they are more acquainted, naturally everyone will be happy. If you don't eat the toast and eat the fine wine, then don't blame Ming for being cruel. In this ninja world, it doesn't matter if there are few big families. Anyway, they are just some stubborn old forces, and if they are killed, they will be killed. Let's cheer for the future of the ninja world together. Ming raised his arms and shouted, full of excitement. After traveling to this world for such a long time, I have finally made a small contribution to this world. Even among the traversers, he can be regarded as worthy of the audience. In an instant, the entire ground erupted into cheers like a mountain roar and a tsunami. Everyone was laughing excitedly and celebrating this beautiful day. This is enough to record a day in the history of Ninja World. From today onwards, the Ninja World has completely entered a new era. An era in which war has all but disappeared. A time when there was little oppression. 184. The final chapter. Thank you everyone. 10 years passed quietly. During these days, Ming is still not idle. Although the framework of the entire ninja world has been built, there are still many places that need to be repaired. Among them, the most critical point is how to solve the oppression of the weak by the strong. After all, even if there is no large-scale war involving tens of thousands of people, but there will still be a lot of grievances and hatred between individuals. It doesn't matter if it's placed among ordinary people, but it doesn't matter if it's placed among ninjas. The reason is also very simple: one strong ninja is enough to directly kill hundreds of low-level ninjas. This is not the result Ming wants to see. In order to solve this problem, Ming finally decided to create a new rule. Fighting is prohibited within the large city. Anyone who violates the order will die. Like war, it is impossible to completely eliminate private fighting among individuals. Therefore, Ming finally chose a compromise solution. It can not only protect the weak to the greatest extent, but also allow the ninja world to retain a certain degree of freedom. This can be regarded as a disguised solution to the problem of the strong oppressing the weak in the ninja world. City of Peace. A city built by Ming is also the most prosperous city in the ninja world. In the Ming Palace. This is Ming's own heart residence. Although it is not too luxurious, it is still designed. Advertisement. The architectural style is very majestic, which makes people admire. There are no other people living in it, mainly Ming and his female relatives. Including Tsunade, 2 by Wooden Golem, Konan and Terumi Mei and so on. Even Otsutsuki Kaguya is in it. Of course, she has nothing to do with Ming. The reason for putting her here is also very simple, just to take better care of him. After all, apart from Ming, I am afraid that there is no one in the entire ninja world who can take on this important task. Recently I have some new insights. Ming sits on the high hall with her left arm around Tsunade and her right around Terumi Mei. Perhaps it's time to start a new journey. Since this period of time, the system has been giving him new reminders. The journey in this world has been completed, and the journey to the next world can be started at any time. Therefore, Ming has been waiting for the right time. Now, the entire ninja world has completely settled down, and the war has disappeared. Ming has fulfilled his promise. It's time to start a new life of your own. Are you leaving? Then what shall we do? There was a hint of disappointment on Tsunade's beautiful face, and the body leaning on Ming couldn't help but exert more force. Advertisement. After so many years of being together day and night, she has long been used to the days with Ming. If Ming leaves suddenly, it may be difficult for her to accept this reality. Fool. Ming stretched his hand into his robe slightly, and said, I can take you with me. And, I never said I couldn't come back. In fact, Ming also has concerns in this regard. After all, how could his own woman be willing to leave her behind like this? In this regard, the system gave him a positive answer. Not only can he choose some people to go on the road with him, but he can also choose to return to this world when the time is right. This is also the concern that allows Ming to leave with peace of mind. 1 year later, in the courtyard, Ming looked at the beautiful women in front of him, and said with some emotion. There's not much to say about farewell. I will come back after I find the right 2.1 opportunity. Then, without looking back, he got into the space tunnel behind him. Since then, there has been another legend in Hokage. Ming, on the other hand, has entered a new journey of his own. The book is over.